Chapter 1, Maintenance and Betrayal. Published by Ranobes. World's End, my keyword is one more than others. Name, Duje. Spiritual power, 60. Current ranking, 30,003,000. Keywords for the session, maintenance. Keywords for the session, betrayal. Advanced skills, none. Derived items, none. The first thing Duje saw when he opened his eyes was this string of data. Through the data, he could see the dusty beams and rafters behind him, which clearly belonged to an old and non-modern style of architecture. Was he time traveling? Was he dreaming? The faint smell of blood and stench lingered in his nose, making him very uncomfortable. Duje instinctively tried to sit up, but the severe pain all over his body made him fall back. Hiss. Duje groaned out. He then felt the circumference up and down, the internal organs, as if they were torn. There is no place that did not hurt. Damn. Duje groaned. It felt like he had been beaten by dozens of people. However, this also confirmed that he had time traveled and was not dreaming. If he was dreaming, he would have woken up from the pain long ago. Duje sighed inwardly. Nowadays, the ways of time traveling were getting more and more outrageous. Eden didn't spare sleeping. Don't bother, your injuries are worse than mine. You won't be able to move without resting for a month. A muffled voice came from beside him. Duje turned his head and saw another injured person lying on a wooden bed next to him. The man's face was swollen like a pig's head, with a bloody cloth strip stuffed in one nostril. His swollen eyes looked at him askew, and his mouth kept wriggling. He had one arm that could move, tearing the grass mat under him and continuously stuffing dry and withered reed stalks into his mouth, as if it was the most delicious delicacy in the world. However, looking at his grimacing expression as he swallowed, Duje also knew that the grass mat was not delicious. At this time, that piece of reed-woven grass mat had been gnawed off a large piece of 20 square centimeters. Was his family so poor that they had to eat mats? Duje judged the current situation and felt sad. Did he not only time travel to someone who was seriously injured, but also so poor that he couldn't even afford a meal? What a miserable start. Duje refocused on his personal data and secretly rejoiced that he had a golden finger. The man's mouth kept moving, and he continued to ask, brother, what are your keywords? Duje was stunned and subconsciously looked at the two keywords maintenance and betrayal in his personal information. What's going on? Does everyone have a panel? It's not his exclusive golden finger? Damn it. Don't pretend. The man laughed awkwardly and shook the grass mat in his hand. I saw you possessing a body. Don't believe the nonsense that your civilian school teachers tell you about not revealing your keywords. This is a simulation field trial, not a real alien star battlefield. Cooperation is the only way to win-win. If you don't cooperate with your current physical condition, I can eliminate you in minutes after I recover. Do you believe me? Simulation field? Alien star battlefield? What the hell is this? Duje became more and more confused. He hated this feeling of losing all information, which was unfriendly to a time traveler. Since he had already time traveled, why didn't they give him the memories of his host? After a moment of silence, Duje calmed down and asked, the premise of cooperation is honesty. You tell me your keywords first. Honesty? The man sneered, shook the grass mat in his hand, and said, I've been eating these hard-to-swallow grass mats nonstop. With such an obvious hint, what do you think my keywords are? People can disguise themselves, Duje said softly. It's the same as the Commoner Academy. The person looked at Duje incredulously and laughed. I can't believe your thought process. Did I lie to you just to eat this grass mat that even dogs won't eat? Who do you think you are? Keywords related to eating? Duje thought for a moment based on his own keywords and asked tentatively, do you eat anything when you're hungry? Fuck your eat anything when you're hungry. You can't act that stupid, the person said angrily. My keyword is gluttonous. Gluttonous? Duje repeated in surprise. Yes, the person boasted, shaking the grass stem in his hand. As long as you keep eating, you can grow rapidly. It's one of the best keywords. Before I possessed this body, my injuries were similar to yours. But after I ate 2 bowls of rice and a piece of grass mat, I can already sit up. Brother, let's work together. You have a big advantage. Otherwise, with your injuries, you won't last long. Duje saw the 2 empty bowls in front of him and looked at his own empty bed. He didn't care that the guy had stolen his food, but focused on the essence of his words. Gluttonous, as long as you keep eating, you can grow rapidly. It seems that keywords are the key to breaking through. Duje thought to himself. His keywords were maintenance and betrayal. Since gluttonous is about eating, then maintenance and betrayal. He thought of the meanings of 2 words in his mind. Maintenance, to maintain and protect, to prevent destruction. Synonyms, repair, maintenance, protection and cover up. Betrayal, a backstab, a knife in the back. Synonyms, betrayal, sneak attack. Before crossing over, Duje was a Chinese major, and he knew the meaning of these words very well. Since gluttonous means eating to grow rapidly. By analogy, his key to growth should be to maintain others. But since there is maintenance, why is the second keyword betrayal? The two should be conflicting, right? No. That guy just mentioned one keyword. Duje looked at the person and asked vaguely, is there anything else? What else? The person asked back, then he sneered, brother, don't be too greedy. I have the initiative now. My keyword is maintenance. Duje interrupted him and concealed one keyword. He didn't understand too many things, and didn't care about the other party's intentions. The information he got from the other party, whether true or false, was much better than groping around by himself. It's better to use one keyword to gain his trust. There's no need to reveal the keyword of betrayal, which requires concealment to be effective. Maintenance? The person's eyes lit up, and he swallowed the grass mat in his mouth. An auxiliary keyword, great. You are truly a chosen partner. You protect me while I eat. Brother, let's work together and take everyone down. The other party didn't mention the second keyword at all, so it seems that he really only has one keyword. Indeed, he still has a golden finger. Duje smiled awkwardly and asked, what's your name? Feng Ju, the person said. Real name? Duje asked. Of course, it's the name of this body. Feng Ju chuckled. Little brother, our relationship ends with this simulation. We each take what we need. Once we leave the simulation field, we don't know each other, understand? I understand, Duje nodded and stopped asking. This was the second time Feng Ju mentioned the simulation field. Combined with the current situation, Duje speculated that the simulation field probably refers to the current world. Is a real world simulated for people to play games? Duje looked around at the environment, architecture, smell, and the pain in the body. Everything was vivid and lifelike. How advanced must the technology of the other world be if such a realistic world was virtual? If it was a game, there should be an exit button. Duje looked at his character interface again. He didn't find an exit button, but he noticed a change in the value. The current ranking value was originally 30,000 30,000, but now it had become 11 15 12 13. 12 13? Duje muttered consciously. 60% of the unlucky ones who didn't succeed in body possession. Feng Ju sighed, looking at Duje. Brother, I have to say, with your mental strength, being able to pick up a heavily injured person and successfully possess their body is really lucky. A 60% elimination rate? Duje followed the key point in his words and continued to ask, Brother 9, do you think we can eliminate others if we work together? Definitely. Feng Ju grinned and continued to gnaw on the straw mat. My keyword is gluttonous, the representative of lying down and winning. With your maintenance, if we don't make it into the top 10, where's the justice in that? Don't worry, if I can make it into the top 10, I can definitely bring you in too. Otherwise, with your unremarkable maintenance, it would be strange if you could grow. Brother 9, I'm counting on you. Duje squeezed a smile on his face. Brother 9, I don't know what kind of identity the person we possessed has. Can you tell me? I don't know anything. I don't want to mess things up. You don't have any memories? Feng Ju asked in astonishment. As expected, only he didn't have any memories. Fuck, this is such a pit. Duje cursed silently and said dejectedly, I don't have any memories at all. I don't know where the problem is. Feng Zhu looked at Du Jie with pity and tutted, maybe the person you crossed over with was too badly injured and died during the body possession, so the memories were lost. This kind of situation has happened in the simulation field before. Luckily you met me, otherwise, with an auxiliary keyword and lost memories, how would you survive? We are Pared.com, find us on Google. Phew. Du Jie let out a sigh and said with a bitter smile, just bad luck, I guess. Your luck has changed since you met me. Feng Zhu spat out a mouthful of grass residue that he couldn't swallow, cursing, fuck, it's so disgusting. When my body recovers, I have to eat delicacies every meal to make up for the suffering of eating this straw mat. He tore off another piece of the mat and stuffed it into his mouth. Your name in this world is Feng Qi, and mine is Feng Zhu. Our identities are sparring partners for the young masters and disciples of the Feng family. Du Jie was puzzled, sparring partners? Actually, we're just punching bags. Feng Zhu spat out another mouthful of grass residue. Those young masters don't treat sparring partners as human beings at all. Otherwise, why do you think we got injured so badly? But we also took advantage of it. If they weren't injured so badly, our body possession wouldn't have been so easy. Punching bags? He continued to ask, Brother 9, is there any other crucial information? In half a year, the Chao family's Holy Land will open, and the 10th martial arts tournament will be held to select outstanding young people from the martial world to enter the Holy Land and search for treasures. This should be the main storyline. We need to find a way to participate in the martial arts tournament and get closer to the main storyline to have a chance of getting a good ranking. Feng Zhu looked at Du Jie seriously. The Feng family's young masters and direct descendants are preparing for the martial arts tournament, and they are torturing us, the sparring partners, which is why we are so badly injured. What we need to do now is to find a way to escape from the Feng family. Otherwise, we will be killed by their training sooner or later. World's End. My keyword is one more than others. Published by Ranobes. Chapter 2. Self-sacrifice. Martial arts tournament? When Du Jie heard this term, his eyes lit up and even the disappointment from the tragic start was diluted. No man would refuse a wuxia world. Of course, with only half a year until the martial arts tournament, there wouldn't be any adventures and learning martial arts would be difficult. However, this was a game simulation field, and it shouldn't be so harsh on players. Moreover, on Earth, one could not experience such an immersive game, and he even had cheats. Since he had come, he had to see what the wuxia world was like. Du Jie had been observing Feng Zhu. In just a moment, Feng Zhu had eaten half a grass mat, and the swelling around his eyes had visibly decreased. Since the gluttonous keyword helped to heal injuries, his 2 keywords should also be effective. Feng Zhu said that he would help Du Jie heal once he recovered, but Du Jie didn't plan to entrust his fate to others. Moreover, Feng Zhu's words and actions were threatening and manipulative, so he had to be on guard. Since he couldn't launch a backstab attack for the time being, Du Jie focused on maintenance. Maintenance. To protect and preserve through speech and action, to shelter and protect. After carefully considering the definition of maintenance, Du Jie struggled to move his body and revealed the grass mat below, asking with concern, Brother Zhu, do you have enough to eat on your side? If not, I have some here, I'll give it all to you. Cough. Feng Zhu was already choking on the grass mat, and when he heard this, he choked even more, unable to swallow or spit it out. He desperately used his hand, which was tearing apart the grass mat, to beat his chest, finally managing to spit out the grass. After recovering, Feng Zhu gasped for breath and angrily glared at Du Jie, shouting, are you doing this on purpose? You want me to eat your broken grass mat? It seemed like a warm current was rising from within, and Du Jie felt that his pain had lessened significantly. His eyes brightened slightly. This was the power of keywords. Love it, love it. What gluttonous, maintenance was more useful. You eat grass mats, and I just need to say a few words. Looking at the angry experience bag across from him, Du Jie took advantage of the situation and comforted him, Brother Zhu, don't be angry. You know our situation is too bad right now. You have a better chance of recovery with your gluttonous keyword than I do. I can't move, and there's nothing else to eat in this room except for this grass mat. Even if I sleep on the cold bed, I still have to let Brother Zhu recover first. Feng Zhu looked at Du Jie thoughtfully. Another warm current rose, and Du Jie's injuries improved significantly again. He was secretly delighted. Giving up a grass mat was enough to maintain their common interests. This was the method of using keywords, and he was indeed a genius. This game is interesting. As his pain lessened, Du Jie struggled to sit up and looked at Feng Zhu, who was surprised. After thinking for a moment, he decided to give him a harsh wave. Brother Zhu, just eating grass mats is too slow. Why don't you drink some of my blood? Blood is more nutritious than grass, and you'll recover even faster. What? Feng Zhu's eyes widened. Before he could finish speaking, Du Jie's stamina recovered slightly again. He struggled to get off the bed, grabbed a porcelain bowl at the head of the bed, and smashed it on the table, shattering it into pieces. Looking at Du Jie, who was holding a piece of porcelain, Feng Zhu's face changed drastically. He moved frantically towards the corner of the wall, anxiously asking, what are you going to do? Brother, I call you brother, don't be impulsive, we can discuss anything. If you're not ruthless, you won't stand firm. Moreover, it wasn't his own body. Du Jie looked at Feng Zhu and gritted his teeth. He cut a wound in his palm, and blood dripped down. Enduring the pan, Du Jie slowly moved towards Feng Zhu. In his stunned expression, Du Jie held his palm to Feng Zhu's mouth and said, come on, Brother Zhu, open your mouth. I am the support, and you are the main force. As long as you can recover, my sacrifice is nothing. Feng Zhu didn't expect Du Jie to really cut his own palm. He stared in shock, you. But Du Jie's maintenance was sincere and domineering. In addition, his physical recovery was faster than eating grass. He easily held down Feng Zhu's hand and put his bleeding hand to his mouth. Blood entered his stomach. Feng Zhu's pale face visibly reddened. Du Jie was right. Blood was much more nutritious than grass. However, he only drank a sip of blood under Du Jie's coercion. Du Jie really cut his palm and didn't just say a few words of maintenance. He could be said to be protecting others with his life. In comparison, Du Jie's use of keywords was more extreme, and he recovered faster than Feng Zhu. At the moment the blood fell into Feng Zhu's mouth, Du Jie's internal injuries instantly improved by half, and even the just cut wound healed on its own. Not only that, the personal interface that had been hovering in front of Du Jie's eyes flickered, and a new advanced skill appeared. Self-sacrifice. The target you maintain will lower their guard against you by 30%. He guessed right. Looking at the new derivative skill on his personal list, Du Jie pursed his lips. It turned out that as long as his words and actions complied with the definition of the keyword, his injuries would recover. The more compatible he was with the keyword, the faster his injuries would recover. Keywords were character settings. The so-called simulation field was actually a training base for actors. According to this inference, the opponent's keywords could be deduced from their words and actions, and targeted plans could be made accordingly. Of course, he had to be careful of advanced skills. Du Jie summarized the rules of the simulation field and glanced at the other values. Nothing else had changed, but the ranking had dropped by more than 300 people in just a moment, and the number had become 187,936. Du Jie thought for a moment. The 187 in front should be his ranking, and the 936 behind should be the total number of people left in the simulation field. In 10 minutes, the simulation field with 3,000 people had only over 900 left. It had to be said that this so-called simulation field trial was really cruel. However, after understanding the growth rules, Du Jie was very confident in surviving in this simulation field. Perhaps it was the effect of self-sacrifice lowering the guard, but seeing Du Jie not making any further moves, Feng Zhu secretly breathed a sigh of relief. He quietly stuck out his tongue and licked the blood on the corner of his mouth. He sincerely said, I was wrong. Feng Qi, you are more outstanding than I imagined. You adapted to the keyword so quickly. If I were in your position, I definitely wouldn't be able to use my own blood to help others. Brother Zhu, this has nothing to do with whether I am outstanding or not. It is all for the benefit of our team. Du Jie looked humble, as if he had only done a trivial thing. You know, my keyword is maintenance, a support type keyword. Without finding someone to cooperate with, I won't get far in the simulation field. For the sake of both reason and emotion, I should save you. I hope that when we fight together in the future, you can trust me with your back. After all, when I maintain you, I can also grow. Feng Zhu was stunned for a moment, then laughed. Well said, this is the correct way to cooperate. What I'm afraid of are those who hide and plot behind our backs. Brother Qi, I'll consider you a friend. My family has some influence, and if we have a chance to enter the top 10, I'll definitely try to get you into an elite school. Civilian school, elite school. Du Jie collected some more information about the other world and smiled, nodding his head. Thanks, Brother Zhu. Du Jie looked at his personal interface, reached out and pressed the close button. The interface was transparent, but it was always swaying in front of his eyes, somewhat affecting his vision. Is there any more blood? Give me some more. Feng Zhu looked up at Du Jie, hoping, it worked. Drinking your blood is more useful than eating half a straw mat. How greedy. Du Jie looked down at Feng Zhu and laughed. There's no more blood, but how about that other thing? 1 drop of sperm for 10 drops of blood. I think that thing is more useful than blood. Feng Zhu's smile froze on his face, recalling Du Jie's craziness when he cut his palm just now. Seeing Du Jie eager to try, he was afraid that he would do something impulsive, and said dryly, Old Qi, I was just joking. Relax, I was just joking too. Seeing Feng Zhu retching, Du Jie's mouth curved into a smile. If you were a woman, I might consider it, but you're a rough man. If you don't find it disgusting, I do. Brother Zhu, what's so good about drinking blood? It was just a temporary solution. Now that I can move, I have to go outside and find you some fresh grass, no, real food. Relying on drinking blood, even if you suck me dry, I'm afraid I won't be able to recover. Feng Zhu's eyes twitched a few times, and he spat out a few mouthfuls of grass, urging, I was being stubborn. Brother Qi, please hurry up and come back. To be honest, I'm about to vomit from eating these straw mats. They're really not meant for humans. Alright, Du Jie nodded, but before I go out, you have to tell me about the Feng family's layout and personnel composition. Otherwise, I'll be completely in the dark, and it'll be a problem whether I can find food or even come back alive. It was my oversight. Feng Zhu struggled to sit up, picked up a tile and drew the Feng residence's layout on the wall, explaining as he drew, our current location is called the Martial Arts Institute, where people like us, the sparring partners, live. The courtyard opposite is called the Chongwu Institute, where the Feng family's disciples and guards live. Further in is the demonstration of martial arts field, and the kitchen is in the Chongwu Institute. Feng Zhu talked about the layout of the Feng residence, including the main character's features, for a full 3 minutes. Du Jie listened patiently, memorized carefully, and asked several uncertain points back and forth several times. Only after confirming that there were no omissions did he nod and walk towards the door. Wait for me. The moment he stepped out, his figure bent down, clutching his chest, and limping forward. He had been seriously injured just now, and suddenly he was lively and energetic, which didn't match reality. He should pretend to be weak, as caution is the key to safety. Seeing Du Jie suddenly weakened, Feng Zhu's expression became particularly cold. He stared blankly at the door for a moment, then tore off another piece of straw mat from under him and stuffed it into his mouth, chewing quickly. World's End. My keyword is one more than others. Published by Ranobes. Chapter 3. Ling Longheart. After leaving, Du Jie didn't rush to find food for Feng Zhu. Whether it was the world outside the simulation field or the wuxia world inside the simulation field, they were both unfamiliar to him, and he needed to gather more information. Just now, when he forcibly maintained the other party by feeding him blood, he clearly noticed Feng Zhu's nervousness. Thinking back to what Feng Zhu had said before about being eliminated in minutes, Du Jie guessed that the participants in the simulation field were in a competitive relationship, and the so-called civilian school and elite school should also be in opposition. Feng Zhu had expressed disdain for the teachers in the civilian school who taught not to expose their keywords, but Du Jie believed that the teachers wouldn't be without purpose. In a competitive situation, not exposing one's keywords was absolutely correct. Just like Feng Zhu's gluttonous keyword, it was indeed a good keyword, but once someone deliberately targeted him and cut off his food, it would mean cutting off his growth. Putting himself in Feng Zhu's position, he would never easily reveal his keyword information. The best way to hide keywords was to kill. Body possession was a hidden thing, and in such a short time, the numbers on the interface were disappearing quickly, so it was most likely that it was done by their own people. Therefore, Feng Zhu was not sincerely cooperating with him. The reason why he didn't stop eating those hard-to-swallow grass mats was probably to recover his strength earlier than himself and then eliminate him. Of course, Feng Zhu could have disguised himself as a native and deceived him since he woke up earlier than himself. But his injuries at the time should not have been much lighter than his own, and he had to rely on eating grass mats to heal, so he was probably incapable of eliminating him. Moreover, for a severely injured person, eating grass mats was too abnormal. As he said, even the grass mats were eaten, and such keywords were too easy to be judged. Without knowing his own keywords, Feng Zhu should have thought that he had exposed himself, so he thought of using cooperation to numb himself and delay time. The only thing he didn't expect was that he recovered faster than him. Let's cooperate, I'll take you flying. After we go out, I'll find a way to get you into the elite school. Deception, temptation, childish language. Du Jie laughed, not hesitating to guess the other party with the greatest malice. He knew that his speculation had a lot of loopholes due to the lack of key information, but most of the information conformed to logic, and there were not so many things that were 100% certain in the world. The sun was shining outside, and the air was particularly fresh. Du Jie greedily took a breath of the rare fresh air on Earth and felt more and more amazed at the realism of the simulation field. If he had only crossed over and had not met Feng Zhu, he would probably have taken this place as a real world and then taken many detours. This world was too real, just like the Matrix. Judging from Feng Zhu's attitude, he didn't treat this as a game either, but as a real world, which should be related to what he said about the alien star battlefield. I wonder what the so-called alien star battlefield is all about. Anyway, crossing over is much more exciting than living on Earth, and he was pleasantly surprised when he first crossed over. It was worth playing around. The Martial Arts Academy is a long courtyard, with rooms of the same construction style connected in 2 rows, resembling employee dormitories. In this world, there is a qualification for martial arts. The qualifications of the sparring partners are slightly inferior to those of the disciples. Feng Qi, who was possessed by Du Jie, and Feng Zhu, who were both taken in by the Feng family from poor families when they were young, have their identity documents with the Feng family. If they have no future in martial arts, they are destined to have no future, and their treatment is only slightly better than that of servants. At this time, there were several people in the courtyard wearing the same clothes as him. Most of them were injured, some had bandages on their arms, and some were leaning on crutches. No one was smiling. When they saw Du Jie walking by, they lazily glanced at him and didn't say much. This also saved Du Jie the trouble. After all, although Feng Zhu explained it, he couldn't match any of these people, and the more he spoke, the more mistakes he would make. Ignoring those injured people, Du Jie pondered the use of keywords and slowly moved towards the Martial Arts Academy. Old Qi, you can walk so fast. A strong man in his 30s came towards Du Jie, looking surprised. It looks serious, but my body is okay. I just need to rest, Du Jie said with difficulty, covering his chest. Old Zhu is more seriously injured than me. I'm going out to find him something to eat. Don't go, I'll go. The strong man looked at Du Jie with pity. Yesterday, it was me and Old C who carried you back. Do you think I don't know how serious your injuries are? You need at least 2 months of rest to recover. This time, Third Young Master was really ruthless. You can't blame Third Young Master. He is also preparing for the martial arts tournament. If he has the opportunity to enter the Chao family's holy land, it will only be good for the Feng family. Du Jie said casually. The hell with the martial arts tournament. It's been several years. When will the Feng family? The strong man's voice suddenly stopped, and he turned his head to look behind him. There was no one behind him. Turning back, the strong man looked at Du Jie in surprise, his eyes full of suspicion. At this point, unintentionally defending the interests of the Feng family, Du Ji's body became lighter and he naturally knew that the person in front of him was suspicious. This is a real world. The NPC's intelligence is too high. Without the memories of the original owner, no matter how much he disguises himself, he will be exposed in front of these people who live with him day and night. Since he will be exposed sooner or later, Du Jie sighed and decided to change his strategy. In the moment when his body became lighter and faster, he understood the ultimate strategy of defending a group instead of an individual. Feng Zhu mentioned the top 10 in the simulation field several times. Perhaps there is a special reward for the top 10. Du Jie actually wanted to enter the real world after crossing over, but it seems that once he exits the simulation field, he cannot enter again. It's a pity to quit such a fun world directly. Every world has its own experiences, making life more exciting. It's like a second chance at crossing over. Anyway, the simulation field only eliminates, it doesn't kill. As for the top 10, Du Jie feels that he can strive for it. He is a serious person and will always do his best no matter what he does. Du Jie looked at the muscular man and whispered, "I'll go get some food for Lao Ju. Don't talk bad about San Gongzi behind his back anymore. It's not good if someone hears it." The muscular man's face changed slightly and he hurriedly defended himself. "Old Ji, did I say anything? You must have misheard me." Du Jie looked at him with a smile that wasn't a smile. The muscular man became nervous and swallowed his saliva, smiling and saying, "Old Ji, CJ has always been the best to you." "CJ, don't be nervous. We're brothers." Du Jie naturally knew his nickname and said with a serious tone, "But words can bring disease and disaster. CJ, it's better to keep some things in your heart. Saying them out loud will only cause trouble for you." After understanding the true meaning of upholding the principles, Du Jie began to cultivate the habit of always considering others. Whether it was natural or forced, every time he upheld someone, his body would receive immediate feedback. The simulator couldn't tell if he was sincere or not. He liked the feeling of receiving immediate rewards, much better than working for a month on Earth and waiting for his paycheck. "I understand." Feng Sis' expression was a little unnatural. He looked around and said, "Old Ji, you can go to the kitchen yourself. I have something else to do." "CJ, you're busy." Du Jie smiled and nodded. Feng Si looked at Du Jie one last time, wanting to say something but didn't, and hurriedly walked away. Du Jie continued walking outside. He didn't go to the kitchen at the Changwu Academy, but turned towards the demonstration of martial arts field. Feng Zhu's mat could still be used for a while, so he wasn't in a hurry to bring him food. "Who?" "Shout." Before he even reached the demonstration of martial arts field, Du Jie heard a lot of noisy voices, so he slightly increased his pace. Feng Zhu was vague about it and only told Du Jie that this was a wuxia world, but didn't tell him the level and standards of martial arts in this world, whether it was high or low. At least for now, Du Jie couldn't feel any flow of internal energy. Or maybe there was internal energy, but he didn't know how to use it. In any case, his body after possessing it felt no different from Earth. So he urgently wanted to see what the martial arts in this world were like. Were they the same as described in wuxia novels on Earth? Du Jie wore the clothes of a trainer and no one stopped him along the way. However, there were occasional curious glances cast his way, seemingly surprised that he was still going to the demonstration of martial arts field despite his serious injuries. Those disciples were almost crazy for the martial arts tournament. Even if they weren't seriously injured, they should find an excuse to hide for a few months instead of coming out to look for trouble. Entering the gate of the demonstration of martial arts field, Du Jie was immediately attracted to the two people practicing martial arts. One of them was wearing the same clothes as him, a sparring partner, and the other was a young man in a white training suit. The two were fighting back and forth. Rabbits running and crows flying, the two moved swiftly, circling around each other, their fists and feet flying up and down, accompanied by the whooshing sound of breaking wind, making people's eyes dazzle. It was much more enjoyable to watch than MMA on Earth. However, there were no special effects, indicating a low martial arts background. Du Jie made his judgment and then sadly discovered that the sparring partner indeed had martial arts skills, but he had no memory of them, let alone any muscle memory. Suddenly, the young man in his early 20s, wearing a white training suit, feinted with a move and then struck the sparring partner's chest with a piercing palm. Crack. The sparring partner screamed, flew through the air, and crashed into the weapon rack with a clatter before falling to the ground. A mouthful of blood spurted out, and after a few struggles, he lay motionless, not knowing whether he was dead or alive. Du Jie looked at the collapsed chest of the motionless sparring partner, his expression serious. At this moment, he suddenly understood Feng Zhu's urgency to escape from the Feng family. These guys indeed didn't treat sparring partners as human beings. With a collapsed chest, there was a high probability that he wouldn't survive. The applause awakened Du Jie. Du Jie looked back at the martial arts demonstration field. Apart from the sad sparring partners, the surrounding Feng family direct disciples and servants were all cheering loudly. Did they not care about human lives? Du Jie snorted disdainfully, what a garbage family. The young man in white pulled out a folding fan from his waist, flicked it open, and elegantly fanned himself, happily enjoying the compliments of the crowd. A middle-aged man with a long beard flew to the side of the sparring partner, glanced at his injuries, and then called for two people to carry him away. He looked at the young man and praised, Yun Jie, your heart-shattering jade-cutting move is becoming more and more refined, making it impossible for anyone to guard against. Uncle, you flatter me. In another 3 months, when I have mastered the gold-breaking jade-shattering hand, I will definitely win a spot for the Feng family in the martial arts tournament. The third young master seemed very satisfied with his earlier strike. He glanced at his own palm, smiled and nodded at the middle-aged man. From beginning to end, he never spared another glance at the sparring partner he had severely injured. Gold-breaking jade-shattering hand? What a low-level martial arts name. It didn't seem like a martial art from a prestigious family. Du Jie muttered in his heart. Feng Yunjie, the third young master of the Feng family, Feng Shiyi, the brother of the family master Feng Shiren, Du Jie matched their names in his heart. Feng Shiyi stroked his long beard, looked at Feng Yunjie, and laughed heartily, as expected of the Feng family's young tiger, you have ambition. Yunjie, for the next few months, you only need to focus on your training. If you have any needs, just mention them to your second uncle. Whether the Feng family can regain its glory depends on you. Fortune favors the bold. Du Jie pondered for a moment, then suddenly straightened his back and said loudly, Second Master Feng, third young master, I have important news to report, it's about this martial arts tournament. Chapter 4, Eyes at the Back of the Head. Published by Ranobes. World's End, my keyword is one more than others. Feng Qi? He was heavily injured by the third young master this morning, how can he still move? Not only that, he speaks with full energy, not at all like someone who has been injured. Could he have been pretending this morning? That's impossible. I personally checked his injuries, he was almost dead at that time. Doctor Who didn't even leave any medicine for him. I can't be wrong, and Doctor Who is always accurate. Listening to the discussions around him, Du Jie couldn't help but click his tongue. What kind of humanity is this? No wonder he was so heavily injured, not even given a bowl of medicine. It seems he really was waiting there to die. The Feng family is really despicable, are training partners not human beings? If they keep doing this, who would be willing to risk their lives for them? The evil feudal society. Unfortunately, the restrictions on body possession by players are too high. Otherwise, it would be much easier to start on the martial arts contest stage than those rich young masters. It's not surprising to deduce this conclusion. Feng Zhu said that the more than 1,800 people who disappeared at the beginning were eliminated because they failed to possess a body at the beginning. He and Feng Zhu coincidentally chose to possess the heavily injured numbers, which should not be a coincidence. Most likely, the old, weak, sick, and disabled are more likely to be possessed. Feng Qi, the third young master Feng Yunjie looked at Du Jie in surprise. Feng Shiyi was straightforward, and flew to Du Ji's side, pressing his pulse directly. Du Jie instinctively dodged, but Feng Shiyi's hand seemed to anticipate his movement, and with a slight turn of his wrist, easily grabbed his wrist. Du Ji's heart trembled, so fast, indeed worthy of the wuxia world. With his wrist held, Du Jie did not resist, smilingly allowing Feng Shi to examine his pulse. Something was abnormal. He didn't believe that the Feng family would kill him without investigating thoroughly. After a moment, Feng Shi released Du Jie's wrist, looked at his face, slightly frowned, and asked, Feng Shi, what's the matter with your injury? Replying to second young master, it has already healed. Du Jie smiled. Feng Shi looked at Du Jie's face again and said, the important matter you just mentioned is related to your sudden recovery from injury? Yes, Du Jie nodded. I troubled the second young master to control everyone in the courtyard. Don't let them walk around randomly to avoid leaking the news. Feng Shi was decisive, turned his head and ordered, Zhang Han, Lu Jing, you two guard the martial arts arena. Without my orders, no one is allowed to move around. Yes, the two direct disciples of the Feng family replied. The rest of the people whispered, and their gaze towards Du Jie became even more strange. Come, let's talk inside. Yunjie, you come too. Feng Shi looked at Du Jie's face again, gestured with his hand, and did not treat him as a mere training partner. Feng Yunjie nodded and led the way. Du Jie was sandwiched between the two men and entered the reception room next to the martial arts arena. As soon as they entered the reception room, Feng Shi suddenly reached out and quickly pressed a few acupoints on Du Jie's back. Du Jie stiffened, his whole body feeling numb and sore, and he was immobilized on the spot. He tried to move his legs, but they seemed to be not his own. His brain could feel the existence of his legs, but the command to move them did not work. The same was true for his arms. Is this acupoint pressing? Amazing. Du Jie exclaimed. Feng Shi easily controlled Du Jie, and he was a little surprised. He walked around to Du Jie's front and asked coldly, who are you? What is your intention in coming to my Feng family? Feng Yunjie sneered and said, your disguise technique is really excellent, but you're a bit stupid. You could have disguised yourself as someone else, but instead you pretended to be a severely injured servant. As he spoke, he reached out and grabbed Du Jie's face. With one grab, several blood marks appeared. Du Jie's face did not change, and there was no skin mask or disguise medicine. Feng Yunjie was stunned and looked closely at Du Jie's face, saying in disbelief, it's actually real. I checked earlier, and there were no traces of disguise. Feng Shi shook his head, looked straight at Du Jie, and asked, but you are definitely not Feng Shi. Who are you? I am Feng Shi, but I am not Feng Shi. Du Jie smiled, not caring about the pain on his face, and said leisurely, I don't know if you have heard of body possession? Body possession? The two members of the Feng family said in unison. The talk of ghosts and gods is just a trick by swindlers in the martial arts world. How could there be ghost possession in the world? Feng Yunjie snorted. Third young master, just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Otherwise, how do you explain my presence on Feng Shi's body? Even though his acupoints were pressed, blood flowing from his face, Du Jie still smiled and maintained a strong psychological advantage. Yunjie, listen to him, Feng Shi said. Words are not enough. Why don't I take you to see for yourself? Du Jie laughed. You don't have to worry about me running away. Although I have taken over Feng Shi's body, I do not have his martial arts memory. You can control me at any time. Feng Shi glanced at Du Jie, pressed a few acupoints on him, and released him. If I find out that you are playing tricks, you will suffer. Feng Yunjie threatened. Where are we going? Feng Shi asked. Find some food. I'll take you to see a miracle. Du Jie stretched his sore limbs and stabbed Feng Ju without hesitation. Having tested the effectiveness of maintenance, it was natural to try backstabbing, and the ideal candidate for backstabbing was, of course, a partner. Backstabbing was also a keyword, and when used correctly, it also had the ability to recover. As soon as he finished speaking, the wound on Du Jie's face that was grabbed by Feng Yunjie quickly scabbed over and healed, and with a wipe of his hand, the scab on his face fell off, restoring it to its original state. Seeing this scene, both Feng Shi and his nephew were stunned, and their eyes looked at Du Jie as if they were looking at a ghost. Their suspicions were immediately reduced. Especially Feng Yunjie, he knew the strength he had just used, and even the best medicine in the world couldn't have such a miraculous effect. This kind of recovery ability had no explanation other than that of a ghost or a god. Feng Yunjie stared at Du Jie's face and asked in horror, are you really a ghost possessing a body? Otherwise, Du Jie smiled slightly, don't worry, my mission is to protect, I won't harm you. What is protection? Feng Shi asked. Bring some food, witness the miracle that is about to happen, and I will explain it to you later, which will make it easier for you to understand. Du Jie said, in short, all that I do concerns the future fate of the Feng family. The uncle and nephew of the Feng clan looked at each other. Feng Yunjie picked up a plate of tea snacks from the table and asked, is it enough? It's enough. Du Jie nodded and turned and walked out. The uncle and nephew of the Feng clan followed closely, keeping their guard up and looking serious. The three of them came to the Shangwu Academy. Du Jie said, what is about to happen may overturn your understanding of the world, so try to say less and watch more. I will explain it to you later. The uncle and nephew of the Feng clan nodded. Wait a moment before you go in, Du Jie instructed, took the tea snacks from Feng Yunjie's hand, and quickly walked into his own room. Brother Ju, I brought some food for you. Why did you take so long? Feng Ju pressed the broken grass mat under him and stared at the tea snacks in Du Jie's hand, swallowing saliva. Quickly, give me a few bites. I can't hold on much longer. When I'm better, let's escape from this damn Feng family together. Du Jie smiled and handed over the tea snacks. Feng Ju took them and wolfed them down, but just as he took a few bites, he suddenly stopped and stared straight at the door. Two figures blocked the light at the door. The Feng clan uncle and nephew stared at Feng Ju, who was wolfing down food on the bed, watching him rapidly recover from his injuries. They understood what miracle Du Jie had shown them. Feng Shi, did you betray me? Feng Ju trembled all over, looking at Du Jie with a fierce expression. Your keyword is maintenance. Aren't you afraid of weakening your attributes by betraying the object you maintain? So, if your actions don't match your keyword, your attributes will weaken. Du Jie gained some key information, but he didn't care. The moment the Feng clan uncle and nephew appeared, he had already gained an advanced skill. Eyes at the back of the head. The person being backstabbed is not allowed to be backstabbed by others. You have a view behind you. The moment he gained the skill, even without turning around, Du Jie saw the solemn faces of the Feng clan uncle and nephew behind him clearly. This was a natural vision, as if he could see 360 degrees naturally, without any discomfort. With this skill, no one in the world could sneak up on him from behind. Feeling the pleasure of being backstabbed, Du Jie didn't care that Feng Ju had exposed his keyword in anger. He smiled and said, Brother Ju, I didn't go against my words and actions. My current identity is as a training partner for the Feng family, and everything I do is to maintain the interests of the Feng family. Also, I haven't betrayed you. I just used facts to make you see the light. The world is so big, it's too dangerous for one person to go out and explore. We need to rely on the Feng family, this big tree, to provide us with shelter. Feng Qi, you will pay for your actions. Feng Ju looked at the silent uncle and nephew at the door. Didn't your teacher tell you the consequences of exposing yourself in the indigenous world? My teacher didn't actually tell me the consequences? Du Jie muttered to himself inside. Brother Ju, my teacher only told me to adapt to the situation. Fool, Feng Ju snorted. Brother Ju, eat up, eat more and recover quickly, so we can assist the Feng family together and make it prosper. Only then can we get the maximum benefit, Du Jie said seriously while facing away from the Feng clan uncle and nephew. If I assist you alone and wander around without any money, what good food can you eat? But if we rely on a family, it's different. If we gain the trust of the Feng family, we can eat whatever we want, and we can grow faster, right? Feng Ju was stunned and looked at the Feng clan uncle and nephew. Feng Shi hadn't figured out what had happened yet, but he was a smart person and immediately stated, Feng Ju, I can guarantee that we won't harm you. We can cooperate. All right, I hope you keep your word. Feng Ju hesitated for a moment, seemingly resigned to his fate, and continued to stuff tea snacks into his mouth, mumbling. Seeing Feng Ju's injuries heal faster and faster, the Feng clan uncle and nephew understood that what Du Jie said was true. The two exchanged glances, their eyes gradually filling with excitement. Feng Yunjie asked, Feng Qi, can you explain it to us now? Of course, but before I explain, you need to restrain Feng Zhu first. I don't know how fast he can recover, but since he tried to escape from the Feng family earlier, we must be prepared for any eventuality. Du Jie nodded, stabbing Feng Zhu in the back right in front of him, as if he wasn't the one who had just persuaded Feng Zhu. Feng Zhu spat out the cake in his mouth, glaring at Du Jie, and roared, Feng Qi, you son of a. Compared to Feng Zhu, Feng Qi trusted Du Jie more. After all, he had the skill to sacrifice himself for others, which naturally reduced the guardedness of the protected party by 30%. So, without hesitation, he flashed over and pressed 2 acupoints on Feng Zhu's chest, immobilizing him. Chapter 5, Heavenly Demon Chaotic World. Published by Ranobes. World's End, my keyword is one more than others. The conference hall. Feng Shuren, the family master, and many important members of the Feng family gathered together, watching Feng Zhu eat like monkeys. People occasionally came over to check Feng Zhu's pulse and examine his injuries. Du Jie pinched Feng Zhu's cheeks, responsible for stuffing food into his mouth, domineering and not allowing any refusal. Feng Zhu's cheeks were bulging like a squirrel with its mouth full of food. His eyes were red, staring at Du Jie who was feeding him, biting his teeth, as if chewing Du Jie's flesh. Damn it, too bullying. When I grows up, I will bite you to death, one bite at a time. Brother Zhu, yes, like that, chew with big mouthfuls, swallow hard, only when you're full, can you recover quickly, and only when you recover can you have the strength to fight me. Du Jie didn't care about Feng Zhu's cannibalistic eyes. He kept stuffing pastries into his mouth, stubbornly maintaining their friendship, and enjoying the pleasure of physical improvement. At this moment, Du Jie couldn't distinguish whether what he was doing was for maintenance or betrayal, but the rapidly improving physical fitness could not deceive people. Du Jie sighed, he was indeed a born actor. He should have gone to a film school on Earth with this talent. Seeing that ordinary food could really have a miraculous effect on Feng Zhu, everyone was amazed. They no longer doubted the body possession. Listening to the whispers around him, Du Jie stopped feeding and seriously suggested, Family Master, if you're still not at ease, you can beat Feng Zhu severely and verify it again. With one sentence, Feng Zhu, who had been trying to maintain his expression, completely broke down. He struggled and screamed hysterically, Feng Qi, you dog, why don't you experiment on yourself? Brother Zhu, don't be angry. It's just because your keywords are more effective than mine. Du Jie flicked off the food residue that had fallen on him and was not angry. For the benefit of the team, what's wrong with making a small sacrifice? Just endure it for a while. You can recover by eating a little more anyway. You damn jerk, I'll kill you. Feng Zhu's forehead was bulging with blue veins, and his face was turning red. If he hadn't been acupunctured, he would have probably pounced on Du Jie and bitten his neck. Mr. Zhu, calm down. Mr. Qi is just joking with you. Family Master Feng Shuren coughed and naturally changed his address to the two of them. Since you two have chosen to possess our Feng family, you are our Feng family's people, and you should help each other. Saying that, he came to Feng Zhu and personally untied his acupoint, and then asked the servant to bring him hot tea. Feng Zhu picked up the teacup, swallowed it in one gulp, and looked coldly at Du Jie. He had regained his freedom and no longer had the impulse he had before. Du Jie didn't look back, but his eyes behind him kept watching Feng Zhu. At this moment, he felt that Feng Zhu's behavior was a bit like a dog that was tied up with a rein and suddenly released. He couldn't help but feel like laughing. It must be said that this guy's performance was a bit exaggerated, relying entirely on staring and shouting. If there was a real acting school in the real world, he would probably be one of the worst students. Of course, it's also possible that he deliberately made such an appearance to deceive himself. Feng Zhu came from a professional background and must have a better understanding of the simulation field than him. His current impulse was completely different from when he first woke up. Under the current circumstances, Du Jie's impulsive and irritable personality clearly made it easier to win the favor of the Feng family. Everyone knows that it's easier to control someone with a simple and impulsive mind. No one should be underestimated. But no matter what the situation, Du Jie wasn't too worried. Although Feng Zhu had his memories in martial arts, he didn't eat much and his injuries hadn't fully healed. Meanwhile, Du Jie had developed self-sacrifice and a third eye on the back of his head, and his physical fitness had skyrocketed. He didn't have to worry about Feng Zhu suddenly attacking him. Du Jie also discovered that when he defended the interests of the Feng family, it not only helped him recover from his injuries but also strengthened his various attributes, such as strength and senses. At this point, Du Jie's doubts were finally resolved. If the keyword's only function was to help people recover and provide some unreliable skills, then it would be impossible to master the game world. To give an example from the current world, there was only half a year left until the martial arts tournament. Even if someone was a genius, it would be impossible to compete with martial arts experts who had been practicing for years in just half a year, unless they possessed the body of a martial arts master. However, based on his and Feng Zhu's examples, Du Jie guessed that the probability of directly possessing a martial arts master was very low. But the keyword could enhance physical fitness and senses, and coupled with skills, it could level the playing field. Feng Shuren looked at Du Jie again and smiled, Mr. Qi, please explain the details of body possession. Yesterday, there was a spatial crack in this world in the demon realm. The demon realm is barren, and 3,000 heavenly demons invaded the human world to enjoy its prosperity. Du Jie smiled, looked around at everyone, and threw out the setting he had already prepared. Heavenly demons have no form, so if they want to establish themselves in this world, the first step is to possess a body and be reborn. Spatial crack? Demon realm? Heavenly demons from outside the realm? The Feng family was shocked and horrified. Some cowardly people looked at Du Jie and Feng Qi, subconsciously taking a step back. It had to be said that the changes in Feng Qi's and Du Jie's bodies were indeed demonic. If it was just a wandering ghost possessing a body, that would be one thing. But heavenly demons. In the martial world, who hasn't had their hands stained with blood? Listening to Du Jie's fabricated reasons, Feng Zhu drank his tea silently without saying a word. He didn't attack Du Jie, not because he had a conscience, but because he had discovered a terrible fact. This fact even made him temporarily forget his hatred for Feng Qi. His stomach was hurting. His stomachache wasn't a big deal, it was probably a side effect of eating grass mats. The most important thing was that he was full. Before, when Feng Zhu was eating grass mats, he didn't feel like there was a big problem. But the Feng family had been pressuring him to eat, in order to verify his abilities. As a result, he had eaten so much that he couldn't even drink his tea now. The keyword gave him a convenient way to improve, but it didn't give him the corresponding stomach capacity. This was ridiculous. How could this happen? He couldn't keep eating, so how could he surpass Du Jie? Looking at Du Jie, who was confidently speaking to everyone, Feng Zhu felt bitter. How could such an excellent keyword be given to a scumbag with a bad personality? Are all 3,000 heavenly demons from outside the realm like the two of you? Feng Shuren raised his eyelids slightly, not showing too much interest in Du Jie's words. He is the family master, and he wouldn't believe everything others say. Even if what Du Jie said was true, he still needed to verify it before taking action. Almost, Du Jie said. Will heavenly demon harm the world? Feng Yunjie was young and curious about things related to supernatural powers, unable to resist asking. Some will, some won't. How should I put it? Heavenly demon values enjoyment and improvement more. Du Jie laughed. Heavenly demon sounds scary, but it's not as complicated as humans. Each heavenly demon has its own attributes, which are the keywords that Feng Zhu mentioned earlier. We must match our own attributes to grow. For example, my attribute is maintenance. I must consider others in my words and deeds, maintain and protect their interests. Once my words and deeds go against maintenance, my abilities will be greatly weakened. Therefore, my attribute is auxiliary, harmless. Feng Zhu's attribute is much simpler. He can grow quickly by eating, which is neither good nor bad. If it's an evil attribute star, such as ferocity, treachery, it is indeed possible to harm the world. Fuck. After hearing Du Jie expose his secrets, Feng Zhu glared at him and secretly gritted his teeth. Gluttonous was such a good keyword. If it weren't for this bastard, how could he have fallen to this point? Yes. It's not that his keyword is not good. Gluttonous is a keyword for later development. As long as he hides and eats a lot, he will eventually become outstanding. Now that his secrets have been revealed by Feng Qi, he is everywhere at a disadvantage, all because of him. He must find a way to break the deadlock. After pondering for a moment, Feng Zhu did not expose Du Jie's lies, but interrupted him and said, Family master, I have figured it out. I will sincerely cooperate with the Feng family. As you can see, Feng Qi is two-faced. He defends the Feng family today, but may defend others for greater benefits in the future. With me there to restrain him, it will be more beneficial to the Feng family. Feng Shuren looked surprised at Feng Zhu and secretly shook his head. Heavenly demon and the like were things he didn't understand, and there were too many uncontrollable factors. The simplest way to deal with it was actually to kill them, but if they were tearing each other apart, it would be easier to use them to balance each other and fish for benefits. Du Jie smiled and shook his head. Family master, don't listen to his instigation. Maintenance is my instinct. If I betray the maintenance object, my supernatural power will be greatly weakened. I won't do those stupid things. Besides, I am a member of the Feng family. If I rashly defend others, others must trust me. Maintaining the Feng family will achieve twice the result with half the effort, while maintaining others will achieve half the result with twice the effort. Feng Qi, ask yourself, haven't you betrayed me? You sold me out for the support of the Feng family, and in the future, you may sell the Feng family for greater benefits. As long as the person or force you maintain is stronger than before, your weakness will not be revealed. Feng Zhu retorted sharply. Gluttonous had too many constraints in the early stages, and Du Jie was too cunning. He had to ensure his survival and then seek other benefits. Moreover, since he didn't have the ability to eat all the time, the quality of food became a prerequisite for his growth. Drinking Feng Qi's blood was much better than chewing on grass, so staying in the Feng family was a good choice. After all, the Feng family was large and had a vast business. It was safer than him going out alone to make a living. What a pity it would be if he accidentally ate something and died of gastroenteritis. Brother Zhu, are you being unfair? I chose a broader path, which is much higher than the starting point you set for me to escape from the Feng family. This is to maintain our common interests, so how can it be called betrayal? Du Jie said, no matter who judges, they would think that the path I chose is better than yours. Escaping from the Feng family would be a betrayal for me, and it would attract the Feng family's pursuit. It's possible that I wouldn't even survive a day. If I maintain it for a day, I'll maintain it for a lifetime. If I get used to betrayal, how can I grow? Quote. Feng Zhu sneered, you have a glib tongue. Du Jie smiled, Brother Zhu, your understanding of maintenance is narrow, while my understanding is broad. Feng Shuren watched the two argue with a smile in his eyes, stroking his beard. Let them quarrel. The fiercer the quarrel, the better. The fiercer they quarrel, the more information they expose. Chapter 6, Rare Commodity for Sale. Published by Ranobes. World's End, my keyword is one more than others. Even if you speak eloquently, it's still betrayal. Feng Zhu interrupted Du Jie and said, Family master, don't believe him. Heavenly demon is cunning and can disguise his keywords. Don't listen to what he says, but watch what he does. A heavenly demon like me, who can grow just by eating, is the easiest to control. After dismantling Du Jie's argument, Feng Zhu felt relieved for no reason. Brother Zhu, you've hurt me deeply. You can insult my body, but you can't defame my reputation. Du Jie shook his head and sighed. You were the one who proposed cooperation in the beginning, and now that the situation is so good, you're targeting me. Have you ever thought that if I really wanted to kill you, the tile would have already cut your throat while I fed you blood? How could I bring Third Young Master and Mr. Chow to see you and persuade you to turn back and join the Feng family? Quote. Feng Zhu crossed his arms in front of his chest and looked at Du Jie, coldly saying, if you hadn't tortured me to death, I would have believed you. Forget it, I won't explain it anymore. Brother Zhu has abused me 1,000 times, but I still treat him like my first love. Du Jie looked at Feng Zhu, shook his head, turned around, and bowed to Feng Shuren, saying solemnly, Family master, please don't mind Brother Zhu's recklessness. As the saying goes, highly rewarding talent. Even a heavenly demon like Brother Zhu can be treated as a distinguished guest by the Feng family. Are you afraid that there won't be other heavenly demons joining us? Now that the heavenly demons have arrived, the world has changed. Although we are weak now, whoever controls more heavenly demons in the future will become stronger and have more say in the world. Seizing the opportunity is the key to success. With one sentence, Du Jie not only defended Feng Zhu but also the Feng family. He felt refreshed and his strength seemed to have doubled. Every cell in his body was filled with power. Great. Become stronger? Have more say in the world? In the conference room, the members of the Feng family looked at Du Jie as if he were a fool. Such big words. In this vast world, the Feng family was just a second-rate family with no special techniques or talents. Becoming stronger was just wishful thinking. With just a few heavenly demons? You two were easily restrained, and you're still bragging. What do you mean, a heavenly demon like me? What does highly rewarding talent mean? I had already decided to join the Feng family, and you made it sound like I owe you a favor? Who do you think you are? Your damn keyword isn't maintenance, but deception, right? Feng Zhu was once again provoked by Du Jie and was about to retaliate. Suddenly, he felt a tremor in his heart and thought of a possibility. Fraud. Du Jie's keyword was fraud or deception. From the beginning, every word and action he made was deceiving. Deception could also achieve the effect of recovery. Fuck. He was so confused that he believed Du Jie's keyword was maintenance at the beginning. FCK. This bastard must have studied keywords like fraud in school and used them so skillfully that he may have even awakened advanced skills. Otherwise, with his personality, Feng Qi should have planted a few nails when he asked about the layout of the Feng family's residence, instead of revealing everything. When did things get out of control? Was it when he planned to use himself as bait to lure Feng Qi? No. It was after Feng Qi fed him blood, his guard against him suddenly lowered. Feng Zhu took a deep breath and looked back at Du Jie, forcing himself to calm down and carefully analyze the current situation. At this point, Feng Qi had grown bigger and wanted to survive in the simulation field, so he still had to flatter him. To get rid of Feng Qi, he had to discover his true keywords and use targeted methods. He secretly observed his surroundings and saw the disdainful expressions of the Feng family, sneering in his heart. This guy was too confident. The natives were not so easy to deceive. The school emphasized not revealing keywords to the natives, but he thought it was a joke. It was learned through losing in the Alien Star battlefield. This idiot, even if he wanted to fool the Feng family, he should wait until he became stronger. The weak have no say, they won't listen to you. A story about a heavenly demon with flaws invading. As long as a few participants were asked to verify it, it would be exposed. Mr. Qi, do heavenly demons have supernatural powers like the two gentlemen? Feng Shuren twirled his beard and asked. Family master, the demon realm is barren, and everyone there is a heavenly demon. Their properties cannot be fully utilized. After all, they are all similar. However, when they come to the human world, they have room to grow with a large population and abundant resources. Naturally, they become invincible. That's why heavenly demons still come to the human world, even though they know they will lose their eternal life. This land is too suitable for heavenly demons to live in. As for supernatural powers, of course they have them. Du Jie had a brain behind his eyes. What Feng Zhu could see, he could naturally see as well, and with his heightened senses, he could see more clearly than others. Sacrificing oneself for justice can only reduce others' guard, but not their intelligence. However, this did not prevent him from continuing to fabricate stories. What he needed was only to match his words and deeds with the keywords to achieve rapid growth. As Mr. Qi said, heavenly demons are invincible. So when heavenly demons grow up, will this world belong to them or us? Feng Yunjie asked. Third Young Master worries too much. How many heavenly demons are there? They all have their own weaknesses, and after possessing a human body, they become dependent on it and lose their immortal nature. How can they control the human world? Du Jie said, just like Feng Zhu, if you cut off his food source, he will continue to weaken and eventually starve to death. As long as you grasp the heavenly demon's weaknesses, you can control them and use them for your own purposes. Idiot. Feng Zhu, who was once again betrayed, glanced at Du Jie and looked at his nose, thinking about his heart, enduring it. He wanted to see how Du Jie would end up in the end. I heard from Mr. Zhu before, do you also have teachers in the demon realm like we do in the human world? Feng Yunjie continued to ask Du Jie. Of course, how can there be inheritance without teachers? Du Jie laughed. We are also in the same world. Heavenly demons do not appear out of thin air. They also need to learn how to survive in other worlds. Feng Shi, are you not afraid of heavenly demons' revenge for revealing their secrets to us? Feng Shi asked. Heavenly demons have different attributes, and some attributes are even antagonistic. Fighting and competing in the demon realm is common, and we are not on good terms with each other. So, there is no such thing as betrayal. Du Jie turned to look at Feng Zhu and smiled. Moreover, my attribute is maintenance, and only by maintaining others can they grow. Compared with my own growth, the freedom of other heavenly demons has nothing to do with me. Finding a paradise for them is also a way of showing camaraderie. As he spoke, he took a look at his personal information. In the meantime, his ranking had changed again, and his score had become 108/860ths. More than 70 people had been eliminated from the simulation field, and Du Jie was increasingly aware of how brutal the game was. Of course, there were also good things. His ranking had risen more than 70 places, and although he was still far from the top 10, the rapidly rising ranking gave Du Jie hope. Family Master, make a decision. Heavenly demons are still weak and small, and they are all hiding themselves. Once they grow stronger, it will be even more difficult to attract them. Once other sects discover the benefits of heavenly demons, we will not have a chance, Du Jie continued to persuade. Ahem. Feng Shuren coughed again and shook his head. Mr. Qi, I know you have the Feng family's best interests at heart, but the Feng family is not well known in the martial world. If the matter of attracting heavenly demons is exposed, it may bring disaster to the family. I know you are sincere, but the Feng family is too small. This matter should be discussed later. Why don't the two gentlemen tell me more about the demon realm so that I can have a preliminary understanding of the heavenly demons? Du Jie looked at Feng Shuren and fell silent for a moment. Family Master, you may think that we are weak and cannot help the Feng family. Or perhaps you are afraid that if the heavenly demons grow out of control, they will backlash against the Feng family. But throughout history, opportunities have always been given to those who are prepared. Have you ever thought that once the heavenly demons are used by others, will the Feng family still have a place in the martial world? Even if others use the heavenly demons to swallow the Feng family, what will the Feng family rely on to resist? Rely on the Feng family's descendants? Feng Yunlu, the fourth son of the Feng family, sneered, you talk big. With your weakness, can you really cause any trouble? I alone can take on 10 of you. Weak? Du Jie was stunned. Family Master, please seal my internal energy. No need, I have already investigated. Your Dantian has been shattered, and your internal energy has already dissipated, Feng Shi suddenly said. Damn, Du Jie was stunned and cursed inwardly. I knew it was strange that other sparring partners had martial arts, but I couldn't sense any internal energy from him. So this is the reason. MMP. It seemed that there was no chance to experience martial arts now. He didn't know if there were any herbs or martial arts that could repair the Dantian. Logically speaking, having a broken Dantian was a protagonist treatment. Crack. Du Jie casually struck a palm at the square table beside him. The table shattered in response. Feng Shuren was stunned. Feng Zhu's mouth twitched, and he subconsciously swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Good guy, this bastard is growing fast. Feng Yunlu was dumbfounded. Du Jie laughed and said, Fourth young master, it's been less than half an hour since I possessed Feng Qi's body. Just by maintaining the Feng family, I've grown to this point. If I could really help the Feng family flourish, even I don't know how much power I would gain. Do you still think the heavenly demon is weak? Feng Shuren stood up, walked over to Feng Qi, grabbed his wrist, and put his fingers on his pulse. After a moment, he raised his head, looked at Du Jie in surprise, and said, the Dantian is as good as new, but indeed, all internal energy is lost. Upon hearing this, everyone was shocked. Feng Qi rushed over in a few steps, pressed Du Jie's pulse, and carefully examined it. He said incredulously, how is it possible? Can the heavenly demon repair even a broken Dantian? The Dantian was actually repaired, the keywords were indeed powerful. Du Jie felt a surge of joy and looked around at everyone with a smile. Everyone, do you still underestimate the heavenly demon? My attribute is maintenance, which is very difficult to operate. I need to genuinely consider the other party's interests in order to grow. Even so, my growth is still rapid. As for heavenly demons like Feng Zhu, who can grow simply by eating, or those with other simple attributes, can the Feng family really resist them when they grow? Seeing the Feng family members deep in thought, Du Jie pressed on, Family Master, the Feng family may not need the heavenly demon, but it definitely cannot be without it. The reason why martial arts families grow strong is because of martial arts secrets. If the Feng family could have a group of heavenly demon guest officials, would we lack secrets? Perhaps, in no time, the Feng family will be the next Chao family, and the so-called martial arts tournament will be hosted by the Feng family. He paused, then suddenly raised his voice, Family Master, seize this opportunity. Seize the opportunity? Feng Shiren's pupils trembled, and he suddenly looked at Du Jie. Clearly, he was tempted. Fuck. Feng Zhu almost bit his tongue. Damn, he really managed to turn the situation around. This one must have come from an elite academy. World's End. My keyword is one more than others. Published by Ranobes. Chapter 7. Indecisive. Feng Shuren tapped his teacup on the table twice, signaling for everyone in the hall to be quiet before turning to Du Jie and asking, Mr. Qi, what should we do next? Firstly, send people to investigate the towns for any sudden changes in the health or behavior of the elderly or disabled. If there are any, bring them back to the Feng family. Better to catch the wrong person than to let the heavenly demon escape. After capturing them, we can determine if they are truly the heavenly demon based on their words and actions. Secondly, we can use the martial arts tournament as an excuse to visit the various sects and families to look for any heavenly demons that may have infiltrated them. If we can recruit them, we will. If not, we will eliminate them to ensure the Feng family's dominance. Du Jie gave his suggestions without hesitation. Before Feng Shuren could respond, Feng Yunjie stood up and said, Mr. Qi, I'm afraid that won't work. The Feng family's martial arts skills are not outstanding. If I were to encounter any problems before the martial arts tournament, I might not even have the chance to participate. You don't know, other sects would love to eliminate their competitors in advance under the guise of sparring. After all, there are many treasures in the Chao family's holy land that can change a family's destiny. Du Jie interrupted him and asked, Third young master, how many people from the Feng family will participate in the martial arts tournament? Feng Yunjie replied, there are 5 people who meet the qualifications. I am a direct descendant of the Feng family, and the other 4 are my father and 2 uncles' disciples. Mr. Qi, the martial arts tournament is for selecting the rising stars of the martial world and promoting their reputation. It's limited to young people between the ages of 20 and 25. Is 5 the limit for the number of participants? Du Jie asked. No, Feng Yunjie replied, there is no limit to the number of participants, only to their age. Can Feng Zhu and I participate? Du Jie asked again. Feng Yunjie was taken aback, looked at the two of them, and said, your age is not a problem, but I'm afraid your martial skills won't even pass the preliminary screening. To prevent troublemakers from participating in the tournament and affecting the audience's experience, the Chao family will conduct an initial screening of the participants. As for the Feng family, I am the only one who has a chance of passing the screening. Recalling Feng Sis' evaluation of the martial arts tournament, Du Jie asked, Third young master, have any of the Feng family's descendants achieved good results or entered the Holy Land in the past martial arts tournaments? His words hit a sore spot for the Feng family, and everyone fell silent. Feng Yunjie blushed and said, Mr. Qi, my martial arts aptitude is relatively good, and I am the most hopeful person in the Feng family to win a place and enter the Chao family's Holy Land. Well, things are different now. Du Jie shook his head and smiled. Third young master, perhaps you were the only one with a chance in the past, but that's not the case anymore. Don't forget, Feng Ju and I are also part of the Feng family. Several pairs of eyes turned to Du Jie and Feng Ju. There is still half a year before the martial arts tournament, and with the Heavenly Demon's arrival, who can say for sure what will happen in half a year? Du Jie paced back and forth a few steps, finally standing still, his gaze fixed on the family master Feng Shiren, and said with a smile, Master, times have changed. We must learn to look at things with a developmental perspective. The bigger our ambition, the bigger our stage. Maybe in half a year, Chao family's martial world Holy Land will have changed its name to Feng. Feng Shiren had just picked up his teacup and took a sip when Du Jie's words came out, and the tea suddenly choked him, causing him to cough a few times before recovering and reluctantly saying, Mr. Qi, it's okay to talk about this in the Feng family, but don't spread it outside. Master, trust me, I know what I'm doing. From the moment I step forward, I am bound to the Feng family. We rise and fall together. I won't do anything that is detrimental to the Feng family. Du Jie nodded at Feng Shiren and turned to Feng Yunjie, third young master. Let's put aside the matter of seizing the martial world Holy Land for now. Even if the martial world is not affected by the Heavenly Demon and continues to develop as before, we can still take out other seed players ahead of time and increase the chances of the Feng family entering the Chao family's Holy Land. I would like to, but I need the ability to do so. Feng Yunjie said awkwardly. Even if you have the ability, you can't do it. Otherwise, once exposed, it will surely bring disaster to the Feng family. Du Jie pointed to himself and Feng Ju and said with a smile, for the stability of the Feng family, we will do the dirty work. Looking at Du Jie, who was willing to sacrifice for the Feng family members looked at each other and didn't know what to say for a while. How should they say it? Everything in front of them gave them a surreal feeling. Feng Shiren didn't like Du Jie's boastful attitude and frowned. Mr. Qi, we still need to be cautious in our actions. Master, time is running out. Du Jie sighed. You don't understand the Heavenly Demon. They will take everything to grow. Just like me, I will do everything to protect the interests of the Feng family because only when the Feng family is prosperous can my abilities improve. I know what you're worried about, Master. We need to make the best plan but also prepare for the worst. If the assassination of other seed players is exposed, you can push me out as a scapegoat and blame everything on the Heavenly Demon. By then, other Heavenly Demons should have already shown signs, and no one will suspect us. The Feng family can even use this to launch a grand demon slaying campaign and gain fame. Feng Ju looked at Feng Qi suspiciously, and his doubts about him loosened a bit. Was his keyword really protecting the Feng family with all his heart? Feng Yunjie looked at Du Jie, his eyes flashing with obvious interest. Feng Shiren frowned. I haven't said anything yet. How come it seems like everything is already decided in your mouth, and even the way out has been figured out for me? Du Jie clasped his fists and bowed to the ground. Family master, fortune favors the bold. Feng family has not even qualified to enter the Holy Land after several martial arts tournaments. What else do we have to lose? Family master, make up your mind. I am willing to make any sacrifice for the Feng family. Please do not doubt my sincerity. Feng Shiren took a deep breath and said, Mr. Qi, this is a matter of great importance. Let's discuss it first. Yunming and Yunlu, please take the two gentlemen to the guest room to rest. Feng Yunming came to Du Jie and the other man, gesturing with his hand, please, gentlemen. Du Jie looked helpless and unwillingly turned to Feng Shiren, raising his voice, family master, the future of Feng family is in your hands. You must make a decision as soon as possible. Time is of the essence. Feng Shiren's head buzzed, and he instinctively clenched his fists. Looking at the eager Feng family members, he felt a little fear and killing intent towards Du Jie. If he didn't handle this Heavenly Demon who could manipulate people's minds well, it would most likely bring disaster to the Feng family. Second young master, it's meaningless for us to stay here. It's better to persuade the family master. The Heavenly Demon's descent is really a great opportunity. We can't give up. Fourth young master, you are smart and clever. You will also have a chance to participate in the martial arts tournament in the future. Don't you want to participate in your own home? Second young master, you will take charge of the Feng family in the future. You should know that managing a family is like practicing martial arts. If you don't progress, you will regress. On the way to the guest room, Du Jie talked endlessly to Feng Yunming and Feng Yunlu, showing great concern for the future of the Feng family and portraying himself as a loyal and devoted servant to the family. Feng Ju covered his stomach and was shocked by what he saw. He had never felt so inferior before. Compared to Du Jie, he lacked too much. Was this the education from the elite academy? It was their first time entering the simulation field. How could he be so outstanding? Thinking of how he had used the spot in the elite academy to lure Feng Qi, Feng Ju felt embarrassed. He was afraid that he had been seen through at that time. When they arrived at the guest room, Du Jie finally fell silent and sat in a chair, thinking about where the flaws were and how to make up for them. But in the eyes of Feng Yunming and Feng Yunlu, they were worried that Feng Qi's suggestion would not be adopted. The two looked at each other, and Feng Yunming broke the silence. Mr. Qi, you are too eager. Don't think too much. Father has always been cautious in his actions, and he will make the best choice. Feng Yunlu laughed and said, that's right, Mr. Qi, you've already explained the pros and cons, and we can't make the decisions for the rest. Let's just wait patiently. Mr. Qi, tell us about the demon realm. I'm quite curious about the Heavenly Demon. Did he push too hard? Du Ji's thoughts stirred, and he sighed. We can't afford to wait. The Feng family needs to be strong so that I can be strong. Otherwise, when other Heavenly Demons come to kill, I won't have grown enough to protect the Feng family. Without even our lives, how can we talk about living freely? The competition among Heavenly Demons is very cruel. As he spoke, it seemed as if he remembered something. He looked at Feng Ju and skillfully changed the subject. Eldest young master, I've only thought about my own growth. Quickly find someone to prepare some food for Brother Ju. His keyword is gluttonous, and he must eat to grow. His growth will also be a help to the Feng family. The matters of the demon realm were all fabricated. The more he talked, the more mistakes he would make. It was better to take this opportunity to maintain a few more people and enhance his own strength. Just now, he had wholeheartedly planned for the Feng family, and his attributes had improved a lot. Now, he felt energetic, with sharp senses and seemingly endless strength. This kind of improvement was very addictive. Du Jie also saw that Feng Shiren was indecisive and couldn't achieve great things. His schemes might be beneficial to the Feng family, but once he encountered setbacks or lost control of them, his butcher's knife would probably be aimed at himself first. Enhancing his own strength was the foundation for standing firm. In the future, when he betrayed the Feng family, he would have confidence. Feng Ju looked at Du Jie in astonishment, as if he hadn't expected him to find food for him. Du Jie laughed and said, Brother Ju, don't look at me like that. When I said we'd cooperate, I meant it. I won't harm you. Feng Ju glanced at Du Jie and suddenly sighed, saying bitterly, no need, I can't eat anymore. Eldest young master, ask the doctor to prescribe me some digestive medicine. My stomach is a bit full. Full? Du Jie stared at Feng Ju intently, as if looking at an extremely interesting object. Feng Ju's face turned red, and he avoided Du Jie's gaze, mumbling, I ate too much earlier, and I really can't eat anymore. Du Jie stood up and walked around Feng Ju a few times, amidst his panicked gaze. Suddenly, he stopped, looked at him, shook his head, and said decisively, Brother Ju, you're on the wrong path. Feng Yunming was about to order a servant to call the doctor for Feng Ju, but when he heard this, he stopped. World's End. My keyword is one more than others. Published by Ranobes. Chapter 8. Extreme Theory. Wrong? Feng Ju was stunned and instinctively asked. Yes, wrong. The restorative power of the keyword is so strong that it can repair even a ruptured dantian. You ate so much, yet you still feel stomach pain. Do you think that's normal? Du Jie asked. It's a bit abnormal, Feng Ju frowned. So, Brother Ju, you misunderstood what it means to be gluttonous. Du Jie looked at Feng Ju. I ask you, what does gluttonous mean? A fierce beast, greedy, and loves to eat. Feng Ju thought for a moment and replied. Yes, gluttonous is first and foremost a fierce beast, followed by being greedy and loves to eat, Du Jie said. But what about you? When you think of gluttonous, you only think of eating. What about being fierce, having animalistic traits? It's not reflected at all. And what about being greedy and loves to eat? What does being greedy mean? Having a big appetite and never being satisfied. What does loves to eat mean? Eating without restraint. I ask you, which of the characteristics of gluttonous have you achieved? Feng Zhu was speechless and couldn't say anything for a long time. Sweat beads appeared on his forehead. He realized that he had misunderstood the keyword so much. Looking at Feng Qi's confident face, he felt even more bitter. Was this the gap between him and the other party? Brother Zhu, the ultimate. Only by doing everything to the extreme can you grow. If you don't go crazy, you won't survive. Du Jie looked at Feng Zhu with a serious expression. The ultimate? Feng Zhu blinked and furrowed his brows, lost in thought. After a moment, a flash of inspiration seemed to pass through his mind. He widened his eyes and understood the ultimate mystery of the simulation field. He excitedly swallowed his saliva, and even his gaze at Feng Qi changed slightly. Although Feng Qi had tortured him severely, he was really teaching him valuable knowledge. Yes, the ultimate. Du Jie clenched his fists, his eyes full of fanaticism, just like me. Although we are in a competitive relationship, I am still willing to tell you the secrets of growth to protect your interests, without considering that you may turn on me in the future. For your own good, I can sacrifice everything, even my own life. This is the ultimate protection. Do you understand? I understand. Feng Zhu took a deep breath, looking at Du Jie with a complicated expression. After a moment, he seemed to have made a decision and said, Brother Qi, rest assured, I will not betray you. What you have taught me is enough for me to benefit for a lifetime. I can distinguish between right and wrong. I am convinced. You can rest assured that I will do everything I can to help you move forward. Brother Zhu, we are in a cooperative relationship. There is no one who must assist the other. We must support each other and grow together to go further. As I said before, when we fight side by side in the future, I hope you can trust me with your back. Du Jie looked at Feng Zhu with a smile. Now, are you going to take the medicine? I won't take it. Feng Zhu smiled, and his eyes gradually became fanatical. I want to eat more. Even if I can't eat anymore, I will still eat. Even if my stomach bursts, it won't stop my desire to eat. That's right, that's the spirit. Du Jie admired Feng Zhu. But you still have to take the medicine. Take it again? Feng Zhu was confused. Yes, take it. Take digestive aids and laxatives while eating. You must always maintain a state of emptying your intestines to maintain a strong appetite, Du Jie said. Laxatives? Feng Zhu swallowed his saliva and imagined himself squatting in a pit and eating. His face turned pale in an instant. He didn't think that's how gluttonous was supposed to be used. But at this moment, he was led by Du Jie's rhythm. His mind was full of extreme madness, and he couldn't pick out any mistakes from his words. Thinking about the gap between him and Du Jie, he gritted his teeth and said, Okay, I'll eat. Next to them, Feng Qi's words made Feng Yunming and his brother's scalp numb and their hair stood on end. Feng Yunming swallowed hard, his dry throat moistened, and he secretly thought that this was probably what they called demonic charm. Too ruthless. No wonder Feng Qi came up with such a plan for the Feng family. It turned out that he had taken maintenance to the extreme. No wonder they always felt that Feng Qi was too eager and his words and actions were too awkward. It was not his fault, but they had always measured heavenly demons with human standards. They were wrong. This must be notified to the family master as soon as possible to prevent him from making the wrong decision. After reminding Feng Zhu, Du Jie turned to Feng Yunming and his brother again. Eldest young master, fourth young master, don't just listen to me about Feng Zhu. In fact, the mistake made by the Feng family is the same as his. What? Feng Yunming was stunned. People who practice martial arts want to achieve something. They must first cultivate 3 points of evil in their hearts. Du Jie said, the Feng family's many young talents lack this 3-point evil. Not only do they lack evil, but they also lack the courage to go out and fight, and the blood of fighting with others. The martial arts tournament is about to be held. The way the third young master practices is to compare with the attendants at home. The attendants' martial arts contracts are all in the Feng family. They eat Feng family's food and practice Feng family's martial arts. Not to mention that their skills are not as good as the third young masters. Even if they are stronger than the third young master, would they dare to hurt the third young master? What's the difference between this kind of demonstration of martial arts and hitting a wooden stake? Without the experience of life and death struggle, and without the knowledge of the various martial arts, it's strange if they can win on the stage. Feng Yunming fell into silence. He opened his mouth to argue, but couldn't find a place to refute. In the end, he could only sigh. Mr. Qi is right. You said it easily. The Feng family doesn't have top martial arts. Why do they have the right to fight outside? Feng Yunlu said dissatisfied. If I dare to steal secret manuals for the Feng family, will the fourth young master dare to practice them? Du Jie provoked. If you dare to steal, I dare to practice. Feng Yunlu straightened his chest, unwilling to show weakness. Good. The Feng family still has the blood of men. This is the hope of the Feng family. I have not worked hard to maintain the Feng family in vain. Du Jie's eyes lit up, and he clapped his hands. For the fourth young master's blood, even if the family master does not allow it, even if it turns the world upside down, even if it costs my life, I will grab back some top secret manuals for you. Feng Yunlu nodded heavily, and he clenched his fists excitedly. Good, I'm waiting for that day. Watching his brother who was stirred up by a few words and lost his bearings, Feng Yunming shook his head, bowed his fists and said, Mr. Qi, you rest here. I'll go find Dr. Hu to prepare some digestive and laxative medicine for ninth young master, and prepare some food for him. Seeing Feng Yunming finding an excuse to leave, Du Jie naturally knew that his patch had worked, and he smiled and waved his hand, go and come back quickly. Brother C, greet the 2 gentlemen and don't run around. Feng Yunming reminded Feng Yunlu before hurriedly leaving. Du Jie turned back to his chair and looked at the childish Feng Yunlu, fourth young master. Tell us about the surrounding sects. I believe that the family master will make the most correct decision. Let's prepare in advance and see which one is suitable to start with. Feng Yunlu didn't understand why Du Jie said the matter was settled. He thought for a moment and sighed, Mr. Qi, you can't blame Feng family for being spineless. Feng family is really too weak. The Iron Palm Gang is the closest to us. They control the water transportation of 2 provinces, and have countless gang members. They have money and people. In recent years, Iron Palm Gang has suppressed Feng family too severely. The gang leader of Iron Palm Gang, Chu Yuanlang, is a famous master who uses iron sand palm to intimidate the world. Every time Chao family's Holy Land opens, Iron Palm Gang will have at least 3 people enter. 6 years ago, Chu Muqing from Iron Palm Gang brought out a light body martial art called 8 Steps to Catch Cicadas from Chao family's Holy Land, which made up for the shortcomings of their footwork and greatly improved their martial arts. We dare not provoke them anymore. This time, Chu Yuanlang's 5th son, Chu Feibao, who is a master of Iron Palm, will participate in the martial arts tournament. He is so skilled that one hit can break bones, and even his third brother is afraid of him. If we can disable him in advance, it would be best. In the conference hall, Feng Shuren looked around and asked, Second brother, how much of the heavenly demon incident do you think is true and how much is fake? Feng Shi shook his head, Big brother, this matter is too bizarre. I can't tell, it's up to you to decide. Feng Yunjie was restless in his chair. He looked at his father, who was calm and composed, and suddenly stood up, Dad, I think we should give it a try. What if it works? Feng Shuren frowned and looked at Feng Yunjie. Feng Yunjie gritted his teeth. 28 years ago, the Heavenly Fox scripture appeared. The major martial arts sects fought for it, and in the end, it fell into the hands of Yang Luo. He used the martial arts in the scripture to wipe out the 3 gates and 5 sects and establish the Heavenly Fox sect. At that time, he was just a small beggar in the beggar sect. We didn't fight for it then. 15 years ago, the Fist King's arsenal was dug open, and the major martial arts sects fought for the Millennium Stone Milk. We didn't fight for it again. As a result, the stone milk was swallowed by Tong Le of the 5 Tiger Gate, a 20-year-old kid who added a century of internal energy out of thin air. With this century of internal energy, he brought out a book called Mandarin Duck Knife Manual from Chao family's Holy Land, and the previously insignificant 5 Tiger Gate became a first-class sect in a few years. This time, with 2 heavenly demons born in Feng family, we can't afford not to fight. When will Feng family ever have a chance to rise? Dad, I have a premonition that this heavenly demon incident will cause a bloody storm in the martial world. We didn't fight for the first 2 times, but if we don't fight this time, I'm afraid what Feng Qi said will come true, and Feng family will face a disaster for no reason. Feng Shiren frowned. Third son, do you believe what Feng Qi said? Feng Yunjie said, Dad, whether it's true or not, we can send someone out to find out. Once we find the 3rd heavenly demon, we'll know if it's true or not. I'm not as indecisive as you think. I was going to do that anyway. Feng Shiren nodded. First verify the truth, and then take action. Feng Qi is too impulsive, which makes me a little uneasy. If what he said is true, we also need to find a way to control those heavenly demons in advance. Dad, there's no need to verify the truth. We have to make a decision now. If we drag our feet, we may not even have a chance to drink the soup. A voice came from outside the door. Feng Yunming stepped into the conference hall. Dad, second uncle, I learned the real secret about the heavenly demons from Feng Qi. We're heading in the wrong direction. What direction is wrong? Feng Shiren asked. Feng Yunming took a deep breath and briefly presented Du Ji's extreme theory. Looking at the stunned people in the room, he bitterly smiled and said, Father, they are heavenly demons, not ordinary people of this world. We shouldn't use the mindset of ordinary people to measure them. Heavenly demons are a group of madmen who will do anything for growth. Chapter 9. Is this all? It's not even worth fighting for. Published by Ranobes. World's End. My keyword is one more than others. The operation mode of the Iron Palm Gang is similar to that of the Cow Bang in martial arts novels. They collude with the government and control water transportation. This kind of organization is usually a must-visit gang for young heroes in the novice village. The Iron Sand Palm and 8-step Cicada Kung Fu also sound like common martial arts. Du Jie is not very interested in such gangs. Du Jie sighed and couldn't help but think about the low strength of the Feng family. They were even bullied by such a gang. No wonder they were so submissive. Du Jie reassured the 4th young master, don't worry, Feng Qi will do his best to get rid of the Iron Palm Gang to protect the interests of the Feng family. Get rid of the Iron Palm Gang? Feng Yunlu was taken aback and suddenly realized the helplessness of the family master. But thinking about Du Ji's extreme views, he felt relieved and comforted himself that it was normal for Heavenly Demon to be like this. If he didn't say that, it would be strange. From another perspective, if the Feng family could cultivate such a group of dead soldiers who recovered quickly from their injuries and would do anything to achieve their goals, why couldn't they rise to power? Shaking his head, Feng Yunlu looked at Du Jie with more admiration. Mr. Feng, we can take our time with the Iron Palm Gang. We just need to get rid of Chu Feibao first. Any force that hinders the interests of the Feng family must be eliminated sooner or later. Du Jie smiled and continued to ask, what about the biggest force in the martial world? Feng Yunlu replied, 5 sects, 3 gates, 2 gangs, and 1 aristocratic family. Du Jie straightened up and finally became interested. What are they? The 5 sects are Kunlun, Huashan, Taishan, Ma, and Shuishan sect. The 3 gates are Bloodblade sect, Divine Fist sect, and Tianshan sect. The 2 gangs are Beggars sect and Azure Dragon gang, and the aristocratic family is the Chao family. Feng Yunlu replied. Is the Chao family very powerful? Du Jie asked, why is the martial arts tournament held at the Chao family? The current Chao family is not as good as the 5 sects. Feng Yunlu shook his head and said, it is called the number 1 aristocratic family because of Chao He. Chao He was proficient in various martial arts, and even the simplest martial art could be used to its fullest in his hands. At the age of 25, Chao He became a master and challenged all the top experts of the 5 sects and 3 gates. He was recognized as the number 1 master in the world at that time. Chao He was not only powerful, but also chivalrous and made many friends. Although he defeated many top experts from famous families, he also helped many sects improve their martial arts. Therefore, he was unanimously recognized as the martial saint by all sects. After Chao He's death, he sealed all his knowledge in a secret place, which is now known as the Chao family Holy Land. When talking about the martial saint Chao He, there was a strange light on Feng Yunlu's face, as if it was his own ancestor. He sighed and continued, unfortunately, after the appearance of the martial saint Chao He, the Chao family never produced anyone extraordinary again. The martial saint saw this before his death and made a wish for the Chao family to open a secret realm every 3 years, selecting the most outstanding young people in the martial world to enter and find the secret books he left behind, in order to prevent his efforts from being lost and to cultivate the next generation of talents. This was a benevolent act that benefited the martial world, and many sects were grateful for the martial saint's kindness. Therefore, the Chao family was widely recognized as the number 1 family in the martial world. It could be said that the Chao family had become a symbol of the martial world. If the Chao family was in trouble, other sects had to help. Therefore, for hundreds of years, no one dared to provoke the Chao family. Feng Yunlu's words suddenly stopped, and he looked at Du Jie awkwardly. Wasn't this the person who wanted to seize the Chao family's holy land? Du Jie sneered inwardly. This was a common plot in martial arts novels. No matter what kind of holy land it was, after the protagonist appeared, it would be seized and ultimately destroyed. Throughout history, no holy land had been preserved intact until the end. Moreover, this was just a simulation field, and hundreds of people were eyeing the holy land. Even if he didn't seize it, someone else would. Feng Zhu is indeed worthy of the title of martial saint. Feng Zhu, who had been silent for a long time, sneered. He had a good plan, using a martial arts feast that only happens once every 3 years to protect the Chao family for 100 years. Knowing the origin of the number 1 family, Du Jie asked a relatively familiar sect among the 5 gates and 3 sects. What about the Beggar sect? What martial arts do they have? Fighting dog staff technique, funeral staff technique, lotus palm, and spirit snake body technique, Feng Yunlu said. These are all top-notch martial arts, much better than the Feng family's broken gold and broken jade hand. Lotus palm, funeral staff technique? Listening to these familiar yet unfamiliar martial arts, Du Jie secretly sighed that this was not the world he was familiar with. However, the Beggar sect was down to earth, and these martial arts were closely related to their daily activities, unlike the high-end martial arts like capturing dragon and subduing dragon palm. Suddenly, he felt a tremor in his body and felt a great change. He could clearly feel his muscles swelling up everywhere. Every cell seemed to store explosive power, as if he could easily punch a cow to death with just one punch. His vision was also enhanced. He could clearly see the wings of a mosquito flapping 3 meters away, and he could also observe Feng Zhu's subtle facial expressions behind him. There were also many noisy sounds in his ears, the heartbeat of Feng Yunlu and Feng Zhu, and he could even vaguely hear Feng Shiren arranging personnel to search for Heavenly Demon in the council chamber. Damn. What happened? Du Ji's heartbeat slightly increased. Did the Feng family put into action the plan he made up? If so, how far could they elevate the Feng family's position as the leader of the martial world? A humanoid Gundam? It was not in vain that he worked so hard. It was indeed a game from a higher world, and it was so much fun to play. After stabilizing his emotions, Du Jie clicked on the hidden personal attribute panel. Sure enough, his personal attributes had changed. Name, Du Jie. ID, 48,699,527. Mental power, 80. Current ranking, 1/813th. Scene keywords, maintenance. Scene keywords, backstab. Advanced skills. Sacrifice for righteousness. People you have maintained will have a 30% decrease in vigilance towards you. Eyes in the back of the head. The person who backstabbed you cannot be backstabbed by others, and you have vision behind you. Derived items, none. The value of mental power increased by 20, and his personal ranking jumped to first place. Du Jie pursed his lips. Damn, just like that, he became first. These people were too weak. However, the ranking should be changing all the time. Calm down, Du Jie stabilized his emotions. He had made a good start, and the real skill was to maintain the first place until the end. Feng Zhu saw Du Ji's small movements and naturally knew that he was checking his personal panel. Seeing his joyful expression, he should have made great progress in his ranking. Feng Zhu was full of envy and wanted to ask Du Jie about his ranking, but Feng Yunlu was still here, so it was not appropriate to ask. At this time, footsteps could be heard outside the door. After a while, Feng Yunjie pushed open the door and looked at Du Jie in the room excitedly. Mr. Qi, my father has agreed to your plan and has sent people to search for other heavenly demons. Feng Zhu held his breath. It was over. If the Feng family found another contestant, the lie about heavenly demon would be exposed in minutes. They were too hasty. Family master is indeed a wise man. Du Jie was not flustered at all. He stood up and asked with a smile, since the people searching for the heavenly demon have set off, when will we leave? Mr. Qi, there's no need to rush. My father said that the current strength of Mr. Qi and Mr. Zhu is still very weak. It's not too late to rest at the Feng family for a few days and then leave after increasing your strength, Feng Yunjie said with embarrassment. Third young master, do you remember what I said before? Du Jie shook his head and laughed. You've said so much, how could I remember everything? Feng Yunjie muttered in his heart and asked respectfully, may I ask what the gentleman is referring to? I am tied together with the Feng family, sharing both losses and gains. Du Jie puffed out his chest and proudly said, when the family master decided to execute the plan I provided, the fate of the Feng family has already changed. Similarly, my strength has also been enhanced. As he spoke, he suddenly took a step forward. Feng Yunjie's eyes blurred, and Du Jie had already come close to his face, less than 3 inches apart. His speed was so fast that Feng Yunjie couldn't react at all. By the time he reacted, he reflexively raised his hand to push Du Jie away, but his wrists were already caught by Du Jie. Feng Zhu's eyes bulged out. Damn. How is this possible? Feng Yunjie suddenly stood up, exclaiming in shock. Outside the door, Feng Yunming was dumbfounded and froze on the spot. In fact, Du Jie was also somewhat surprised. He originally intended to catch Feng Yunjie off guard by grabbing his throat to show off his strength. Unexpectedly, the sudden increase in strength and agility was not adapted to his body, and he rushed to Feng Yunjie's face in an instant. If he hadn't restrained his strength in time, he might have already knocked Feng Yunjie away. This broken game is so realistic that it even requires adapting to the sudden increase in strength and agility. Fortunately, apart from almost kissing Feng Yunjie, the effect of showing off was not bad. Du Jie released Feng Yunjie's wrists, floated back 2 steps, and smiled slightly. Third young master, do you believe what I said now? If I had just held a sharp weapon in my hand, your heart might have already been pierced by me. Chapter 10, Heavenly Demon is Very Miserable. Published by Ranobes. World's End, my keyword is one more than others. Feng Yunjie's wrists were trembling uncontrollably. He looked at Du Jie in shock, with a look of disbelief that was stronger than when he saw Feng Qi's scars heal on their own. After a long while, he regained his senses and asked, Mr. Qi, your strength has increased. Is it too fast? At this moment, he finally understood Feng Qirein's concern. Heavenly Demon's growth rate was too fast. Could they really control Feng Qi in the future? Thanks to the family master's wisdom, if the family master had not made the decision to change, my strength would not have increased so quickly. Du Jie waved his fists a few times, experiencing the joy of becoming a superhuman. Speaking of which, suddenly having so much strength is a bit uncomfortable. Are your hands okay? I didn't hold back my strength just now. Only then did Feng Yunjie feel the intense pain in his wrist, as if it had been broken. He rubbed his wrist with a grimace, still staring at Du Jie. In less than an hour, he went from being a severely injured patient to having immense strength, almost as if he had gained 10 years of hard work. It was simply unfair. Mr. Qi, is it possible for humans to become heavenly demons? Feng Yunlu asked eagerly, drooling with envy. It's probably not possible. Du Jie glanced at him and sighed. Fourth young master, you only see my growth, but not the hardships I've endured. Heavenly demons are born in the barren demon realm, waiting for the appearance of space-time cracks throughout their lives. Finally, when they have the chance to escape the demon realm through a space-time crack, they have to take the risk of body possession. If they choose the wrong target, they will die. If they are lucky enough to succeed in body possession, they still have to work hard to maintain their keywords and not make any mistakes. If they encounter good opportunities, they may have the chance to grow. If not, they will perish. If I had not lived with Feng Zhu this time, without anyone to protect me, I would have died soon after being severely injured, and the world would never have known that a heavenly demon had once existed. As he spoke, Du Jie seemed to understand what the rapidly disappearing numbers meant. It was most likely that his body possession had failed. He was kicked out of the simulation field at the beginning because of body possession, and it seemed that the simulation field was not just a simple game. Feng Yunlu pursed his lips and said sourly, although that's the case, your growth is too fast. If I could grow this fast, I wouldn't mind taking on any risks even if it meant working hard. Du Jie knew that his lightning-fast growth had aroused suspicion from the Feng family members. Suspicion was not conducive to team cooperation or his own growth. He had to quickly dispel their guard. He looked at several people and asked, Fourth young master, have you ever thought about what would happen if I failed to protect the Feng family in this chaotic world? What would happen? Feng Yunjie asked. If the Feng family declines because of me, it's my fault. I will also weaken and be at the mercy of others. Humans have a big advantage in this regard. The skills and internal energy you possess are always your own and will not change due to external factors. So don't envy me. Heavenly demons are very miserable. If possible, I would rather be a human who can succeed through their own efforts. Heavenly demons are too restricted. Upon hearing this, the 3 brothers of the Feng family breathed a sigh of relief. They had no choice but to believe him. After all, they watched as Feng Qi changed along with the decisions of the Feng family, and witnessed Feng Zhu's recovery through eating. It was impossible for the heavenly demon's attribute to only restrict Feng Zhu and not Feng Qi. Feng Qi and the Feng family were bound together, so they didn't have to worry about backlash. The stronger the Feng family became, the stronger Feng Qi became, and the less others dared to provoke the Feng family. It was like the Feng family had gained a protector. This was a great thing. Feng Yunjie sighed with emotion, grateful that Feng Qi's keyword was maintenance. May the Feng family be blessed. Are you all at ease now? Du Jie looked at them with a bitter smile on his face. If you still have doubts about me, you can let the family master recall those who went to find the heavenly demon, block the news of the heavenly demon's appearance, even kill Feng Zhu, and wait for other heavenly demons to grow in strength. Let's see if I weaken with them. Quote. Feng Zhu looked at Du Jie with resentment, feeling helpless. Why did he always end up being the scapegoat? Although he knew Du Jie was using a provocative method, he couldn't always be the one to bear the brunt of it. What if they really believed it? Feng Yunming is joking. Feng Yunming walked in and saluted Du Jie. Sir, you have given your all for the Feng family. How could we not believe in you? Yunjie and the others are young and ignorant. Please don't mind them. He turned and glared at Feng Yunjie and the others, scolding. Third and fourth young masters, apologize to sir. Sir, we're sorry. Feng Yunjie and the others quickly bowed to Du Jie, apologizing. We shouldn't have doubted you. It's okay, we're all doing this for the Feng family. Even if I were in your shoes, I wouldn't have blindly believed a heavenly demon from the demon realm. Du Jie smiled and helped them up. It's good that we've cleared things up. From now on, we're all one family. You don't have to worry about me holding a grudge. The keyword limits my actions. Even if I suffer great grievances in the Feng family, when it comes to danger, I will still protect the Feng family. Sir's involvement affects the future of the Feng family. We should be the ones protecting Sir, Feng Yunming said with a smile. If anything happens to Sir, we can't afford it. Master, you're the one who's harming me by protecting me. Du Jie looked at Feng Yunming seriously. Don't forget my keyword. Blocking attacks is also protection, and protection leads to growth. No one is more suitable than me to be a bodyguard. Even arguing over such small matters, everything was fine now. The 3 brothers of the Feng family looked at each other and finally put their hearts at ease. Sir, do you mind if I tell my father about your strength? Du Jie's strength had greatly increased, and he was loyal to the Feng family. Feng Yunming's attitude towards him had become much more respectful. Of course not, Du Jie said. Letting the family master see my strength increase will boost his confidence and morale among the Feng family. However, young master, there is one thing I need to ask of you. Please speak, sir, Feng Yunming said. Ask the family master if I can practice the Feng family's martial arts, Du Jie said. The rise of the Feng family takes time, and my strength cannot continue to increase as rapidly as it did today. Additionally, the keyword only brings me speed and strength, which is far from enough. If I can learn a few of the Feng family's techniques, our chances of success will increase. That's not a problem. You don't need my father's permission. I can make the decision. Feng Yunning smiled. Wait a moment, I'll have Yunjie teach you. He has learned all of the Feng family's martial arts. Feng Yunjie nodded. Is there anything else, sir? Feng Yunning asked. Temporarily, there's nothing else. Du Jie said, if Yunjie teaches me martial arts, there's no need to stay in the Feng family. We can travel and learn along the way. Compared to the Feng family, I understand heavenly demons better and can identify them more easily. It's better to act sooner rather than later. Coming to the wuxia world, of course, he wanted to go out and explore. Who would be willing to stay in one place to practice? There are more opportunities outside, and the Feng family is too weak, obviously with no prospects for development. They can't even deal with the Iron Palm Gang. They lack manpower and influence. How can they really expect to go out and find a bunch of heavenly demons? By the time they find people, it will be too late. I will ask the family master. Feng Yunning looked at Du Jie, nodded, and turned to leave. Feng Zhu hurriedly took 2 steps and called out to him, eldest young master, wait a moment, I have something else. Feng Yunning turned around. Before he could speak, Feng Zhu eagerly said, please urge Dr. Hu to prepare the medicine for digestion and laxatives quickly. Eldest young master, although my keyword is not guardian, I am also a heavenly demon. My growth will be beneficial to the Feng family. In contrast to Du Jie, he was almost becoming invisible. Speaking of which, he was the most jealous of Feng Qi. He also wanted to be able to defeat 10 opponents at once. Feng Yunning looked at Du Jie. Du Jie nodded confidently, go ahead and prepare. Within the Feng family's territory, I can suppress all heavenly demons weaker than me. Chapter 11. The Feng family will prosper. Published by Ranobes. World's End. My keyword is one more than others. After sending disciples to search for other heavenly demons, in the meeting hall, Feng Shuren and several family elders discussed how to restrain Feng Qi and better utilize him for the Feng family's service without causing any backlash. They didn't believe that the situation was as urgent as Du Jie described. Even though Feng Yunning said they were heavenly demons and couldn't be measured by ordinary people's thinking, even though Feng Qi and Feng Zhu had acquired various supernatural powers after being possessed. But their strength was there, at a level that couldn't even cause a ripple in the martial world, let alone seize the Chao family's holy land within half a year. That would be a huge joke, and if it spread, people would laugh their teeth out. The martial world was deep, and it was not something that 2 newly arrived heavenly demons could grasp. Feng Shuren was more inclined to take it step by step, gather as many heavenly demons with different attributes as possible, and then understand their characteristics and make the most of them. To discover the uses of heavenly demons within a year and help the Feng family take a step forward, in his opinion, was already remarkable. Before they could come up with a reasonable plan, Feng Yunning rushed in with news of Feng Qi's sudden increase in strength. After learning the reason for Feng Qi's sudden increase in strength, Feng Shuren and the others were dumbfounded. After a while, Feng Shuren finally came back to his senses and asked with a puzzled expression, Yunming, are you telling the truth? Father, why would I lie to you? Feng Yunming was still immersed in excitement, his voice raised by 8 degrees. I saw it with my own eyes. In an instant, Feng Qi jumped in front of the third brother. His speed was so fast that the third brother couldn't even react before he was subdued. His speed is not much inferior to yours, father. It's completely different from before. How is that possible? Feng Shuren suddenly stood up, wanting to go find Du Jie for confirmation, but soon he sat back down. Yunming, tell me in detail, what happened? Don't leave out a single word. Feng Yunming recounted what had happened just now in great detail. After listening, Feng Shuren frowned, unconsciously tapping the table with his fingers, and said, how is this possible? I sent people out without his knowledge. How did his strength become linked to theirs? This increase in strength is too unreasonable. Yunjie can't even last 1 round against him? Could it be that he really has become bound to the Feng family? It doesn't make sense. Family master, one of the elders said, even the demon heads who practice evil techniques in the martial world can't increase their strength so quickly. Heavenly demons have many things we don't understand, and we should be cautious and guard against them. We mustn't end up making wedding clothes for others in the end. Yes, if one falls, all fall. If one prospers, all prosper. All of this was said by Feng Qi. What if it's not true? The Feng family has accumulated for decades to have its current industry. It can't withstand such turmoil. Family master, we must be cautious in dealing with heavenly demons, another elder said. Feng Shuren picked up his teacup and put it down again, his face changing constantly. He had already made up his mind, but because of Du Ji's sudden increase in strength, he fell into hesitation again. Feng Yunming frowned and said, elders, there's no need to worry so much. Feng Qi said that if you don't believe him, you can recall the people who went out to search for heavenly demons, block the news, or even kill Feng Zhu, and wait for other heavenly demons in the world to grow stronger to verify whether he will become weaker. Smooth talker, the first elder who spoke snorted and said loudly, he's just gambling that we won't let other heavenly demons grow stronger. Feng Qi, who had been silent all along, coughed and looked at Feng Shuren, saying, big brother, I have thought of a possibility that might explain the current situation. What? Several voices sounded at the same time. Speak, Feng Shuren said. Since Feng Qi and Feng Zhu appeared, the Feng family's worldview had been constantly challenged. They urgently needed a suitable reason to convince themselves and accept everything that was happening. Or a loophole that would allow them to kill Feng Qi without guilt and return to a normal life, instead of being in this uncertain state. Destiny, Feng Qi said. After saying these 2 words, he paused for a moment, looked around at everyone, and revealed the conclusion he had been thinking about for half a day. I believe that heavenly demons are related to destiny. The fortune tellers in the martial world often say that there is a fate in the dark, but they also say that fate will not remain unchanged, and that different decisions will lead to different consequences. The so-called heavenly demons should be closely related to destiny and fate. Their strength does not lie in themselves, but in the feedback from destiny. Previously, Feng Qi only made suggestions, so his strength did not increase much. But later, the family master really sent people out to search for heavenly demons and put the plan into action. As a result, destiny detected a change in the Feng family's future and fed the result back to Feng Qi. This can explain why his strength has skyrocketed along with our decisions. This is not a coincidence, nor is it something Feng Qi deliberately arranged. After all, we have checked Feng Qi's physical condition. Moreover, the martial world is so big, the Feng family is not worth someone setting up such a big trap to frame them. What uncle said fits perfectly with Feng Qi's words, if one falls, all fall. If one prospers, all prosper. Feng Yunming praised. Which means we can infer the future prosperity of the family based on Feng Qi's changes in strength. Feng Shuren said in astonishment. If my speculation about heavenly demons is correct, we can indeed deduce the future based on this. Feng Qi nodded. The more he pondered, the more he felt that he was right, because he couldn't find any loopholes in his theory, and the logic was all correct. In that case, Feng Qi's sudden increase in strength indicates that the Feng family will prosper? Feng Shuren hesitated in his tone. The Feng family will prosper. Feng Qi and Feng Yunming looked at each other and said in unison. Throughout history, who didn't want their own family to flourish? Moreover, the various anomalies that had occurred in the Feng family were already considered auspicious signs in their eyes. In their opinion, Feng Shuren's hesitation was abnormal. Let's think long-term. Feng Shuren was always cautious. He picked up his teacup and took a sip to steady his emotions. Heavenly demon, the word demon is ultimately in the name. Whether it's a blessing or a curse, it's still unknown. Come, Yunming, take me to see Feng Qi. Let's see how much his strength has improved and verify whether he would really take a bullet for the Feng family. Father, how do we verify if he would take a bullet? Feng Yunming asked in surprise. Create an opportunity. Feng Shuren turned to look at him. After all, this is the Feng family. It's simple to set up a trap in the martial arts demonstration arena. Yunming, when the time comes, you should do this. I once thought that being ranked first would allow me to dominate this world, but I didn't expect that I couldn't even beat the village chief of a beginner's village. In the martial arts demonstration arena, Du Jie appeared calm and composed on the surface, but his mind was filled with countless MMPs. Upon learning of his significant increase in strength, Feng Shuren brought a group of Feng family members to verify the quality of the heavenly demon. Coincidentally, Du Jie also wanted to know his ranking in this world. So, both parties agreed, cleared the unrelated personnel from the martial arts demonstration arena, and held a grand martial arts contest. The result of the contest shocked the Feng family, but left Du Jie somewhat disappointed. Relying on speed and strength, Du Jie could overpower Feng Yunming, the eldest son of the Feng family who had practiced martial arts for over 20 years. Feng Yunjie, the third son, couldn't last more than 3 moves against him. However, when facing Feng Shiyi and others with deeper internal energy, Du Jie would be at a disadvantage. Because internal energy also enhances speed and strength, not to mention that Feng Shiyi and others have decades of combat experience and skills, these two things cannot be compensated by physical fitness. Of course, all of this is based on the premise that the opponent does not use the lightness skill. Once they start flying around, Du Jie can't do anything about them. No matter how strong his physical fitness is, it can't change the laws of physics, but internal energy can. Damn internal energy. However, when Feng Yunming used the lightness skill to fight against Du Jie, he mostly used it to dodge. Du Jie's senses were sharp and his speed was fast. Even if they flew up, it wouldn't be easy to hit him. Perhaps there are martial arts in this world that can release true energy, but a small family like the Feng family obviously doesn't possess them. In a situation where neither can hit the other, it's a test of endurance, and Du Jie still has the advantage. In a low-level martial world, no one can fly in the sky indefinitely, not to mention, the lightness skill consumes a lot of internal energy. Theoretically, when facing an opponent like a monkey, as long as Du Jie is willing to spend time, he will still win. But this is obviously not the result Du Jie wants. During the fight, others are flying in the sky, but he can only chase on the ground, which is not elegant. He doesn't want to be just a land tank, he wants to be an all-terrain vehicle. Chapter 12, Du Jie who practices martial arts. Published by Ranobes. World's End, my keyword is one more than others. Looking at the Feng family members on the sidelines, Du Jie sighed inwardly. It seemed that if he wanted to do well in this world, he had to prioritize martial arts. Who knew how long they would stay in this simulation field? Of course. Maintenance and betrayal couldn't be neglected either. Those were the foundations of his survival. The two keywords had not been fully developed yet. After ranking first in the simulation field, Du Jie had been a bit arrogant and looked down on all the heroes in the world. But after this match, he adjusted his mindset, becoming humble and cautious. He couldn't even defeat the village chief in the beginner's village. What was there to be proud of? But when he thought about it, he had only transmigrated here a few hours ago. How could he be invincible already? Little did he know. Du Jie was dissatisfied with himself, and Feng Shuren and the others were so jealous that their eyes were almost bleeding after confirming that Du Jie had no internal energy. They envied him so much that they wanted to swallow him whole. Heaven help them. They had trained hard for 20 or 30 years, but they couldn't compare to Du Jie, who had only spent a couple of hours with the heavenly demon. In just a couple of hours, he had transformed from a weakling to a martial arts prodigy with extraordinary talent. What had Feng Qi done? Besides painting them a rosy picture, he hadn't done anything. The most crucial plan was still being executed by the Feng family. And the result? The Feng family hadn't gained any benefits, while Feng Qi's strength had skyrocketed. How could they reason with that? However, through this match, the Feng family gained a comprehensive understanding of the heavenly demon. It was true, as Du Jie had said, that the heavenly demon was a rare treasure. Their confidence soared, and the Feng family let go of their guard against Du Jie. This was the result they had verified. During the match, Feng Yunming pretended to make a mistake according to the plan. At that time, the weapon rack had fallen to the ground due to the previous match, and a long spear on the rack was pointing straight at Du Jie's back. Feng Yunming raised his palm and attacked Du Jie. Du Jie dodged, and if Feng Yunming, who had exhausted his strength, continued, he would have collided with the spear and died. If Du Jie didn't dodge, he would have been hit by Feng Yunming's palm and likely pushed onto the spear. The fact was, Du Jie had truly taken maintenance to the extreme. At that moment, he had already dodged, but when he noticed the situation behind him, he didn't hesitate to turn back and stand between Feng Yunming and the spear. He took Feng Yunming's palm and used his actions to dispel the Feng family's suspicion of him. In such an urgent situation, there was no other reason to explain his actions except instinct. After all, Feng Qi had once said that after possessing the heavenly demon, they became mortal bodies and could die just like anyone else. To risk his life to protect a stranger, even Feng Shuren couldn't do that. A heavenly demon like that couldn't be trusted, and who else could be trusted? The most crucial thing was that Feng Shi's prophecy had deeply rooted in people's hearts. Even Feng Shuren believed in his heart that the Feng family would prosper and regarded Du Jie as a sign of good fortune, naturally accepting him. Family master, is my level enough to go out and explore? Du Jie broke the silence and asked with a smile. In less than 2 hours, my strength has grown to this level. As long as the family master insists on executing the previous plan, my strength will only increase and become stronger. Mr. Qi, rest assured, the previous plan will not be changed. It is an honor for the Feng family to have Mr. Qi, Feng Shuren said, more satisfied the more he looked at Du Jie. His old face bloomed like a chrysanthemum as he took a step forward. From now on, you are the supreme elder of the Feng family. You can allocate all the resources of the Feng family without my consent. The Feng family fully supports all your decisions. Thank you, family master. Du Jie breathed a sigh of relief, finally completing his role. With his attributes improved, not only did his strength and speed increase, but his 5 senses also improved. Feng Shuren and the others were discussing countermeasures in the meeting hall, and although it was blurry through 2 walls, Du Jie could still hear bits and pieces of it. Feng Shi's prophecy almost made him burst into laughter. Du Jie hadn't expected that the story he had made up on the spot, full of loopholes, would actually fool these people and not only convince himself but also fall into it. As for Feng Yunming's probing, knowing their arrangements, it was easy for him to respond. With his hindsight, everything from the long spear to the fake mistake was transparent to him. That night, Du Jie and Feng Zhu, who had gained the trust of the Feng family, moved into the guest rooms of the Feng family. Du Jie held the Feng family's secret manuals, Broken Gold and Shattered Jade Hand, and Capturing the Wind and Seizing the Shadow, and sought guidance from Feng Yunjie on martial arts. With a master guiding him, Du Jie quickly grasped the basics of martial arts. After all, his agility and speed had improved, and with a spiritual power of 80, he could easily remember the not-so-complicated martial arts techniques with a little effort. The Feng family's Broken Gold and Shattered Jade Hand was an external skill. By memorizing the techniques and combining them with breathing techniques, one could cultivate internal energy from the outside in. It wasn't as good as internal cultivation methods, but it was simple to operate. Capturing the Wind and Seizing the Shadow was purely a body technique, a complementary technique to Broken Gold and Shattered Jade Hand that didn't generate internal energy. After practicing for a while, Du Jie found that Capturing the Wind and Seizing the Shadow couldn't even compare to his own agility, so he decisively gave up studying it and focused on practicing Broken Gold and Shattered Jade Hand. Not for the techniques themselves, but for the internal energy. That night, Du Jie, who had tasted the sweetness of martial arts for the first time, practiced enthusiastically throughout the night. Finally, in the early morning, he felt a faint warm current flowing along his meridians in his dantian, astonishing Feng Yunjie. Feng Yunjie sourly said that it took him 2 months to sense the energy when he first started practicing. But Du Jie was far from satisfied. After practicing for just 1 night and only sensing a weak energy flow, it was too slow and far behind the rapid improvement of the keywords. However, this didn't hinder Duji's growing interest in martial arts. After all, internal energy only existed in novels and movies on Earth. How could he truly experience it? As for the weak sense of energy, Duje attributed it to the rubbish martial arts of the Feng family. For his dream of becoming a great hero, he decided to put the plan of snatching higher-level martial arts secrets on his agenda. Feng Zhu did not practice martial arts. He had the memory of the host, and his dantian was not shattered. The martial arts and internal energy he had trained before were still there, but he didn't think they played a significant role in the simulation field. No matter how powerful the martial arts are they as useful as the keywords? With a simple utterance, the upper lip touching the lower lip, in just 2 or 3 hours, the effect could match that of a master who had trained hard for more than 20 years. Comparatively, only a fool would practice martial arts. In his view, Feng Qi's effort to learn martial arts was simply putting the cart before the horse. Feng Qi's strength made Feng Zhu jealous. And Feng Qi, who blocked the knife for Feng Yunming in the martial arts contest, showed Feng Zhu what extreme protection meant. Feng Zhu saw it very clearly. At that time, the tip of the spear had pierced Feng Qi's clothes. If Feng Yunming couldn't control his strength, what awaited Duje was a fatal blow through the heart. If it were him, he would never give up the precious simulation field spot for a native. He would protect himself, even if it meant temporary weakness. There would still be a chance to rise again. But Feng Qi did just that, as if it were instinct. At that moment, Feng Zhu truly realized that if he didn't push himself, he might accomplish nothing in his life. He couldn't turn the keywords into instinct, but he could achieve extreme madness. So, Feng Zhu asked Doctor Hu to prepare a bunch of digestion aids and laxatives for him, brought 2 chamber pots into his room, and asked the kitchen steward to prepare food for 20 people. He closed the door and began his journey of madness. In the simulation field, he might not be able to catch up with Feng Qi's ranking, but after truly understanding the essence of keyword training, Feng Zhu felt that he still had a chance to compete for the top 10. World's End, my keyword is one more than others. Published by Ranobes. Chapter 13, Filthy Glutton. The next day, when Feng Zhu came out of the room, he smelled terrible. Various smells, such as fragrance, stench, sourness, and spiciness, mixed together, just like a beggar who had slept in a garbage dump for 10 days without taking a bath. He was completely soaked in the smell. The 2 maids who served him looked at him with a strange fear in their eyes, wanting to cover their noses but not daring to do so. They tried to keep themselves away from Feng Zhu as much as possible. They maintained a certain distance, holding their breath and pursing their lips. Their faces turned red, and when they couldn't hold it any longer, they would take a deep breath. Then, their faces would show a look of pain. Breathing around Feng Zhu seemed like a sin. Feng Zhu was in high spirits and didn't care about the smell on his body. He picked up the stone lock used for training in the courtyard and tested his strength by throwing it up and down. The 40-pound stone lock felt weightless in his hands. When he saw Duje coming out of the room, Feng Zhu excitedly dropped the stone lock and ran towards Duje, like a child showing off his achievements to an adult. Brother 7, I did it, I did it. A foul smell hit Duji's face, and his expression changed drastically. He quickly moved far away, pinching his nose with one hand and extending the other hand, making a stop gesture. He said in a muffled voice, "Stop, don't come any closer." The sense of smell is one of the 5 senses. If the maids could barely tolerate Feng Zhu's smell, Duje couldn't stand it at all. The smell on Feng Zhu's body was like a biochemical weapon to him. For the first time, Duje experienced the downside of having sharp senses. If Feng Zhu continued to smell like this in the future, he would have to consider giving up on this underling. Glutton was a dragon's son, yet he was played around like this. What a talent. Feng Zhu raised his sleeve and sniffed, awkwardly smiling as he took 2 steps back. Brother 7, it does smell a bit. I'll take a bath later. I just wanted to tell you that your method is right. Eating laxatives while eating like crazy really helped me grow. In just one night, my strength has increased by more than double, and my senses have become sharper. Your senses are considered sharp? You're far from it. Duje was stunned for a moment, his eyes widened in surprise. You really ate and excreted all night? The maids couldn't help but retch when they heard this. Their faces twitched uncontrollably, and they unconsciously gagged a few times. Yes, madness is necessary for survival, Feng Zhu said excitedly. This saying is indeed true. Brother 7, I've made up my mind. My current situation is not suitable for traveling the martial world. It's better for me to stay and guard the Feng family for you. If the Feng family finds other heavenly demons from outside, I will deal with them. Hearing this, the maids outside Feng Zhu's room felt their vision darken, and they were on the verge of fainting. Their pleading gazes towards Duje were filled with a message, begging him to take Feng Zhu away. If you really eat and excrete all the way, I really won't take you. Firstly, I can't afford to lose a person like you, and secondly, I can't stand the smell. Duje ignored the maid's gaze and looked at Feng Zhu with a complicated expression. He had to admit that this guy was a tough nut to crack. Unfortunately, he was fooled by him and completely went astray. When he first crossed over, the intelligence that deceived him should have been a flash of inspiration. If everyone in the simulation field was like this, then being the first to obtain it would be worthless. If his keyword was glutton, he would probably focus on greed and ferocity. However, glutton was not easy to grasp. Duje didn't tell Feng Zhu the cultivation method of glutton. They were competitors, and this guy had wanted to trick him before. It was already good enough to spare his life. How could he really help him grow? Don't listen to him calling himself Brother 7 and then stab him in the back. If he was kicked out of the simulation field, he wouldn't even know who to seek revenge on. What if he also had 2 keywords? Duje brought Feng Zhu along to slowly explore what the real world was like through his mouth. Now he completely dismissed this idea. He nodded at Feng Zhu and said, "All right, you stay in the Feng family. There are more resources here, and it's not suitable for you to go out with me. Go wash up first, and then come find me. We'll discuss the arrangements for the future." Okay, I also have something to tell you, Feng Zhu smiled and said. After speaking, he bid farewell to Duje and turned to find the maids to arrange hot water for him to wash up. Duje went to find Feng Yunjie. He couldn't make much progress in martial arts for a while, so he felt it was necessary to prepare some throwing knives to make up for his weakness in dealing with experts in lightness skill. He also told the Feng family members to keep an eye on Feng Zhu and not let him act recklessly. If he betrayed him again, he would gain some experience by stabbing him in the back. Maintenance must be done, and backstabbing must not be neglected. Even a mosquito's leg is still meat. Half an hour later, Duje and Feng Zhu met in the backyard of the Feng residence. Both of them had changed their clothes. A person relies on clothes to look good, and a horse relies on a saddle. Duje wore a dark blue robe, with a long sword slung diagonally and a leather bag hanging from his waist, filled with throwing knives. Feng Qi had an ordinary appearance, but Duji's modern temperament was evident. He was confident and assertive, giving off the vibe of a young hero. He looked completely different from the training partner who was in tattered clothes yesterday. Feng Zhu wore a pure white robe, which made him look somewhat stylish. He was young and handsome, resembling a young master from a wealthy family. But in his big cloth pocket, there was a bag full of food, bulging and dragging down his temperament. He went from being a young master to a foolish boy from a landlord's family. Duje was now a guest of the Feng family, with a superior status. Without his orders, no one would dare to follow him blindly like yesterday, monitoring his every move. Brother 7, want some? Feng Zhu took out a roasted chicken from his big cloth pocket and tore off a chicken leg, grinning as he handed it over. No need, I've already eaten. Duje shook his head, decisively refusing. Every time he saw Feng Zhu, an image of him eating and defecating simultaneously would involuntarily flash through his mind, completely ruining his appetite. Brother 7, you're right. Feng Zhu glanced at Duje, chuckled, and stuffed a chicken leg into his mouth. He tore off a piece of meat, puffed up his cheeks and began to chew, speaking as he did so. Yesterday, I really did burst my stomach. At that time, I was rolling around in pain, thinking I was going to die. But then, I forced myself to continue stuffing food into my mouth despite the pain. My ruptured stomach healed, and my physical condition greatly improved. At that moment, I understood the true meaning of glutton. Greed, it's really about being greedy, greedy to the point of bursting oneself to death. Congratulations, Du Jie made a fist salute, casually asking, with such harsh treatment to yourself, you must have awakened an advanced skill, right? How could it be that easy? It's good if 1 in 10 people can awaken an advanced skill. Feng Zhu didn't stop talking, throwing the chicken bone into his mouth, crunching it a few times before swallowing. But brother 7, your strength has improved by leaps and bounds. You must have awakened a skill, right? His chewing slowed for a moment, his eyebrows twitched unconsciously, and his pupils dilated slightly. Feng Zhu had done a good job of hiding it, but he couldn't escape Du Jie's sharp observation. This one had definitely awakened an advanced skill. He looked at Feng Zhu with a meaningful gaze, saying, I haven't either. Maybe it's because I only pay lip service to maintenance and don't put it into action. I really don't know what kind of advanced skill a maintenance skill would awaken. It's not fun if it's just a support skill. Feng Zhu laughed. Brother 7, even without an advanced skill, with your physical condition and intelligence, breaking into the top 10 shouldn't be a problem. Brother 7, I haven't had a chance to ask, what's your current ranking? Du Jie opened his personal profile, looking at the shining number 1, he casually said, 49. Feng Zhu paused, looking at Du Jie with envy. He bitterly smiled, as expected, you've made it into the top 50. Sigh, it's really depressing to compare oneself to others. I eat like crazy all night, torturing myself to the point of death, and my ranking is only over 200. You casually fooled around a bit and broke into the top 50. We students from ordinary academies can't compare to you guys from elite academies. Our starting point is too far behind, it's not something we can catch up with just by working hard. Chapter 14, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Published by Ranobes. World's End, my keyword is one more than others. MMP. This one is actually not from the elite academy. It seems that none of his words can be trusted. Fortunately, I didn't trust him. Du Jie cursed inwardly and asked, Brother 9, aren't you from the elite school? You even said you wanted to find a way to transfer me from the common school to the elite school. Brother 7, Feng Zhu looked at Du Jie helplessly and said, I admit that I lied to you before, but this time I'm being honest with you. You're a good person, and I was even planning to rely on you to enter the top 10 in the simulation field. But I really am from a common school, Du Jie said. Brother 7, it's already this time, stop pretending. Feng Zhu shook his head and laughed. He raised the roast chicken in his hand and asked, what is this? It's roast chicken, Du Jie said. Do you want to eat it? Feng Zhu asked. Du Jie shook his head. You're giving yourself away. Feng Zhu took a big bite of the roast chicken and said while eating, students from common schools eat synthetic meals that lack oil and salt every day. How can you not show any reaction when you see such delicious roast chicken? Only elite students like you, who eat extravagant meals every day, would not be interested in the food in the simulation field. Your eyes can't deceive me. Even if students from common schools pretend to be like us, they would still indulge in food when they first enter the simulation field. Yesterday, when you fed me pastries, I noticed that you don't treat food as just food. Damn it. Even roast chicken has become a delicacy, and everyone eats synthetic meals. What kind of world is it outside? Du Jie used to have some longing for the real world. After all, he had always fantasized about creating a world with advanced technology like the simulation field. But in this instant, he suddenly didn't long for the outside world as much. The real world didn't seem as beautiful as he had imagined. It seemed rather harsh. He didn't know if the person he transmigrated into was a commoner or an elite. You elite kids already have a good life, yet you still compete with us. It's not like it's some important exam. What's wrong with giving the top 10 spots to us? In the end, it's still you who will enjoy the benefits. Perhaps touching on a sore subject, Feng Zhu suddenly changed his tone and complained softly. But after seeing Du Jie remain silent for a while, he suddenly realized that he had complained to the wrong person. He awkwardly explained, Brother 7, I wasn't talking about you. You're a good person who sincerely teaches me things. I was referring to those elite kids who don't treat us common students as human beings. You're different from them. Is the opposition between commoners and elites really this serious? Du Jie furrowed his brows slightly and thought to himself. It seemed that being in the top 10 of the simulation field not only meant glory but also determined one's fate. Brother 7, don't be angry. This is what I wanted to tell you. When you go out there, you have to disguise your identity well and not be as high profile as the Feng family. Feng Zhu said, in the simulation field, many common students resent the elite students. Even if they have to sacrifice themselves, they want to bring you down. Your behavior clearly shows that you're an elite, and once you step out, you'll be a shining target, easily targeted for assassination. Okay, I understand. Thanks. Du Jie nodded. If he had a gaming mentality before, now that he understood the truth about the simulation field, he decided to take it seriously. He wasn't sure if his identity outside was that of an elite or a commoner. If he was an elite, it wouldn't matter, but if he was a commoner, his ranking in the top 10 of the simulation field could change his destiny. He didn't want to go out and eat synthetic meals. Why are you thanking me? Without your guidance, I wouldn't have understood the meaning of glutton. Consider it my gratitude to you. Feng Zhu shrugged and smiled. I'm not an ungrateful person. If possible, I still want to compete for a spot in the top 10. I hope Brother 7 won't be too harsh on me then. I won't. Isn't my keyword maintenance? Du Jie smiled. Ultimate maintenance means sticking together till the end. What if the Feng family really brings in simulation field players? How do you plan to deal with them? Will you also protect them? Feng Zhu looked at Du Jie and asked, will you protect them together with us? If we can protect them together, then of course we should. Du Jie smiled. Strength in numbers. Since students from common schools can't enjoy good food outside, it's better to stay in the simulation field for a longer time and enjoy it more. Why resort to fighting and killing? We can unite a group of people, eliminate some of them first, and then solve the top 10 spots from within. Feng Zhu swallowed the food in his mouth and looked at Du Jie, asking, Brother 7, is this your true thought? Yes, Du Jie said. You just said it yourself. Elite school students have everything, so why compete with you for the top 10 spots? I'm different from them. I'm very generous. It would be best if we can play together. Feng Zhu shook his head, laughed, and said, all right, I'll stay in the Feng family to handle things for you. I'll convey your goodwill to others. If they accept it, we can all play together. If they don't accept it or if they harm me, don't blame me then. I don't blame you. Du Jie said nonchalantly, but his mind was already in turmoil. The conversation with Feng Zhu had revealed too much information, completely changing his understanding of the simulation field. So, this so-called simulation field was actually a brutal selection machine. It wasn't a competition between elite students and ordinary students, but a competition among everyone, all for the top 10 spots in the simulation field. 3,000 people, fighting for 10 spots, no wonder once eliminated, they couldn't return. Damn. This was insane. It was like crossing a single log bridge among thousands of troops. This was exactly like the Earth's examination system. No wonder the teacher said, don't reveal your keywords. No wonder Feng Zhu initially planned to harm him. No wonder Feng Zhu was so desperate. Everything made sense now. Du Jie felt a sense of relief. Fortunately, he had shown goodwill to Feng Zhu, which had resulted in truly useful information. Otherwise, with his attitude of treating the simulation field as a game, he would have suffered a great loss. Brother 7, do you have any other instructions? Feng Zhu asked. No, you can handle the matters of the Feng residence yourself. Before coming here, Du Jie did have plans for the future of the Heavenly Demon, but after understanding the truth about the simulation field, he knew that all plans would fail. The top 10 spots were a glaring bait, enticing everyone to fight each other. Instead of wasting effort on those illusory arrangements, it would be better to focus on managing his own keywords, to come out on top in this brutal survival game. Well, he was already on top. Now he just needed to protect his lead. Feng Zhu turned and left. Watching his retreating figure, Du Jie stood still for a long time, digesting the new information he had received. The real purpose of the simulation field had shocked him. And Feng Zhu was still the same Feng Zhu, not any less intelligent. Observing carefully, enduring, using a chicken leg to test his identity at the end, hiding his advanced skills. It was even possible that making himself stink in the morning was deliberate, just to make him disgusted, so he could reasonably stay at the Feng residence instead of going out with him. He couldn't possibly not know that attributes would grow and senses would improve. Even the later goodwill might be further camouflage, to make him lower his guard. After all, he didn't know his identity as a transmigrator. The information and goodwill he provided should be known to everyone, but he used it to show goodwill. Every move, every step, was calculated. If one Feng Zhu was already so cunning, there were hundreds of people like Feng Zhu outside. That was a pack of wolves, and he could be devoured by them if he wasn't careful. Du Jie sighed silently, reminding himself of his new identity in his heart. He had transmigrated and was no longer the carefree earthling he used to be. Chapter 15, Preventive Measures. Published by Ranobes. World's End, my keyword is one more than others. Du Jie showed the Feng family what efficient growth speed and loyalty meant, so things couldn't be delayed any longer. Speed is the essence of war. Shortly after breakfast, the Feng family prepared the luggage for Du Jie and the others. Du Jie, Feng Yunjie, Feng Shiyi, and a direct disciple named Zhang Han, the four of them dressed in new clothes and rode off into the martial world, intending to visit major sects under the guise of traveling, searching for other hidden heavenly demons, either subduing or killing them to prevent them from being used by others. Feng Shuren watched them leave. Standing in the farewell procession, Feng Zhu looked at the departing Du Jie, and the stone in his heart finally fell, making him inexplicably relieved. Biting into a piece of dried meat, Feng Zhu's eyes unconsciously revealed a hint of mockery. There was no denying that Feng Qi was skilled in the use of keywords, but he was too arrogant. He actually thought he could control everything in the simulation field. It was unknown which family had raised such a fool. He was truly childish and laughable. Farewell, my dear brother 7. I will give you a gift later. This gift is called a lesson. It will make you understand the cruelty of the simulation field, as a return for not eliminating me. Just like your extreme theory, it will benefit you for a lifetime. You should know that setbacks are the most precious wealth in one's life. It wasn't until Du Jie disappeared from sight that Feng Zhu turned around and looked at Feng Shuren, smiling and saying, Family master, go back. Brother Qi has left, and I will be the one to protect the Feng family from now on. Smack. Smack. Before Feng Zhu could react, Feng Shiren's hand was already in front of his chest, tapping a few times and sealing his acupoints. Feng Zhu's voice abruptly stopped, and he anxiously asked, Family master, what are you doing? Mr. Zhu, I'm sorry. After Brother Qi said that you were rebellious, he would definitely cause trouble after leaving. We should control you early to prevent irreparable losses, Feng Shuren said. Quote. Feng Zhu was stunned, then his face turned pale. Fine beads of sweat formed on his forehead as he accompanied his smiling face. Family master, is there a misunderstanding here? Yes, I wanted to escape from the Feng family before, but later I received the Feng family's favor and had already sworn to protect the Feng family. You can't just listen to Feng Qi's slander. Brother Qi said that you were too extreme in your actions. For the sake of growth, you can even eat until your stomach bursts, and you can eat while sitting on the toilet. You endure what ordinary people cannot. A person who is so cruel to themselves, will they be good for the Feng family when they grow up? Right now, you are just greedy. When your greed grows to the point of swallowing the Feng family, it will be too late to deal with you. Feng Shuren shook his head, his gaze carrying a hint of pity. Mr. Zhu, blame it on your attribute as a glutton. Quote. Feng Zhu's pupils suddenly contracted, and he trembled uncontrollably. He knew. He knew everything. He knew his own disguise. He knew the true meaning of being a glutton. What childishness? What kindness? It was all fake. It turned out that he was the naive one. He still felt somewhat unwilling. Family master, Feng Qi is also crazy and extreme in his actions. He proposed the extreme theory. Aren't you afraid that he will harm the Feng family? Feng Shuren said, his extreme is protection. Who wouldn't want an extra guardian in the family? Feng Zhu was about to explode. He stabilized his emotions and said, Family master, have you ever considered that he is deceiving you? This world of yours is completely illusory. Moreover, his keyword may not be protection, but deception. He can deceive you all just like he deceived me, and he can also grow from it. Indeed, Brother Qi hit the nail on the head. In order to drag him down, you will deny everything about him from the root. Feng Shuren chuckled lightly, and the pity in his gaze turned into disdain. Whether it's deception or protection, as long as it benefits the Feng family, I don't care. I don't even care if there is a demon realm. Seeing you all, I know that this martial world is really going to be chaotic. This chaos is not about having more secret manuals or opening a treasure trove. It is chaos from the root. The chaotic times will involve everyone in the martial world. Self-preservation is the lowest strategy, and I am not yet senile. Mr. Zhu, you are still too young. Fuck. Feng Zhu cursed angrily, his face turning pale in an instant. He swallowed a mouthful of saliva. Family master, can you give me a chance? Let me prove to you that Feng Qi is really deceiving you, and prove that I am more useful than Feng Qi. They haven't gone far yet, and it's not too late to salvage the situation. No need. Feng Shuren said. Brother Qi said that glutton is a good keyword. We can keep you captive and experiment with your growth progress by controlling your diet. We can find ways to restrain the heavenly demons from you. When dealing with other heavenly demons in the future, we won't be in a panic. Mr. Zhu, I have to say, your perspective is far inferior to Brother Qi's. Despair instantly filled Feng Zhu's heart, and he exploded in anger. Brother Qi said. Brother Qi said. Feng Shuren, you believe everything he says. I think you're just a fool. One day, you will regret it. Feng Shuren smiled and looked at the enraged Feng Zhu, saying softly, Mr. Zhu, don't panic. Actually, we can also cooperate. I am very interested in the other version of the world you mentioned. Moreover, since Feng Qi has harmed you like this, we can also discuss how to restrain him. How to identify the keywords of other heavenly demons. I don't like putting all my eggs in one basket. Feng Zhu was horrified. At this moment, he suddenly understood why his teacher said, hide yourself as much as possible, don't try to change the world. The more exposed you are, the faster you will die. The natives in the simulation field were too cunning, each one of them was an actor. It was all because of Feng Qi, that fool. He had made everyone suffer. The stagnant attributes began to increase again, and they increased by quite a bit. As expected, the effects of the keywords were more pronounced on the contestants. Du Jie came to a new conclusion. The setting of the simulation field was designed for the contestants to slaughter each other. A brutal survival game. Perhaps Feng Zhu wasn't as bad as he imagined, but leaving without stabbing him in the back, Du Jie always felt unsatisfied. He decided to trust his intuition. As the saying goes, once doubt arises, guilt is established. The simulation field is a trap, suspicion is enough, no evidence is needed. Who made backstabbing his character setting? The role he played was inherently a villain. There was nothing wrong with maintaining his character setting. Who would want to challenge human nature in the fate-determining simulation field? In the survival game, being kind to enemies is being cruel to oneself. Blame Feng Zhu for being too naive. Give him a lesson, hoping he will have a smoother life in the future. Du Jie looked at the number 1 shining on the individual ranking. A curve rose at the corner of his mouth. How good it was now. He had backstabbed Feng Zhu, maintained the Feng family, and his attributes had also increased. 3 birds with 1 stone, only losing Feng Zhu's freedom. It was simply too cost-effective. As for how Feng Zhu ended up, whether it would ruin his own affairs was no longer within Du Jie's consideration. After leaving the Feng family, he had no plans to return. The sky is high for birds to fly, and the sea is wide for fish to leap. Just like Guo Jing stepping out of the desert, and Yang Guo stepping out of the ancient tomb, even if he really would return, his martial arts would have already reached an immeasurable height, not something a small Feng family could suppress. Chapter 16, Peacekeeping Vanguard. Published by Ranobes. World's End, my keyword is one more than others. Mr. Qi, you seem to be in a good mood. Feng Yunjie rode his horse alongside Du Jie and glanced at him, smiling. I feel that our previous plan was a bit rough. I just came up with a new idea and couldn't help but feel excited. I didn't expect the third young master to see through it. Indeed, I am still not mature enough to hide my emotions. Du Jie turned his head and looked at Feng Yunjie, smiling. What's the new idea? Feng Yunjie asked with a smile. It was inspired by the Chao family. Du Jie loosened the reins and slowed down the horse's speed, saying, in the past, Chao helped many sects improve their martial arts techniques with their chivalrous spirit and sense of justice. They eventually became the #1 family in the martial world, remaining strong for 100 years. Why can't we learn from them? The current size of the Feng family is too small. Even if I do my best to protect it, it won't grow quickly. But if the Feng family becomes a giant, with the power of the Feng family, we can uphold the righteousness of the martial world and maintain peace. I don't know how strong I will become with my protection. With our recognition, we can even become a 1,000-year-old family. How do we learn? Feng Yunjie was fascinated by Du Jie's vision of a bright future, but when he thought about reality, he felt a bit discouraged. Chao became invincible as soon as they appeared in the world, but we don't have their strength. Third young master, you are mistaken. There has only been one martial saint in the past 100 years, and it cannot be replicated. But the power of one person is ultimately limited. We must learn to harness the power of a team. We can take a different path, Du Jie said. The power of a team? Feng Yunjie was stunned. Yes, Du Jie said. I plan to establish an organization that eliminates evil and promotes good, dedicated to combating the dark forces in the martial world and upholding martial justice. This organization will attract more righteous heroes to join us and eventually grow stronger. When the whole martial world recognizes us, our influence will be established. I have even thought of a name for this organization. It will be called the Peacekeeping Vanguard. The Peacekeeping Vanguard? Feng Yunjie was stunned. Yes, Du Jie said. To uphold martial peace and advocate for martial justice, abbreviated as the Peacekeeping Vanguard. But how do we attract righteous heroes? Feng Yunjie asked. Mr. Qi, this so-called Peacekeeping Vanguard has already separated from the Feng family, hasn't it? Feng Shi said. The voices of the two men almost sounded at the same time. One was puzzled, the other indifferent. Feng Yunjie suddenly realized the situation and frowned as he looked at Du Jie. Zhang Han glanced at Du Jie and quietly blocked his way on horseback. The three members of the Feng family formed a triangle, sealing off all of Du Jie's escape routes. Feng Shi looked at Du Jie and continued, Mr. Qi, are you planning to use the power of the Feng family for your own benefit? Second in command, you underestimate me. Du Jie seemed unaware of his predicament and smiled. For a martial family or sect to establish themselves in this world, what do they rely on? Martial arts? Isn't that the case? Feng Yunjie asked. Of course, martial arts are the foundation. That cannot be denied, Du Jie smiled and said. But besides martial arts, there must also be uniqueness. Let me ask you, why is the beggars sect the largest sect? Because there are many beggars in the world? Feng Yunjie asked in confusion. Yes, that is one aspect. Du Jie praised them and said, the threshold is low. As long as one is a beggar, they can join the beggars sect. This is professional unity. From no bag to 9 bags, there is a clear promotion ladder, providing suitable channels for advancement. After joining the beggars sect, even if one is a vagrant, they have basic living and security guarantees. This is comprehensive logistical support. He paused for a moment. This is the uniqueness of the beggars sect. When someone wants to provoke the beggars sect, they have to consider whether they can afford to provoke such a giant. Other sects are the same, like the Taishan sect. Their members are all Taoists, occupying the religious aspect. The Cao gang controls water transportation. What does the Feng family have? Feng Yunjie fell into deep thought. Third young master, don't you even have a nickname in the martial world? Du Jie asked with a smile. Feng Yunjie awkwardly shook his head. Then have you found a common point among these famous sects? Du Jie asked again. Feng Yunjie shook his head again. Uniqueness, ideology, belief, Du Jie said. The beggars sect maintains professional integrity. Taishan guarantees religious integrity. Ma sect is all female, ensuring gender integrity. The Bloodblade sect has assassins, meeting the needs of individuals with special psychological traits. These unique characteristics naturally attract similar people to join. Therefore, the Feng family must establish its own uniqueness. Only then can we take the first step towards becoming a 100-year-old, or even a 1,000-year-old family. Otherwise, even if I bring back secret techniques for the Feng family and recruit many heavenly demons, we will just be nouveau riche in a county town. A storm may come and we may lose everything. But what does this have to do with the Peacekeeping Vanguard? We can start from the Feng family, Feng Shi said. Second in command, a small family like ours cannot attract people with such a call. But a new organization is different, Du Jie said excitedly. This is called going public by borrowing a shell and developing separately. We start small, without any connection to any force in the martial world. When we gain reputation and the martial world recognizes the Peacekeeping Vanguard, at that time, if the Feng family joins, won't it still be the Feng family? Sometimes, large forces don't necessarily have to be in the open. What is the philosophy of the Peacekeeping Vanguard? Feng Yunjie asked. Didn't we just discuss it? Du Jie replied, justice. There's never a shortage of passionate young heroes in the martial world. That does make some sense, Feng Shi pondered. Second in command, I won't harm the Feng family. Du Jie looked at Feng Shi, shaking his head with a smile. After witnessing Feng Zhu's narrow path with blood in the morning, Du Jie began to reflect on himself. Had he also been too narrow in his approach to peacekeeping? Then, he thought of maintaining peace and justice, these broad and grand concepts, which obviously yielded greater rewards than protecting the interests of a small family. He even considered maintaining national sovereignty, but in this simulation world dominated by the martial world, the concept of a nation was greatly diluted. Unlike in The Legend of the Condor Heroes, or Demigods and Semi-Devils, where there were grand causes of family and country, and no foreign invasions, he could only regretfully abandon the great ambition of maintaining national stability. Otherwise, he would have insisted on becoming a great hero like Luo Jing. Despite this, Du Jie felt that if he could maintain the peace and justice of the entire martial world, his achievement as the top player in the simulation field would be secure. The reason he didn't reveal this plan to the Feng family was because Du Jie preferred Feng Shi, the imaginative one. After all, it was he who proposed the idea of destiny and filled in the gaps in his story. Feng Shuren was too conservative and shrewd, making communication with him too exhausting. Mr. Qi, where do we find people to join this so-called Peacekeeping Vanguard? Feng Yunjie asked the previous question again. Aren't we looking right now? If we can find other heavenly demons to join, that would be best. If not, we'll start working. Once we start and our reputation spreads, naturally, heroes will join. Du Jie said, didn't we just discuss the beggars sect? Their disciples are everywhere, controlling the power of public opinion. We can use the beggars sect to promote our reputation. Third young master, you don't need to worry about this. I will arrange how to execute it when the time comes. But who are we going to fight? Feng Yunjie asked awkwardly. None of the evil forces in the martial world are ones the Feng family can afford to provoke. Do not refrain from doing good because it is small, nor do evil because it is small. Du Jie smiled. Third young master, streams gather to form the sea, specks of dust accumulate to form mountains. The local tyrants who bully and dominate the market, the bandits who block roads and occupy mountains, aren't they evil forces too? Start with small things, it's the same to start with them. World's End, my keyword is one more than others. Published by Ranobes. Chapter 17, Capture. Luoyang City is located on the Yangtze River and is the center of canal transportation. It is a super large city with a developed economy and a population of hundreds of thousands. It is the territory of the Iron Palm Gang, but the 5 gates and 3 sects also have their own industries or residences here. The streets are bustling with people, and you can see martial artists carrying knives and swords everywhere. Du Jie and his group are not conspicuous among the crowd. Along the way, listening to Feng Yunjie's introduction to Luoyang City, Du Jie observed the different customs and was even more amazed by the simulation field. It's so realistic. What kind of technology can create such a world? and such a world is only used for assessment. It's really extravagant. If game developers on Earth had this ability, they would become the richest in the world in minutes. Mr. Chi, the Xingyu Tower ahead is our Feng family's property. Let's stay there, have something to eat, and discuss our plans. Feng Yunjie said, the people sent by my father to find the heavenly demon should also come here as their first stop. It's been a night, I don't know if they have gathered any information. Luoyang City is such a big city, there are not many in the entire Daqing, let alone Feng family's small county town, where there are you and Fengju, there should be more in Luoyang City. Possible, Du Jie nodded, he had been paying attention to the total number of participants in the simulation field. From last night until now, there are still over 650 players left in the simulation field. 160 people were eliminated overnight. It has to be said that the simulation field is a ruthless meat grinder that doesn't follow any rules. He was relatively merciful and spared Fengju's life. Otherwise, last night, Fengju would have become one of the more than 100 disappeared people. At this rate, in less than 10 days, there will be only a few people left in the simulation field. But this is just the best scenario. Du Jie knows that as the competition progresses, the rate of elimination will slow down, and only the elites who can disguise themselves and skillfully use their own keywords will be left. Fengju's words were actually correct. It was really stupid to expose oneself like this. When everyone else is hiding in the dark, he is a bright target and will be targeted by everyone. The easiest way to be in the top 10 of the simulation field is not to maximize the use of one's keywords, but to survive until the end and eliminate everyone else. Only leaving 10 people, even if not in the top 10, is still considered top 10. There are no walls that can't be penetrated. He was so high profile in the Feng residence, there will always be someone who can't keep their mouth shut and leak his identity and keywords. This is inevitable. Who made him not understand the rules of the game? It's easy to dodge a spear in the open, but it's hard to guard against a hidden arrow. With hundreds of players, he is the only one playing with open cards. Damn it. The only thing that Du Jie is glad about is that the simulation field only eliminates players and doesn't kill them. But once he becomes the first, if he is eliminated again, he won't be able to get over that hurdle in his heart. This is the pride of a transmigrator and must be protected. Fortunately, information dissemination is slow in ancient times and the journey is long. Du Jie still has time to buffer, so he won't suddenly face hundreds of enemies. If he jumps out individually, Du Jie believes that he should be able to handle it. Being ranked first in the simulation field is not just for show. However, he still needs to find a way to enhance his strength. The stronger his strength, the safer he will be. It would be best if he could suppress an error like Marshal Saint Chao. Arriving at Xingyu Tower, a waiter took their horses, and the innkeeper personally came out and led them to the backyard. As they walked, Feng Shi asked, Feng Zhang, did the people who came yesterday find out anything? Yes, Feng Zhang glanced at Du Jie and nodded. Du Jie and the others stopped at the same time and looked at the innkeeper. Feng Yunjie asked, what did they find out? Feng Zhang turned to Du Jie and asked, second young master, this young hero looks unfamiliar, is he? This is our Feng family's elder Qi, who will be in charge of the heavenly demon's affairs. Feng Shi glared at him and said, no need to hide it from him. Elder Qi, Feng Zhang greets you. Feng Zhang quickly clasped his fists and respectfully said, no need to be polite, innkeeper Feng. Du Jie smiled, tell me about the heavenly demon. It's a coincidence. The heavenly demon is actually our inn's waiter, Wang San. Feng Zhang said, a few days ago, Wang San contracted tuberculosis. The doctor said he couldn't be saved and was waiting to die at home. But last night, when the people from the residence came to investigate, I reported his situation. Guess what happened? Wang San was lively and kicking, flirting with the neighbor's little girl, and didn't even cough once. He went from being seriously ill to a rapid recovery. All the signs matched the body possession of the heavenly demon, so they captured Wang San. However, that guy is stubborn and refuses to admit that he has been possessed. He only said that a wandering doctor passed by his house and gave him a few shots, and that's how he got better. He even shouted for us to go to the temple to find a master to exorcise him. But no one in the neighborhood has ever seen that wandering doctor. Where's Wang San now? Du Jie immediately became interested and interrupted him. He has been acupointed and locked in a guest room. Feng Zhang said, since he was the one the family specifically asked for, I dare not let him escape. Second young master, is the heavenly demon real? A tuberculosis patient miraculously recovering just by saying so. No matter how I think about it, it feels evil. Feng Zhang, when will you ever fix your habit of incessant chatter? Cut the crap and take us to see Wang San. Feng Shi interrupted him. Mr. Qi, this way. Feng Zhang grinned and quickened his pace, leading the way, room number 7 in the yellow section, the furthest one in. Mr. Qi, you can trust me. The yellow section rooms are rarely occupied, ensuring no one can rescue him. I not only sealed his acupoints but also tied him up. I've prepared rooster blood, black dog blood, and glutinous rice in advance. Feng Zhang led the group to room number 7 in the yellow section while chattering all the way. He took out a key and opened the door. Mr. Qi, Wang San is inside. All right, I got it. Leave the rest to us. You can go busy yourself. Order the kitchen to prepare a table of good food and wine for us. Feng Shi had had enough of Feng Zhang's prattle. As soon as he opened the door, he hurriedly shooed him away. Everything is already prepared. Mr. Qi, don't you trust me? Feng Zhang stood still, peering into the room. Mr. Qi, you have to let me stay and see how to identify a heavenly demon. If I encounter one in the future, I can handle it myself. Let him stay. The innkeeper is one of us, and he knows Wang San's situation better. Du Jie casually defended the innkeeper's dignity before looking into the room. A young man, about 18 or 19 years old, dressed as an innkeeper, was bound hand and foot and thrown onto the bed. At the head of the bed, there was indeed a bowl of glutinous rice, a bucket of dog blood, and a bucket of rooster blood. Du Jie was speechless. Well, this one really treated the heavenly demon as a ghost. Sensing the door opening, Wang San struggled desperately, trying to lift his head but failing. Innkeeper, is that you? You're finally here. I'm not a heavenly demon. Please let me go. I shouldn't have failed to return to work after recovering from my illness. Please, let me out. I can't hold it in anymore. Du Jie and the others entered the room. Wang San's voice abruptly stopped. Who are you? Feng Shi remained silent, went over to check his pulse. After a moment, he lifted his head and said, he's full of energy, and his pulse is soft and strong. He doesn't seem like a patient who has just recovered from a serious illness. Mr. Qi, there's no doubt that this is a case of heavenly demon body possession. Chapter 18, New Employee Assessment. Published by Ranobes. World's End, my keyword is one more than others. Sir, where did you hear about the heavenly demon's body possession? I was just treated by a doctor with acupuncture. You seem capable. How could you believe in such absurd things like the heavenly demon's body possession? Whoever told you this, I suggest you go out and kill him. Wang San said with a bitter face. Isn't there black dog blood over there? Just pour a bowl on my face and give it a try. Mr. Qi, can you tell what his keywords are? Feng Yunjie looked at Wang San on the bed and asked curiously. At the moment he heard the keywords, Wang San's breathing suddenly paused for a moment, but quickly returned to normal. He looked at Du Jie with a confused look and said, what are you guys talking about? What keywords? Innkeeper, when the people from the mansion went to find him, what was he doing? Du Jie, with his keen senses, had already determined his background from his micro-expressions and smiled as he turned to ask. He was flirting with the neighbor's little girl, Feng Zhang said. Flirting. Du Jie looked at Wang San on the bed and smiled. Then it must be related to love. Let me guess what your keyword is. Romance, love, sweet talk, infatuation, affection, casual. Mr. Qi, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just an innkeeper. Wang San said. Why don't you believe me? Isn't there black dog blood over there? Are you really the heavenly demon? Du Jie asked. I'm not. Wang San said. No keywords? Du Jie asked. None. Wang San said. Third young master, how should we deal with people suspected of being the heavenly demon? Du Jie turned to Feng Yunjie and asked. Better to kill the wrong person than let them go. Feng Yunjie thought for a moment and said. Kill him then, consider it him dying of tuberculosis. Living one more day is his luck. Du Jie glanced at him and said indifferently. Swish. Feng Yunjie drew his long sword and decisively slashed at Wang San's neck. Stop. Wang San suddenly closed his eyes and quickly said, romance, my keyword is romance. Don't kill me, I'm not a threat. Romance. Everyone in the room frowned at the same time. Feng Shi said, Mr. Qi, is it useful? It's useful, bro, don't kill me. I can help you. Let's cooperate. I'll be your right-hand man. I just ask you to give me some more time to experience the beauty of this world. Looking at the sword blade just 3 inches away from his throat, Wang San's mouth moved quickly. I haven't even tasted good food yet. I don't want to die like this. Please, I have no ulterior motives. I promise not to harm you. Innkeeper, can you bring the little girl he was flirting with last night? Du Jie ignored him and turned to Feng Zhang. I want to know what exactly he said to the little girl. All right, I'll arrange it right away, Feng Zhang said. No, Wang San's demeanor suddenly wilted. He looked at Du Jie and suddenly asked, brother, is it raining today? Quote. Du Jie was stunned for a moment, then immediately understood what this random question meant. So this was their secret code. He couldn't help but cry and laugh. Cheaters like this could be found in any kind of exam. Du Jie asked, how should I answer that? It's not raining today, it will rain the day after tomorrow. Wang San sighed and said dejectedly. Now you can tell me your real keyword. If it's useful, we can cooperate. Du Jie said, Wang San, this is your last chance. Think carefully before you answer. Sickly adorable. My keyword is sickly adorable, Wang San said with a gloomy face, revealing another keyword. Sickly adorable? Du Jie was stunned, looking at the ordinary-looking Wang San on the bed, almost asking why you chose someone with this appearance for such a keyword. But soon, he understood the reason. Closed book exam. Body possession first, then the given keywords. Damn it. This not only tested acting skills but also luck. Fortunately, his keyword was maintenance. If he had been assigned a keyword similar to sickly adorable, he would have eliminated himself. He wouldn't be able to act out that kind of madness and perversion at all. What does sickly adorable mean? Feng Shi asked. It means someone who is sick and weak, Feng Yunjie said. Otherwise, why would he possess someone with tuberculosis? Du Jie glanced back at the two of them without saying a word. Brother, I really didn't lie to you this time. Wang San looked at Du Jie and pleaded, although my keyword is a bit weak, I can still grow and help you. 2 people are always stronger than 1, right? You didn't attack me as soon as we met because you wanted to cooperate with me, right? All right, you can stay. Du Jie remained silent for a moment and said, thank you, brother. Wang San was overjoyed and looked at Feng Zhang again. Innkeeper, didn't you hear? Brother agreed to spare me. Why don't you untie me? Feng Yunjie swung his sword, cutting the rope on Wang San's body, and Feng Shi released the acupoints for him. Wang San sat up, rubbing his arm to stimulate blood circulation. He looked around at everyone in the room, then his gaze fell on Du Jie again. Bro, what's the plan next? I'll follow your lead. I want to build a team, and no one in the team can be weak, Du Jie said. If you want to join, you must show potential and value. I don't keep useless people in my team. Value? Is this a test for me? Wang San asked. Yep, Du Jie nodded. Wang San looked around the room, slightly frowning. Bro, don't we have any women in our team? Not for now, Du Jie replied. Oh, Wang San responded, then turned to Feng Yunjie and the others, tentatively asking, they will cooperate with me, right? Yep, Du Jie glanced at the people in the room without expression and nodded. He had to keep Wang San, firstly, to give an explanation to the Feng residents, and secondly, to see how he would portray a sickly adorable character, learning from his acting experience in case he encountered similar keywords in the future. Wang San gave a slight smile, looked at Feng Yunjie, coughed twice to clear his throat, and tried to change his voice. Little brother, I like you. Quote. Feng Yunjie was taken aback, looking at Wang San incredulously. What did you say? Under everyone's gaze, Wang San looked at Feng Yunjie, his expression turning cold in an instant. He reached out to touch Feng Yunjie's face, but seeing the long sword in his hand, he withdrew his hand. He just looked at him with adoring eyes, his voice changing in an instant. Yes, you heard right, I like you. The moment you entered the room, I took a liking to you. But, I have a strong possessiveness, I don't like others touching my things. I also believe that what's mine, others can't take away. Ha ha ha, you look so cute right now. Quote. Du Jie was stunned. Damn, was it that blunt? Feng Shi and Feng Zhang were petrified on the spot, looking at Wang San, their facial muscles twitching unconsciously. Feng Yunjie's face turned extremely ugly in an instant, goosebumps visibly rising on his skin. His hand gripping the sword tightened as if he was about to slash at Wang San's neck the next second, but fortunately, he still had his sanity and restrained his impulse. He turned his head to look at Du Jie, his eyes full of confusion. Wang San, have you gone mad? Feng Zhang scolded. Do you know who he is? He is the 3rd young master of the Feng family. Feng Zhang, from now on, please call me Mu Horan. Wang San turned to Feng Zhang, maintaining his previous tone and voice. Cough. Du Jie finally couldn't help but cough. Wang San, hold on a second. Before you play the sickly adorable character, I suggest you mess up the innkeeper's clothes first. Your acting skills are great, and your voice is great, but this outfit, coupled with your looks, honestly, it's quite distracting, it hurts the eyes. Feng Yunjie let out a sigh of relief. Wang San looked down at his clothes, gave a wicked smile. Little brother, wait for me. I'll come to you after I change my clothes. Chapter 19. Feng Shi's Concerns. Published by Ranobes. World's End. My keyword is one more than others. Wang San was taken by Feng Zhang to change clothes, and Zhang Han accompanied them to monitor. Du Jie and the Feng clan's uncle and nephew went to a private room to have a meal. During the meal, Feng Yunjie, whose ideology had suffered a great impact, hesitated for a moment before finally couldn't help but say, Mr. Qi, do you really want to keep Wang San? What's wrong? Du Jie was still reminiscing about Wang San's sickly adorable behavior. Although his words and actions were a bit overwhelming when performed in the identity of an innkeeper, it had to be said that he quickly entered the realm of being abnormal. If all the participants in the simulation field were like this, he began to doubt whether the peacekeeping vanguard could be formed. However, after a moment of thought, people are complex beings. If a person's character is only defined by one keyword, and that keyword is also linked to their growth, then it's hard for that person not to be abnormal. Even someone as upright as him, equipped with the keyword of upholding righteousness, was thinking about causing a big commotion. His thoughts gradually twisted. Moreover, everyone else had received professional training. Therefore, they should still accept him. The more people he interacts with, the more information he can gather about reality. After all, he still had to pass the test of reality. Even if he couldn't pass the simulation field, at most he would be eliminated. But if someone discovered his body possession in reality, who knows what would happen? If they couldn't control them, it would be better to eliminate them in advance. The person ranked first in the simulation field should have this confidence. I always feel that his keyword is somewhat sinister. Feng Yunjie hesitated for a long time before finally saying, when he talks to me, I can't help but feel a chill in my heart, an impulse to escape. Escape? This must be an awakened advanced skill. Turn around and ask him what his advanced skill is. Du Jie smiled and said, 3rd young master, you're wrong. In the future, we will encounter all kinds of heavenly demons. Each type of heavenly demon is different. If everyone is as picky as you, the Feng clan won't be able to rise. Just like a family, we need to absorb all kinds of talents. We need disciples like Zhang Han, training partners like me, servants, and someone like Feng Zhang who knows how to run a business. Only then can the family truly operate. That's true, but I think if we let him join, his way of speaking might cause some trouble. Aren't we supposed to uphold martial world peace? His keyword doesn't seem like that of a righteous person, and it might affect how others view us. Perhaps Feng Yunjie was really influenced by the skill. He found another excuse to try to push Wang San out. Third young master, you don't understand sickly adorables. Du Jie said, most of the time, sickly adorables appear to be normal people. They only act like that when they have an outbreak. In theory, the sickly adorable attribute should be developed gradually. His behavior just now was to show me his value and fight for a chance to survive. But, Feng Yunjie wanted to say something, but before he could speak, Du Jie interrupted him. Third young master, sickly adorables are not as terrifying as you imagine. When Wang San has an outbreak, he is indeed abnormal, but he also possesses the attribute of protection. As long as he recognizes you, he will do everything to protect you. Du Jie said, third young master, you need to learn to adapt and be strong. Besides, don't forget that I'm here too. My keyword is protection. Can I just watch you get into danger? Protection? Feng Yunjie was stunned. But the way sickly adorables protect is different from me. They only protect the people they recognize. Du Jie said. Alright, Feng Yunjie picked up his wine glass and took a sip, stabilizing his restless emotions. He had already tasted the benefits of protection. Since sickly adorables also had the attribute of protection, he temporarily gave up the idea of driving Wang San away. With Du Jie and Wang San, if Wang San posed a threat to him, Du Jie would protect him. If Du Jie posed a threat to him, Wang San would protect him. Double protection, safer. Feng Yunjie was introduced to a sickly adorable. Wang San was protected, and Feng Yunjie was betrayed. Du Jie enjoyed the pleasure of double attribute enhancement and regained his confidence. In this moment, he believed that the combination of protection and betrayal was invincible. After all, no matter what he did, he couldn't go wrong. Mr. Qi, with so many heavenly demons in the team, can you suppress them all by yourself? Wang San was targeting Feng Yunjie, while Feng Shi, apart from being overwhelming, had no other special feelings. He had other concerns. In less than 2 days, the Feng clan had encountered 3 heavenly demons. The increase in their numbers seemed too fast, and these heavenly demons seemed a bit too unconventional. He couldn't imagine what the Feng clan would become after recruiting such a group of heavenly demons. Second in command, you've seen it too. How difficult it is for other heavenly demons to match their attributes. I'm the fastest to grow, so suppressing them is definitely not a problem. Du Jie said. The peacekeeping vanguard won't be composed entirely of heavenly demons, right? Feng Shi asked again. How is that possible? There are only a few heavenly demons. We also need to recruit normal heroes from the martial world to balance the heavenly demons. Du Jie saw through Feng Shi's thoughts and smiled. Second in command is worried that the Feng clan won't be able to control us in the future and lose the initiative, right? That's right, I do have this thought. Since he was seen through, Feng Shi no longer beat around the bush. Mr. Qi, I'm not only worried about the heavenly demons, but also the other heroes you recruit. Your martial skills are even better than mine. Can you really maintain control over the peacekeeping vanguard? Because of Wang San's matter, Feng Yunjie had been absent-minded, eating his food in silence. Only when he heard Feng Shi's words did he raise his head and look at Du Jie. Second in command, you're overthinking it. The quality of our team can only handle small matters. Heroes who look down on us won't join us, just like how you wouldn't join street thugs to collect protection fees. Experts won't lower themselves. Du Jie shook his head with a smile. When we make a big move, that's when we'll attract experts. By then, my strength will naturally rise, and I won't be afraid of them. Mr. Qi doesn't need to be afraid, but what about the Feng clan? The Feng clan doesn't have any experts, Feng Shi said. Du Jie was stunned for a moment, then smiled and said, so second in command never considered me as one of your own from the beginning. Feng Shi said, Mr. Qi, that's not what I meant. Second in command, there's no need to explain. I haven't made any substantial contributions, so it's normal not to trust me. However, as the saying goes, the road tests a horse's strength, time reveals a person's heart. I will prove myself with actions and make the Feng family truly recognize me, Du Jie said seriously. As for the issue that second in command is worried about, I have mentioned the solution before. Perhaps second in command has forgotten. Did you? Feng Shi asked. Stealing secret manuals, stealing miraculous pills, Du Jie laughed. Second in command, you're not going to tell me that there are no miraculous pills in the martial world that can enhance one's power, right? As I've said before, maintain for a day, maintain for a lifetime. Only when the Feng family is strong can I be strong. I will not give up on the interests of the Feng family. He still hasn't given up on the idea of stealing other people's secret manuals? Feng Yunjie couldn't help but say, Mr. Qi, doesn't stealing secret manuals conflict with maintaining peace and justice? If others find out that the peacekeeping vanguard is doing these things behind the scenes. Third young master, maintaining martial world peace does not conflict with protecting the interests of the Feng family. Du Jie glanced at him and laughed. Who said that there are no treasures in the evil forces? Don't worry, Rome wasn't built in a day. We'll take it step by step, and in the end, we'll have everything. Are we still going to the Iron Palm Gang? Feng Shi asked. Of course, but let's wait and see if there are any other gangs in Luoyang City, Du Jie said. We also need time to coordinate with Wang San. At the mention of Wang San, Feng Yunjie reflexively shivered, his wine glass shook and wine spilled all over the table. Feng Shi looked at his own son and frowned, dissatisfied. Yunjie, it's just Wang San who said a few strange things. He can't even beat Feng Zhang, what are you afraid of? If you're like this, how will you lead the peacekeeping vanguard in the future? Feng Yunjie knew that his reaction was inappropriate. He looked at Feng Shi, wanting to explain but not knowing where to start. In the end, he could only pretend to be strong. Uncle, I won't do it again. World's End, my keyword is one more than others. Published by Ranobes. Chapter 20, The Fear of Charm. After an hour, Wang San returned with Feng Zhang. Wang San changed into a black outfit and even put on some makeup. He looked completely different, with slightly messy hair and a strand of hair falling in front of his eyes. He used some unknown cosmetic to deepen the hollows under his eyes, making his face pale. He appeared gloomy and unhealthy. Young brother, I'm back. I really wish it was you who helped me choose clothes just now. Let's never be apart again. It makes me uncomfortable to think of you having meals with others. You belong to me, and I only want to have meals with you. Wang San's eyes lit up when he saw Feng Yunjie. He stared at him affectionately, as if he was the only person left in the world. Feng Yunjie's hair stood on end, and he instinctively took a step back, wanting to escape. But he remembered Du Ji's persuasion and his promise to Feng Shi, so he suppressed his fear and trembled as he said, Wang San, please don't talk to me like this anymore. I know you need to grow up, and I can find a woman for you, a beautiful woman. How about the neighbor girl who flirted with you last night? Young brother, do you hate me? I don't want any other woman, I only want you. Don't give up on me, I know you're not that kind of person. Tears streamed down Wang San's face as he looked at Feng Yunjie. In an instant, he seemed to lose his vitality. He took a step forward, wanting to grab Feng Yunjie's arm, and anxiously said, Young brother, this can't be your intention. They forced you, right? Who is it? Is it him, or him? He looked at Feng Shi first, then at Zhang Han. Feng Shi frowned. Feng Yunjie suddenly took a step back and hid behind Du Jie. Mr. Qi, didn't you say he's usually normal? Why is he still like this? Looking at Feng Yunjie hiding behind Du Jie, Wang San's expression instantly became emotionless, and his gaze turned ice cold as he stared straight at Du Jie, as if he wanted to kill him. Du Jie felt a chill in his heart from Wang San's gaze, but fortunately, he wasn't too affected. He shook his head and said, let me talk to him first. I also wanted to talk to you. You better stay away from my young brother, or else I will kill you. A wicked smile appeared on Wang San's lips as he looked at Feng Yunjie, switching to a natural smile. Young brother, wait for me. I'll be back to accompany you soon. Let's go, to room 7 with the yellow sign. Du Jie glanced at Wang San, shook his head, and walked ahead. Wang San followed closely behind, looking at Du Jie's back, still cold and with a gaze that could kill him. Du Jie could clearly see the killing intent in Wang San's eyes. Feng Shi looked at the pale-faced Feng Yunjie and finally realized that something was wrong. He lifted his foot to catch up. Du Jie turned around, second in command, you guys don't come over for now. He might not say anything if you're here. Okay, Feng Shi hesitated for a moment, nodded, and turned to Feng Yunjie. He wanted to figure out what was going on. Feng Zhang looked at Du Jie, then at Feng Shi, and said, Second master, should I go and handle some things in the shop first? Go ahead, Feng Shi said, don't tell anyone about what happened here. Second master, I've been with the Feng family for a long time. Can't you trust me? Feng Zhang smiled foolishly, bowed slightly to Feng Shi, and said, then I'll go first. Room 7 with the yellow sign. Du Jie and Wang San entered the room, and Wang San casually closed the door. Stay away from Feng Yunjie while I can still control myself. Don't let me see him begging you again. Speak nicely, or I'll kill you first. Du Jie pulled out a flying knife from his knife sheath, spinning it on his fingertips. His super agility ensured accuracy and prevented him from hurting himself. Seeing the flying knife, Wang San helplessly said, the fear of charm. The person I like will feel intense fear towards me. Brother Qi, it awakened when you tested me. Du Jie's flying knife suddenly stopped, and he asked, is there a limit to the number of people? Wang San remained silent for a moment and shook his head. No, he looked at Du Jie and quickly assured, but don't worry, Brother Qi, I will never like you. Damn. This skill is too powerful. Indeed, there are no simple keywords. This skill can be used in battle. Just saying, I like you, can instantly dampen the morale of the opponent. It's a huge advantage in a fight against someone who is filled with fear. Compared to his fear charm, Du Jie's self-sacrifice seemed too ordinary. Du Jie hesitated for a moment and said, then control yourself and continue to scare Feng Yunjie. I'm afraid they won't be able to resist killing you. Brother 7, I've already been holding back, Wang San said with a bitter smile. I haven't taken action against more people. I need to grow, don't I? Otherwise, if I rely solely on my skills, I'd be done for if someone attacks me. Skills only instill fear, they don't make people run away. Besides, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't dare to treat Feng Yunjie like that. He looked at Du Jie and said, Brother 7, you wouldn't want a useless teammate, would you? I was forced by you. Sickly adorable is a keyword for development. It requires gradual growth and acceptance. But you flipped the table too quickly. Soon, everyone will know what happened to the Feng family. If I don't grow with it, it would be hard for me to protect myself when I encounter others. Find another way, Du Jie said. We can't provoke Feng Yunjie any further for now. Otherwise, the team I've worked so hard to build will be ruined by you. All right then, Wang San reluctantly nodded. My life is a borrowed one anyway. I'll listen to whatever you say. It would be best if Feng Yunjie could find me another, sickly adorable, target, preferably a woman. To be honest, if it weren't for growth, I wouldn't want to mess with a man. But, Brother 7, what's your keyword, daring to cause such a big commotion? Preservation, Du Jie said. Quote. Wang San's eyes bulged out in disbelief. Preservation? Not chaos, destruction? Preservation, Du Jie repeated. I give up, you're amazing. Wang San gave a thumbs up, clicking his tongue in admiration. Wow, a support keyword daring to do this. I'm impressed. I give up, boss, you're not aiming to win. You're just here for the thrill, aren't you? If there's no chaos, what am I preserving? Du Jie glanced at him. In any case, you need to hold back for now. When I'm capable of controlling the entire team, you can let loose. Don't worry about your safety, I'll protect you. Okay, I understand. Wang San nodded, his mood dropping significantly. Clearly, Du Jie's preservation had made him lose faith in the future. Chapter 21, Sickly Adorable's Daily Life. Published by Ranobes. World's End, my keyword is one more than others. I don't know what kind of psychological construction Feng Shi did for Feng Yunjie. When he saw Wang San again, he was able to maintain his composure and not tremble. But when he walked with Wang San, the hand holding the sword still proved that he still lived in fear. Poor child. After being warned by Du Jie, Wang San restrained himself a lot and no longer openly expressed his love for Feng Yunjie. He switched to another way. He secretly collected Feng Yunjie's personal belongings, such as dropped hair, and occasionally hid in a corner, obsessively looking at Feng Yunjie's belongings, making strange giggles. He would warn all the comrades, servants, and others who had contact with Feng Yunjie to stay away from his little brother. He would also spread out rice paper and draw a portrait of him and Feng Yunjie together. However, Wang San's painting skills were poor, and only the outlines could be vaguely seen. He had to label the names of the two people on the portrait and write some strange words on it, such as, I can give everything for Yun Gerger, anyone who harms Yun Gerger must die. Look at me, you are not allowed to look at others, and so on. Feng Yunjie accidentally saw the content of Wang San's portrait and almost collapsed. He immediately came to find Du Jie with bloodshot eyes. Mr. Qi, I can't take it anymore. Can't you send him back to the Feng family? If this continues, I'm afraid I won't be able to resist killing him. Third young master, endure for now. Wang San still has great use. Hasn't your second uncle found a suitable woman for him? Du Jie said, once we find a suitable woman, you will be relieved. Feng Shi sent Zhang Han back to the Feng family to help Wang San find a woman. Wang San's destructive power was too great. Even Feng Yunjie was scared by him. Finding a random woman would probably make her collapse in 1 or 2 days. It would be a burden to keep her in the team. They needed to find someone who could control Wang San, be loyal to the Feng family, and be helpful to the team. In this case, the female disciple of the Feng family's direct lineage became the best choice. Third young master, are you really not considering protecting Wang San? Du Jie asked. Feng Yunjie shook his head desperately. Mr. Qi, I only need you. Ah, Du Jie sighed with regret and said, Third young master, you have no idea what you have lost. Just consider me unfortunate. Feng Yunjie said, Mr. Qi, can you tell Wang San not to do those things anymore? Even if he wants to grow, it doesn't have to be in just 1 or 2 days. For Heavenly Demon, growth must be seized day and night. We must be prepared for any crisis that may occur at any time. For the overall interests of our team, I cannot agree to your request. Du Jie shook his head. Third young master, he hasn't really harmed you. You can pretend you didn't see it. He's like a ghost, appearing out of nowhere. How can I pretend I didn't see it? Feng Yunjie roared hysterically, then his voice softened. Mr. Qi, I beg you, let him calm down for a while. In one day, tomorrow, my father will send my junior sister to him. You are human. Your junior sister is not? Your Feng family is really despicable. Although Du Jie knew that the simulation field was virtual and the characters inside were fictional, their actions still made him furious. It was not unjust to betray them. But they still had value to be used. Suddenly, Du Jie's ears moved and he glanced at the door without making a sound. Then he shook his head again. Third young master, Wang San must grow as soon as possible. Have you ever thought that one day, when his sickly adorable nature is directed towards enemies, they will also feel the same fear as you? You have practiced martial arts for many years. You should know what consequences arise when one side suddenly feels fear during a martial arts contest, right? Feng Yunjie imagined himself in the position of both contestants, and the scene of Wang San suddenly appearing from the side made him break out in a cold sweat. Do you now understand the importance of Wang San? Du Jie smiled. Third young master, whether our peacekeeping vanguard is eliminating the forces of evil or the martial arts contest at the Chao family half a year later, the presence of Wang San or not could make a huge difference. Now, do you still think Wang San doesn't need to develop his abilities? Do you still want to send him back to the Feng family? Feng Yunjie shook his head. The desire for the Chao family's holy land temporarily overwhelmed his fear of Wang San. After hesitating for a moment, he asked, Mr. Qi, will my fear of Wang San always exist? Of course not. Du Jie nodded, without saying whether it would or would not. That's good. Feng Yunjie breathed a sigh of relief and sighed. Indeed, no heavenly demon is useless. I'll just avoid him for a few days. Third young master, you don't necessarily have to avoid him. Du Jie said, maintaining the spirit of moving forward courageously is an essential quality for a warrior to reach a peak. Why don't you try facing your fear and overcoming it? When you defeat the fear in your mind, your future achievements will be limitless. Feng Yunjie was stunned for a moment, as if enlightened. He stood up and bowed to Du Jie. Thank you, Mr. Qi, for your guidance. Yunjie has learned. Outside the door. Feng Shi, who had been eavesdropping for a long time, pondered for a moment. Then, without alerting Du Jie in the room, he quietly turned and left. He came to find Du Jie for Wang San's sake. Feng Shi felt that the neurotic Wang San had too much influence on Feng Yunjie. If it continued, it could leave a shadow in Feng Yunjie's heart, which would be extremely detrimental to a warrior's growth. But now, after eavesdropping on Du Jie and Feng Yunjie's conversation, he changed his mind. Feng Yunjie was too smooth. Perhaps keeping Wang San would be a tempering for him. And Feng Shi was also certain of one thing. Du Jie was really always protecting the interests of the Feng family and had not changed because of Wang San's addition. That was enough. Feng Yunjie left. Du Jie continued to practice, waiting to see if the people sent by the Feng family could find other participants who entered the simulation field in Luoyang City. Wang San's appearance had shown him a new way of fighting. If he could find new contenders and convince them to join his team, his upcoming plans would go much smoother. As for visiting the Iron Palm Gang and such, Du Jie was in no rush. Those were all just to deceive the Feng family and lower their guard. Of course, if he only had one keyword to maintain, then all his plans would be real. He would fully protect the Feng family and grow step by step. Because for peacekeeping, changing masters is equivalent to betrayal, which would cause his personal attributes to drastically decrease, just like Wang San who, despite being threatened, was unwilling to change his words and actions. Du Jie couldn't afford such consequences either, but he still had a backstab. Therefore, maintaining the interests of a third-rate family was not the optimal solution. After all, betraying them would not only result in no loss, but also bring great benefits. Peacekeeping, job hopping, peacekeeping again, job hopping again. Continuing this cycle was his optimal solution for growth. Even if he really wanted to establish a peacekeeping vanguard, it shouldn't be the powerless Feng family. It should be one of the 3 gates or 5 sects, where he could find bigger investors. Only a fool would take one step at a time and follow the rules. The Iron Palm Gang, which was a notch above the Feng family, was actually Du Jie's second chosen master. However, the gang leader of the Iron Palm Gang, Chu Yuanlang, was a top-notch expert. With numerous gang members under him, Du Jie wouldn't take the risk without being sure he could retreat unscathed. At least he needed to build up his own team, let Chu Yuanlang see the strength of the heavenly demon, and then when he switched sides, he would have persuasive power. At present, Du Jie's biggest enemy was the other contenders in the simulation field. When he left the Feng family, he felt that the road was long and the mountain high, and there was buffer time for him to grow. But Wang San's fear of the delicate situation made him feel a sense of crisis again. Chapter 22, Whip Dipped in Iodine. Published by Ranobes. World's End, my keyword is one more than others. That night, the Feng family members who were searching for other heavenly demons in Luoyang City returned one after another, but they gained nothing. This was within Du Jie's expectations. The world in the simulation field was called Daqian, occupying the most fertile central plains. There were several small countries around it. The population of these countries added up to over 80 million. Now, there were only a little over 600 participants left in the simulation field. With over 600 people scattered among a population of over 80 million, it was like raindrops falling into the ocean, unable to create any waves. Even if the participants focused on selecting sects or big cities, there were only 5 or 6 people from the Feng family searching in the vast Luoyang City. Finding 5 or 6 people hidden in Luoyang City, who had possessed the bodies of the locals and possessed their memories, was like finding a needle in a haystack. Running into Wang San was already a stroke of luck for them. Not finding any other heavenly demons, Feng Shi comforted them for a few words and sent them to rest. Du Jie and the others also rested. Their rooms were next to each other, with Feng Yunjie beside them. Next to Feng Yunjie was Du Jie, and next to Du Jie was Wang San. Next to Wang San was Feng Shi. Wang San was a new addition, and Feng Shi didn't trust him. He was afraid that Wang San would betray them, so he didn't dare to use the acupoint technique on him like before. He could only prevent him from escaping by keeping an eye on him. The several disciples searching for heavenly demons slept in the opposite rooms, with 2 guards left. With such tight surveillance, the possibility of Wang San, who had no martial arts skills, escaping was almost non-existent. Du Jie made his calculations, and the Feng family made their calculations as well. However, things in the world were unpredictable, and hardly anything went smoothly according to plan. An unexpected event occurred that night. In the middle of the night, while rushing on the road and practicing martial arts, Du Jie, who was half asleep, was suddenly awakened by 2 short groans. Then, he heard faint but noisy footsteps and breathing outside and on the roof. His eyes widened, and he sat up, wondering what was going on. A classic scene from a wuxia drama, a night attack? Targeting them? This came too fast, didn't it? Where did they make a mistake? In an instant, a series of questions flashed through Du Jie's mind. He quickly put on his clothes and grabbed the sword and knife pouch placed by the bedside. Second in command, enemy attack. He shouted a warning, and Du Jie held his breath. The night was dark, but with his heightened senses, his ability to see in the dark far surpassed that of an ordinary person. He could vaguely see a blowpipe poking through the window paper and reaching in. A night attack with smoke, it really was a standard package. Du Jie suddenly shouted, startling the other party. The blowpipe quickly retracted, but it was too late. Du Jie threw a flying knife with a flick of his hand, and it was already flying towards the intruder. He hadn't specifically trained in hidden weapons, but Du Jie didn't need to be like Li Zunwan, hitting the throat with every knife. With a distance of 3 to 5 meters, as long as the flying knife hit, it would create a hole in the person's body. Its killing power was not much worse than a pistol. Ah! A scream, and blood stained the windows and doors. At the same time, their whereabouts were exposed, and chaos broke out outside. The sound of broken windows came from the next room. Du Jie rushed into the corridor without caring about Feng Yunjie. He kicked open Wang San's room door and barged in. Wang San, who hadn't been alerted by Du Jie, was in a daze from the smoke and fell into a coma. At this moment, he was being carried on the shoulders of a black-clothed person, heading towards the window. Du Jie raised his hand and threw another flying knife. The black-clothed person was carrying Wang San and had his back facing Du Jie. Moreover, he never expected someone to throw a hidden weapon in the darkness. When he heard the sound of the wind, it was already too late to dodge. The flying knife hit him directly in the back, and with a scream, he fell to the ground. Just as Du Jie was about to go over and check on Wang San's condition, the personal information suddenly flickered. He raised his hand and opened the personal information. There were no changes in the other sections, but there was an additional entry in the advanced skills. Backstab. When attacking someone from behind, you have a speed bonus. The higher your attributes, the greater the bonus. Fuck. Advanced skills aren't supposed to be one that can be continuously developed. New skills will be born when the conditions are met. Du Jie was stunned for a moment, then ecstatic. If he had known this earlier, he would have stabbed someone in the back with a flying knife. Backstab, although it restricted the direction of attack, it was not like the previous 2 purely supportive skills. It at least added attack power. This skill was great. Outside the window, someone heard the commotion inside the room and peeked in. Du Jie raised his hand and threw a knife, but the person's head shrank back and avoided it. Obviously, their kung fu was better than the person in the room. At this moment, chaos broke out outside. Feng Shi's voice of panic came. Iron Sand Palm? Are you people from the Iron Palm Gang? The Feng family has no grudges with you. Why attack Xingyu Tower at night? Finish the fight quickly. Besides the heavenly demon, leave no one alive. Another unfamiliar voice came, followed by torches being lit outside, illuminating the night. Iron Palm Gang? Heavenly demon? It turned out they were here for them. The Feng family was small and usually went unnoticed. It shouldn't have been exposed so quickly. There was a traitor. Du Jie instantly understood the reason. He took 2 quick steps, picked up Wang San from the ground, and pulled out the flying knife from the back of the black-clothed person. He quickly left the room. Even though it was more dangerous outside, there was smoke in the room, and he couldn't stay for long. Even though his senses were heightened, he still needed to breathe. It was already impressive that he could hold his breath for so long. In the inn corridor, Feng Shiyi and his nephew, along with 3 Feng family disciples and over a dozen black-clothed people, were struggling in a fight. Each of them was injured, and the 2 disciples responsible for night patrol had already fallen in a pool of blood. The opponents were numerous and their martial arts skills surpassed those of the Feng family. Apart from Feng Shiyi, the rest of the Feng family were essentially being suppressed. As Du Jie stepped forward, another direct descendant of the Feng family let out a scream and died in the corridor. The corridor was narrow, and a group of people were squeezed together. Throwing a flying knife could easily hurt one's own people. Du Jie decisively threw Wang San to the ground, drew his long sword, and aimed at the back of a black-clothed man who was attacking Feng Yunjie, stabbing him with his sword. The black-clothed men were well-trained and coordinated with each other. Seeing Du Jie draw his sword, a nearby black-clothed man withdrew from the fight to intercept Du Jie. But the speed of the sudden stab from behind was too fast. He had just retreated when Du Jie, like a ghost, was already behind his companion, piercing him through with his long sword. His eyes bulged out in shock. Hall master, there's an expert. Hearing this, several of the black-clothed men who were attacking others immediately split off and surrounded Du Jie, intending to take him out first. Cursing his bad luck, Du Jie quickly pulled out his long sword and said to the approaching black-clothed men, "You can't kill me, I'm the heavenly demon. You need to keep me alive." The black-clothed men seemed taken aback by his lack of courage and froze on the spot. One of them looked at Du Jie and said, "If you are the heavenly demon, drop your sword and we'll spare your life." Du Jie suddenly looked behind him with a look of surprise on his face. The black-clothed man quickly turned around, but there was no one behind him. Realizing he had been tricked, it was too late to turn back. He lunged forward, but it was already too late. A sharp pain in his chest, the gleaming tip of a sword pierced through his chest. He managed to utter the word, "despicable," before he collapsed to the ground, dead with his eyes wide open. After the successful backstab, a warm current spread throughout Du Jie's body, his attributes gradually increasing. Seeing their companion killed by a sneak attack right under their noses, the remaining men were filled with grief and anger, raising their swords and slashing at Du Jie. As Du Jie parried with his sword, he said, "I'm the heavenly demon, you can't kill me." "I'll kill the heavenly demon," one of them said, his eyes red with rage. "Don't be impulsive, if you kill me, your people will have died in vain," Du Jie said. "When you go back, do you think the gang leader will spare you?" Their attacks faltered, and the weapons that were originally aimed at Du Jie's vital points were redirected to his arms and legs, places where he wouldn't die. The force was noticeably lighter. They couldn't kill him, but injuring him was just as good. These men weren't so gullible as to stop attacking because of Du Jie's words. But fighting like this was inevitably restrictive, and they were all extremely frustrated. Du Jie seemed to have eyes in the back of his head. He was already at ease when he was surrounded, and now his pressure was greatly reduced. He easily blocked the swords aimed at him and said to the crowd, "This is the right way. Killing and capturing are 2 different things. Don't ruin the Iron Palm Gang's plan because of a moment of impulsiveness. If the mission fails and you get yourself involved, it's not worth it. The dead are gone, the living need to continue living. You have to look on the bright side of things. The one on the left, swing your sword a little less wide. It's okay if you hurt me, just don't hurt your companion." Chapter 23, Battle Style Changed by Heavenly Demon. Published by Ranobes. World's End, my keyword is one more than others. Is this guy crazy? It's obvious, no need for you to say. It was a normal situation, but after Du Jie said it, it sounded weird. We are clearly enemies, why do you care? If you're really a good person, put down your sword and let us capture you, okay? The black-clothed men who were attacking Du Jie were getting more and more annoyed. Unfortunately, they couldn't kill him because there were so many of their comrades watching. If they accidentally killed him, they would be in big trouble when they returned. During a life and death battle, once you have restrictions, it becomes frustrating no matter how you fight, especially when someone on the other side is mocking you. It's really tempting to kill him. Damn it. Bro, don't move so much, be careful not to hurt your waist. Brother, why are you so careless? You almost hit the other brother next to you. It's a loss for the Iron Palm Gang. Don't glare at him, we're all from the same gang. We should unite, help each other. Du Jie kept trash-talking, making the few people attacking him annoyed and confused. They gradually lost their rhythm, while Du Jie found his own rhythm in the real battle. A bunch of idiots, just keep surrounding him. Once I deal with Feng Shiyi, he won't be able to escape. The black-clothed men who were fighting Feng Shiyi had already heard the situation here and couldn't help but shout. One word woke up the dreamer. The black-clothed men attacking Du Jie suddenly understood, and immediately slowed down their pace. They changed positions and trapped Du Jie, not letting him break through. They also realized that Du Jie's martial arts were mediocre and he fought without any strategy, relying solely on his agility. The previous ambush was probably just luck. One of them even laughed and said sarcastically, "Heavenly Demon, do you have any more wise words? Keep talking, let us have some fun." Du Jie glanced at him and smiled. "What do you think the gang leader invited me for? Going through all this trouble, it can't be just to make me a prisoner, right? Maybe by tomorrow, we will be on the same side. Who do you think will have a higher position then? Do you think I will feel uncomfortable remembering the words you mocked me with tonight? Bro, our relationship is getting complicated." Quote. The face under the black cloth of the black-clothed man was as dark as ink. He hated Du Jie to death, but he clenched his teeth and remained silent. "Do you think I don't know who you are because you're wearing the mask?" Du Jie observed his surroundings with his eyes behind his head, thinking of a strategy while continuing his trash-talking. When important people can't figure out their target for revenge, they usually resort to collective punishment. "I may not know who you are, but I can definitely find out who was assigned the mission. I wonder if the brothers who fought side by side with you at that time will hate you." Fuck, the black-clothed man who had just spoken wanted to slap himself. He knew that Du Jie was eloquent, so he should have just surrounded him obediently. Why did he have to be so sarcastic? Ah. A scream came, and another member of the Feng family fell. The enemy was numerous and had high martial arts skills. The people from the Feng residence were already struggling to hold on. It was already difficult for them to last this long, but if they continued like this, they would eventually be defeated one by one. Mr. Qi, save Yunjie and break through. Feng Shiyi knew that Du Jie had only possessed his body for 2 days, and even though he had grown, there were limits. In this situation, even if he wanted to protect the Feng family, he was powerless. Right now, he only hoped that Du Jie could save Feng Yunjie by risking his own injuries. After all, Heavenly Demon had a strong recovery ability, and as long as he survived, Feng Shiyi could break through. Second in command, is there a way to dispel the smoke? Du Jie saw the situation on the field and understood Feng Shiyi's thoughts, but he didn't plan to do as he wished. He couldn't use lightness skill, and even if he risked saving Feng Yunjie, he wouldn't be able to run far. Moreover, there was no guarantee that he could save him. For the current situation, the only way to break the deadlock was to rely on Wang San, who was in a coma. He wanted to go to the Iron Palm Gang, but he shouldn't be captured, because there would be no benefit in that. He would have to start from scratch again, and without backstabbing, the attribute points he obtained from protecting the Feng family might be washed away. He couldn't afford to make a loss. It's already this late, why do you still care about Wang San? It's more important to save your life, Feng Shiyi angrily said. Second in command, my attribute is protection. I can't abandon my comrades and escape for my own life. Du Jie didn't directly mention Wang San's role, but used a more tactful explanation, and also added a few attribute points for himself. Damn it, Feng Shiyi cursed. He suddenly regretted tying Heavenly Demon and the Feng family together. These stubborn guys only brought disaster. It seemed that anyone with the word demon in their name was not a good person. However, in this critical moment, he could only rely on Du Jie. He said without a good tone, splash him with cold water. The Hall Master of the Iron Palm Gang was in a difficult situation. Before he came, he didn't really believe in the Heavenly Demon, but now he did. Normal people wouldn't do this. Seeing that death was imminent, he was still thinking about saving someone. Cold water. It turned out that what was said in martial arts novels was true. When affected by a certain drug, you need a woman to detoxify, and when affected by smoke, splashing cold water would do. The experience of the martial world was indeed reliable. The inn had plenty of cold water. In order to prevent fires, there were always 2 large barrels filled with water in the corridor. Du Jie glanced at the location of the barrels and then looked at Wan San, who was lying unconscious on the ground. He shouted, Wan San, I'm risking my life to protect you. Remember my kindness. Sacrificing oneself for righteousness, if there was one opportunity, there would be a second. He wouldn't let go of any chance to increase his attribute points. But in the eyes of the black-clothed men, Du Jie's actions were childish and ridiculous. Just shouting wouldn't help him break free from being surrounded, right? But soon, they couldn't laugh anymore. Du Jie actually gave up protecting himself, swept his long sword, and rushed towards the blades of the black-clothed men. This reckless behavior startled the black-clothed men. Coupled with the trash talking from earlier, the black-clothed men intercepting Du Jie were afraid of hurting him. They subconsciously pulled back their blades, and Du Jie managed to break free from the encirclement unscathed. Du Jie was not far from Wan San to begin with. After breaking out of the encirclement, he rushed to Wan San's side in a few strides, picked him up, and shouted, he is also a heavenly demon, we can't harm him. Then, with a backward swing of his long sword, he forced back the black-clad men who were chasing after them. After rushing forward a few more steps, he threw Wan San into a water tank. Splash. Water splashed everywhere. Wan San jolted awake, looking around in confusion, unsure of what had just happened. Du Jie stood guard in front of the water tank. Wan San, there's a traitor in Xingyu Tower. Whether you live or die depends on your performance. Take them down one by one, leave no survivors. Understanding dawned on Wan San. He aimed at one of the black-clad men attacking Du Jie, retracted his chin, rolled his eyes upward, and chuckled eerily, big brother, I like you so much. You can't be infatuated with anyone but me. The black-clad man's pupils suddenly contracted, an inexplicable fear seeping into his heart. He instinctively turned around, intending to flee. Thud. Du Jie's long sword thrust forward, freeing him from the sickly adorable's love. Meanwhile, Feng Yunjie heard Wan San's voice, shuddered violently, and was slashed on the arm by a black-clad man. Yunjie, Feng Shi roared in anger. Feng Shi, what are you doing? From the corner of his eye, Du Jie clearly saw that after he killed the black-clad man, Wan San paused for a moment, quickly made a gesture as if opening a personal profile, and then a look of joy spread across his face. A series of reactions proved that he must have also developed a new advanced technique. But now was not the time to worry about that. Du Jie ignored the roaring Feng Shi and urged Wan San, continue. Wan San suppressed his joy and turned his attention to another black-clad man, hysterically saying, big brother, I love you so much, how could you raise your sword against me? Why can others receive your love, but I have to endure your hostility? Before this black-clad man could understand why his companion had suddenly turned around, a great fear surged in his heart. He wanted to escape, to get as far away from this terrifying guy as possible. But having seen the fate of his companion, he knew that turning around meant death. He forced himself to suppress his fear, dodging Wan San's gaze while fighting Du Jie, as if Wan San would pounce on him the next second and rip out his heart. His technique was completely thrown into chaos. Du Jie seized the opportunity and stabbed his sword into the man's throat, ending his life. In the blink of an eye, only 2 of the men attacking Du Jie were left. Wan San's words made their hair stand on end, but they didn't feel as much fear. However, seeing their 2 companions acting strangely and then dying, they knew they couldn't escape from the guy in the water tank. The 2 men exchanged a glance, bypassed Du Jie, and raised their swords to attack Wan San at the same time. Du Jie swung his sword to block them. Come at me together. At this critical moment of life and death, Wan San didn't dare to be distracted. He gave a wicked smile. My dear brothers, I love you so much. Let me dig out your hearts, swallow them bit by bit, and then we will never be apart. Jejejeji. A chilling laughter suddenly echoed. Ghosts, they are ghosts. Fear filled their hearts. They lost their will to fight, even forgetting about Du Jie's backstab. They screamed, dropped their swords, and turned to run. Thud. Thud. 2 muffled sounds. Du Jie was right behind them, his long sword piercing their hearts, ending their lives. World's End. My keyword is one more than others. Published by Ranobes. Chapter 24. Reversed. Wan San woke up, and the situation suddenly reversed. The hallmaster who was fighting with Feng Shi was confused, but Feng Shi was overjoyed. He finally understood Du Jie's desperate efforts to protect Wan San. Indeed, the heavenly demon was even more terrifying than he had imagined. They had a firm grip on the situation. Gee, is this a taste of the blood of loved ones? It's so sweet. Wan San jumped out of the water tank, wiped a handful of fresh blood from a corpse, and brought it to his nose to savor. Then, he looked at the people besieging Feng Yunjie and slowly smeared the blood on his face. My loved ones, am I scary? Why are you running away? I will break your legs so you can't escape anymore. I will kill you so you will never betray me. Am I smart? Praise me quickly. This time, Wan San targeted the 2 people attacking Feng Yunjie. Under the influence of fear, Feng Yunjie's techniques became chaotic, and he could no longer defend himself. No. Including Feng Yunjie, the 3 of them screamed in pain and dropped their weapons simultaneously. Like headless flies, they frantically searched for a place to hide. Killing is protecting life. I will help you relieve the burden of a sinful life. Du Jie's figure flickered, and whenever they exposed their backs, he would swiftly approach like a ghost and pierce their hearts with a sword. After backstabbing a few people, his personal attributes improved slightly, and he became more proficient in using the backstab technique. One person intimidated their minds, while the other protected Wan San and launched surprise attacks from behind. Their cooperation was extremely tacit. The other members of the Iron Palm Gang didn't understand what was happening, but the mysterious deaths of their comrades had caused great trauma to their psyche. They looked at Wang and Du with fear, unable to muster any fighting spirit. Heavenly demon, they are demons, not humans. One of them shouted in horror, Hallmaster, let's retreat. If we don't retreat now, all our brothers will die here. The Hallmaster of the Iron Palm Gang had never seen such a fighting style before, and it had already touched upon his blind spot of knowledge. He intended to retreat, but leaving behind 7 or 8 brothers like this was somewhat unwilling. He also realized that the so-called heavenly demon's martial arts were not really martial arts. It relied entirely on physical fitness and sorcery in battle. Gritting his teeth, he forced Feng Shi back with a palm strike and pounced towards Wan San. In his eyes, once he killed the troublesome Wan San, the remaining Feng Shi would not be a concern. If he captured a heavenly demon, it would be enough to prove his loyalty. He was fast. In the blink of an eye, he had already reached Wan San. As he looked at Du Jie blocking his way, his heart skipped a beat. He was so scared that he forgot to speak, and by the time he wanted to say something, it was already too late. Fortunately, Du Jie always kept an eye on the overall situation. When the Hallmaster made his move, Du Jie suddenly turned around and stood in front of Wan San, raising his long sword and waiting for the Hallmaster to collide with him. Wan San looked at Du Jie blocking his way and was slightly stunned. The Hallmaster seemed to not see the long sword held by Du Jie. With his palms crossed, Du Jie's sword broke into 3 pieces. Du Jie didn't expect his sword to break, and he was momentarily stunned. In that instant, the Hallmaster's palm imprinted on his chest, but he only used 70% of his strength. He came for the heavenly demon, so he couldn't kill them all. Du Jie was lifted up by a tremendous force and crashed into Wan San. The 2 of them rolled together like a gourd. The pain woke up Wan San, and he shouted as if flying, I love you, how can you treat me like this? In an instant, an inexplicable fear struck the Hallmaster's heart. However, his willpower was stronger than that of ordinary gang members. Suppressing his shock, he lifted his foot and stomped hard on Wan San's abdomen. In a critical moment, Du Jie once again pounced on Wang San, acting as a human shield. Intense pain came. Plop. A mouthful of blood sprayed out of Du Jie's mouth, but because he sacrificed himself to protect Wang San, his injuries quickly healed. If you want to kill him, you have to kill me first. Wang San's pupils trembled. How can you treat me like this? How can you treat me like this? I want to cut open your body and see your heart, see if there's me inside your heart. As Wang San spoke more and more, the fear in the Hall Master's heart grew stronger. He gritted his teeth, trembling, and lifted his foot again, but before he could stomp down. Boom. A muffled sound. His body suddenly flew out, struck by a palm strike from Feng Shi, who had arrived in time. A battle with a huge disparity in strength had turned around in an instant because of Du Jie and Wang San. The Hall Master now understood the importance of the heavenly demon and naturally exerted all his efforts to help the two of them. Especially Feng Shi, he proved with practical actions that he would truly sacrifice his life to protect others. Currently, he was still weak, but once he grew up and protected the Feng family in the future, the Feng family would undoubtedly prosper. Therefore, Feng Shi absolutely could not die, only he could subdue the other heavenly demons. At this moment, Du Jie's importance had surpassed Feng Yunjie. Feng Yunjie could be reborn after death, but if Feng Shi died, there would be no hope. Without the continuous attacks from the Iron Palm Gang's Hall Master, Du Jie finally managed to stand up. Because his actions aligned with the keyword protection, his injuries healed instantly when he stood up. It had to be said. He had truly gained a great advantage in protecting. If it were another keyword, with such severe injuries and the inability to move, he would probably be facing death. The Hall Master was sent flying and rushed towards the staircase. With his increased fear and worsened injuries, he had no intention of fighting anymore. He just wanted to escape from this haunted place as soon as possible. The Hall Master had fled, and the remaining members of the Iron Palm Gang dared not linger in battle. They dropped their opponents and fled en masse. Du Jie's long sword had broken, and without a handy weapon, he simply pulled out all the thrown knives from his sheath. With both hands, he flung all the knives out. A sudden stab from behind, any attack from the rear would have an agility bonus, regardless of the weapon. In a short instant, more than a dozen throwing knives were flung out by Du Jie, his arms leaving after images. Thud, 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 thud. The narrow corridor left little room to dodge the flying knives. A series of screams echoed as the members of the Iron Palm Gang fell one after another. The Hall Master was also hit by a knife. The throwing knife plunged into his right lung from his back, burying itself to the hilt. He fell to the ground, convulsing, blood foaming from his mouth. It was clear he wouldn't survive. Those who were lucky enough not to be hit by the knives were chased down by Feng Shi, who sent them to their deaths with a few palm strikes. Those who were hit by the knives but hadn't died yet had their necks snapped by him. The once noisy corridor was now filled with the thick smell of blood and had returned to silence. Feng Yunjie was curled up in a corner, his teeth chattering. He was also one of Wang San's favorites, and the fear of being targeted was extended to all those Wang San liked. He had been scared out of his wits. Of the 5 direct disciples, 3 were dead and the remaining 2 were injured. Looking at the brutal scene, Feng Shi spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. Mr. Qi, we can't leave any survivors. This is the Iron Palm Gang's territory. If they go back and report, none of us will be able to escape. Leave? Where to? Du Jie asked. Mr. Qi, the Iron Palm Gang's sudden attack on Xingyu Tower, and their precise target, clearly indicates a traitor within the Feng family. We can't stay at Xingyu Tower any longer. We need to return to the Feng residence to hide and think of a plan, Feng Shi said. Second in command, who do you think the traitor could be? Du Jie asked. Quote. Feng Shi was silent for a moment before saying a name, Feng Zhang. But I can't understand why he would do this. He's an old member of the Feng family, his wife and children are all in the Feng residence. Unless he's no longer himself. Du Jie chuckled, just ask a servant if anything happened to Feng Zhang in the past few days and we'll know. He looked at the 2 uneasy disciples and reassured, don't be afraid. If he's possessed by the heavenly demon, he won't expose himself when you ask him for information. He looked back at Feng Shi and laughed, second in command, your Feng family might really be destined. Despite being a small family, you've attracted 4 heavenly demons. You're joking, Mr. Qi. Feng Shi gave a bitter smile. It's meaningless to pursue Feng Zhang now. The urgent matter is to leave here as soon as possible. Otherwise, once the Iron Palm Gang reacts, it will be difficult to leave. Second in command, do you think Feng Zhang's betrayal would only sell us out? Du Jie smiled, don't forget, there's also a heavenly demon in the Feng residence. Feng Shi looked at the 2 disciples. One of them nervously said, Second Master, Feng Zhang did indeed ask us about the situation at home. Feng Shi asked bitterly, did you tell him? Please punish me, Second Master. The man knelt down and defended himself awkwardly. At that time, I didn't know that Feng Zhang was possessed by the heavenly demon. I thought we needed his cooperation in Luoyang City, so I told him everything about the Feng residence. In an instant, Feng Shi's face turned pale. Wang San glanced at Du Jie, feeling a chill. Feng Zhang knew his situation well. If Du Jie hadn't intervened, he would have been schemed against by Feng Zhang sooner or later. That guy was so decisive in using others to kill, he would most likely show no mercy to him. Chapter 25. The advantage is on our side. Published by Ranobes. World's End. My keyword is one more than others. Feng Qi stood firmly in front of him, blocking the knife for him, and then unhesitatingly lay on top of him as a human shield. The scenes of the battle involuntarily rolled in Wang San's mind as he looked at Feng Qi, feeling a bit complicated. He knew that Feng Qi's keyword was protection, but in that situation, with just one accident, Feng Qi would be gone. If he really used the secret signal to find his partner, his keyword would also be protection. Could he do it? Wang San looked at Du Jie's back and sighed silently. Although Feng Qi was a bit domineering, he really wanted to cooperate with him. It was impressive how quickly he trusted a stranger in the simulation field. Wang San couldn't tell if he was smart or foolish. Perhaps he could let go of his prejudices and cooperate with him to get through the simulation field. Their keywords could complement each other perfectly, and they might have a chance to break into the top 10. Unfortunately, Feng Qi flipped the table too early. If he hadn't made himself a target, Feng Zhang wouldn't have sent the Iron Palm Gang after them. Well, it wasn't because of him flipping the table. He had already been eliminated without any defense. After thinking it over, Wang San sighed again. He would go as far as he could. Meeting such a sincere partner was his luck. Even if they didn't make it to the top 10 in the simulation field, it wouldn't be a wasted trip. Feng Qi remained silent and ignored the kneeling direct disciple on the ground. He knew it wasn't his fault. He hadn't been on guard against Feng Zhang either. Feng Zhang's disguise was too good, and there were no flaws to be seen. Another direct disciple went to investigate Feng Zhang's room. In the midst of the corpses, Feng Yunjie continued to tremble in the corner, even forgetting to bandage his own injuries. He looked helpless, like a child. For a moment, the corridor fell silent. After a while, the direct disciple who was investigating Feng Zhang's situation returned. He looked at Feng Qi and shook his head. Second in command, Feng Zhang has escaped. Even though he already knew the result, Feng Qi's straight posture collapsed in an instant. He looked at Du Jie in a daze. Mr. Qi, the Feng family is finished. Not necessarily. Du Jie shook his head. Second in command, we still have a chance. What chance? Feng Qi's voice was hoarse, but his eyes lit up. It was as if he had grasped a lifeline, and he looked at Du Jie expectantly, his face filled with hope. The Iron Palm Gang may not necessarily launch a night attack on the Feng family. Du Jie said, first, the Feng family is relatively far away. Second, they need to verify whether the heavenly demon really exists before sending people to the Feng family. If they receive a strange piece of information and are unsure of its authenticity, they won't go and wipe out an entire family. If Chu Yuanlang is that foolish, the Iron Palm Gang wouldn't have become so powerful. So, if we hurry back now, can we still make the Feng family escape? Feng Qi's excited voice trembled. Why do we need to go back? Du Jie smiled. It's only polite to return a favor. It's a beautiful night. If the Iron Palm Gang can launch a night attack on us, why can't we launch a night attack on them? Mr. Qi, it's already this late. Please stop joking. Feng Shi was stunned, looking at Du Jie foolishly, not knowing what to say. Damn it. Wang San's breath hitched. What kind of courage did this guy have? He shouldn't be seeking death like this. At this time, shouldn't he hide and bide his time, seeking another opportunity to make a comeback? The little trust and goodwill that had just been established vanished in an instant. The idea of cooperation was once again thrown out of the window by Wang San. He had to run. Even though Feng Qi was a divine assistant, cooperating with such a reckless person would only mean a quick death for himself. Mr. Qi, you may not understand the Iron Palm Gang. Chu Yuanlang is a top-notch expert second only to the sect leaders of the 5 sects and 3 gates. He has at least 3,000 gang members, and a hall master like me is equivalent to his strength. The Iron Palm Gang has 10 such hall masters, each with a deputy hall master, and 4 incense masters. Afraid that Du Jie wouldn't understand, Feng Shi added, the martial skills of the incense masters are on par with Yun Jie. Are these people usually at the Iron Palm Gang headquarters? Du Jie interrupted him and asked. Feng Shi paused for a moment and said, the Iron Palm Gang controls the transportation of goods. They have many daily affairs to attend to, and the hall masters and incense masters have their own territories to manage. There should be 2 or 3 hall masters who are usually stationed in Luoyang City. One of them is already dead. Du Jie pointed to the fallen hall master. Feng Shi, given the sudden turn of events, Chu Yuanlang definitely won't, and it's not worth it for him to recall most of his men. Even if there were originally 3 hall masters in Luoyang City, one is now dead, leaving at most 2. Du Jie analyzed, capturing the heavenly demon is not something he would publicize. Moreover, judging from the fact that he only sent 1 hall master to raid us at night, he doesn't take the Feng family seriously at all. The other 2 hall masters probably don't even know what's happening here. They might be dreaming in some woman's bed right now. With our preparedness against their ignorance, our chances of killing Chu Yuanlang are high. Feng Shi initially thought that the night raid on the Iron Palm Gang was Feng Qi's hysteria, but after Du Jie's analysis, he suddenly felt that there was a possibility. Wang San looked at Du Jie in surprise. In just a short moment, he had analyzed so much. This guy wasn't stupid at all, so why did he only do stupid things? Du Jie looked at the excited Feng Shi and confidently said, second in command, the advantage is on our side. Mr. Qi, even if we can infiltrate the Iron Palm Gang, Chu Yuanlang's martial arts are extremely high. Even I'm afraid, wouldn't last 3 moves against him. Feng Shi thought for a moment, then shook his head. Moreover, we are all injured, and Yun Jie is. Second in command, we have Wang San. Du Jie put his hand on Wang San's shoulder. Just a quarter of an hour ago, you wouldn't have thought that we would annihilate the enemy, right? Second in command, times have changed. The heavenly demon has descended, and our previous combat concepts need to be revised. Feng Shi looked at Du Jie, then at Wang San, hesitating. Mr. Qi, if we fail, the Feng family will be in danger. Why don't we be more cautious and return now? We still have time to escape. You can run for a while, but you can't run forever. Du Jie frowned. Are you willing to give up the Feng family's vast business? No matter what the reason, we have already killed one of the Iron Palm Gang's hall masters. With such a huge loss, do you think Chu Yuanlang will let us go? When the time comes, he will gather the other 9 hall masters. What will the Feng family use to resist? Moreover, the Feng family has weakened because of me. It's my failure to protect. My strength will definitely decrease greatly. Who will protect you then? Rely on Wang San and Feng Zhu? Feng Shi fell silent. Wang San was a new addition, and without Feng Qi's protection, he had already been killed by the hall master of the Iron Palm Gang. Feng Zhu might be suffering in the Feng family. It was already good enough that he didn't oppose the Feng family. To ask him to help the Feng family was simply wishful thinking. After thinking it over, Feng Shi surprisingly found that Du Jie's proposal was the best way to survive in desperation. Du Jie asked, have you figured it out? Feng Shi took a deep breath. All right, let's do it. Good, let's rest for a while, then we'll set off. Du Jie was full of spirit. We'll catch them off guard. However, second in command, you need to find me a sturdy long sword, so it won't be easily broken by the enemy again. Wang San followed. Find me a handy weapon too. Okay. Feng Shi looked at the 2 of them, took a deep breath, and suddenly said, if things don't go well, Mr. Qi, you can take Wang San and escape first. I will do my best to cover your retreat. Du Jie looked at Feng Shi in surprise. Second in command, that's like slapping me in the face. My nature is to protect. I protect others, not the other way around. Mr. Qi, this is not about who protects whom. Feng Shi sighed bitterly. It doesn't matter if I die, but if you 2 live, the Feng family will have hope to continue.